The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
Ah!
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig! Stop! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, November 28th, 2023. This sports program starts now.
Football!
Happened last night, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's what you would call it on Monday Night Football. The NFC North brought some nice Iowa Hawkeye-type football to prime time to wrap up this beautiful Week 12 where we saw the Chicago Bears beat the Minnesota Vikings.
Wow.
Now, for those of us that took the Chicago Bears plus 3.5, obviously we were elated to wake up this morning and see that we did what we did. Justin Fields had some moments of greatness. The Pastronaut story, though, in Minnesota might be coming to an end. As Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, after the game said, we will be evaluating everything at the quarterback position after the Pastronaut threw 4 interceptions. Now, there was tips and deflections. That's going to happen. But what started as a beautiful story in Minnesota with the Pastronaut has certainly become something vastly different. And for the Chicago Bears, they're just watching the Carolina Panthers, hoping they continue to self-destruct so they can get the number 1 overall pick in the draft. What does the future look like there? Who knows? We'll talk about that. We'll also chit-chat with a guy named Aaron Rodgers today. Now, is he watching what's going on with the Jets? Is he still rushing his rehab for the Achilles that was certainly torn, although there are still more people saying that he didn't tear his Achilles because how fast he's recovering from this is it's defying all science. It's defying all medicine. It's defying everything we know about the Achilles injury. But here he is, dressed in a cape, walking with some hilarious shoes into the stadium this past week, where he is full-time now out in New York and New Jersey with the team. I'm excited to chit-chat with him in the second hour. Michael Lombardi will be joining us in about 18 minutes. He's cooking on some stuff, and the boys are here. The Talks at Table, at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Love the John Deere, pal. Shout out to you.
Yep, got to do it. I mean, you mentioned, the Iowa Hawkeyes there in your open. It is championship week, so now it starts. You got to squeeze every little bit of good juju you can to, maybe see if the Hawks can get a W on Saturday, and that starts with putting on your, finest John Deere dungarees, and I do have my hat out there, but don't want to overdo it. Don't want to overcook it. So, just showing a little love to all the farmers out there because everybody knows America needs farmers.
Yeah, America does need farmers.
Amen.
And we appreciate all the farmers out there. And championship week that you're talking about is the Big Ten Championship. This weekend, college football will be hosting all of its championships starting on Friday night with the Pac-12 Championship in a rematch of one of the greatest games of the season of Oregon versus Washington. A lot of Heisman implications potentially on the line there, college football playoff implications on the line. And then on Saturday here in Indianapolis, the Iowa Hawkeyes take on the Michigan Wolverines fresh off a big win over Ohio State.
That's right. And you know what? It's house money. I mean, I'm not crazy enough to go in there expecting the Hawks to win, but guess what? 23-point dogs. Everyone's saying, hey, this team sucks. They have no chance. That's a very, very dangerous situation to be in.
They were saying that whenever you guys went and played against Penn State, too. You guys lost 31-0.
Yeah, and what's Penn State doing this weekend?
Well, exactly.
They're not in the Big Ten Championship. The Hawks are. And that's really all that matters. So,
okay.
So, yeah, James Franklin, that's fine. And also, that was in Happy Valley. That wasn't at a neutral site, okay?
And this isn't really neutral. And Indiana's much more like Iowa than it is like Michigan.
You're right. Ann Arbor, I don't think so. Very, kind of uppity. Not exactly. Indianapolis, hard-nosed, hard-working, just like Iowa City is. The boys, when the Hawks touch down, it's almost going to feel like Iowa City. So, I don't know. Could you call it a home game for Iowa? Maybe. We'll see.
I don't know if the Michigan fans are going to view it that way. I think they will probably travel in abundance. I think it will be pretty blue out here.
I think it's going to be pretty split.
But in the last year of divisions in the Big Ten, East and West, the West Division, not great. East Division, very good. So now...
Top 3.
This is... What's that?
Top 3, very good. And then outside of that, kind of just like the West. There are 3 very good teams in the Big Ten. Then there's Iowa. Then there's kind of everybody else.
And the 3 very good teams are all in the Big Ten East.
That is correct. But hey, I don't control the geographic locations of the United States. What do you want me to do about it? Sorry. Is it my fault that Iowa has to play Minnesota and Wisconsin and Northwestern and Illinois and all these other shitty teams that are in the Big Ten West? That's not my fault. That's not the Hawks' fault.
They're changing it next year, though.
They are. They are.
So let's enjoy the hell out of this one for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Why do you think I'm doing this whole song and dance? Because I
Absolutely.
don't know when they're going to be back, if ever.
We got a good 3 to 4 days here to take a victory lap about being in the Big Ten Championship.
Exactly. Last ever Big Ten West champions. You kidding me? I mean,
last game with Brian Ferentz as the offense coordinator.
Yeah, I know. Just a lot of different storylines, a lot of just tradition coming to an end. But I am going to drink it in this week. Don't worry.
I did not expect to dive into a Big Ten Championship breakdown, but as soon as I saw that beautiful John Deere, I should have known what was going on. And for you, Connor, what's that on your chest there?
It's the ugliest animal I could find because that was the worst football game I've ever seen last night. So this is going to be my silent protest, but it's not going to be silent. I'll wear a terrible, ugly, maybe a meerkat, which I think this is.
Meerkat Manor used to be a great show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're a pretty curious bunch.
Very curious.
They always do this one right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of this one here. A lot of, what was that over there? Jerry Jones.
Yeah. Timon, one of the Lion King. That's a meerkat with Pumbaa, the fat pig. You know what I'm talking about? Kinda. Yeah. No, not at all. Okay, but either way, it's a nice little animal. But yeah, I'm done with this bullshit that we've been watching. I can't do it anymore. And I'm trying. I've said to myself multiple times last night, look,
We get to.
football isn't going to be here in just 3 short months. So you soak it in. 12 to 10. Soak that in. And I tried to many times. It was tough, though. It was tough to stay awake. It was tough to watch. I was playing music just over the broadcast to try and kind of raise spirits, maybe, kind of listen to, boom. Put some levels on.
Let's bring some BPMs into this.
Exactly. You Can Call Me Al came on. That was a great 4 minutes of that game. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah.
As a whole, though,
Yeah.
boy, it's tough.
Yeah, it is tough, but we got to watch it because there's implications on every single game. Like the future of the Vikings. Last night potentially was a big part of the deciding factor. Future of the Bears, what's it going to be? Who knows? Justin Fields has an audition process here. Now he wins with 4 field goals. Is that the way we're looking for it? Maybe that's all Chicago's looking for. There's a video of Ryan Poles up in the booth, and he seemed to be saying it's the same play over and over and over. So is there a little bit of tension between Eberflus and Poles? What does that mean with Kevin Warren coming in, the former Big Ten commissioner? Shout out to Iowa Hawkeyes playing in the Big Ten Championship. Is the new president of that team. Does he want to bring in a new GM? Does he want to bring in his own head coach? What does that mean for Sweat that they just paid $100 million to? What does that mean for Justin Fields, who's a first-round draft pick at quarterback? Who knows? All I do know is that neither of these teams are exactly thrilled with where they are. And if you're on that Minnesota Vikings defense, you got to be about fed up. Yep. You got to be about sick of it. Yep. They haven't given up a touchdown in the first half of the last 5 games.
Jeez.
Whoa. Only gave up 12 last night, obviously, the Chicago Bears. Tough. They have been a unit. B-Flow has obviously done fantastic things, as has Eberflus, I guess, with the Bears defense. They've certainly looked a lot better over the past few weeks than they did at the beginning of the season. But that was a shit show of a game last night. That's another primetime game, especially a Monday Night Football game. It's 13-1 to the under, I guess, is what Monday Night Football is. So when these big lights come on, and when the game that is being promoted all day with storylines and interviews, and here we are, all eyes are on us, the offenses have not shown up. But on the flip side, the defenses have. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs still not here. Tone, pull for you, Tone.
Love you, Tone.
See you, Tone. Love you, Tone. Sitting in his seat today is 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler. D-Butt, you're a man who was obviously a phenomenal defender in the NFL. Should we be impressed by those two defenses last night, or what was your takeaway from the game?
Combination of bad offense. Definitely some good defense, though. Sweat made some plays. Danielle Hunter made some plays. Jalen Johnson, I think he let a lot of people know kind of who he is. Obviously, had some contract disputes.
Pick six through the hands.
Had a dropped the pick six back-to-back weeks now. He's dropped a couple pick sixes. I think Troy spoke on it.
Yep.
But caught a nasty pick in cover 2 as well. Good defenses, but just atrocious offenses. Couldn't convert when he needed to. And then Minnesota cutting DJ Moore loose for that dig route 2-minute. Can't have dagger concept 2-minute, one of the most common routes in the NFL. Big letdown there for the go-ahead field goal.
Tough to watch, dude.
Very.
Yeah.
Tough to watch.
So tough.
I try my best, I really do. What I've learned through these primetime games that have not done well this year at all, and by well I mean no real explosion, no real that's good football. There's no. seems like there's not a lot of electrifying moments in these primetime games this year as opposed to years past, but we're getting into football that matters. You know, we got to remember, we got the Eagles and Niners on Sunday.
Bingo.
Okay, we got big-time matchups coming. We got the Cowboys playing on Thursday night. They're going to go.
Yeah.
The Cowboys,
Seattle?
The Cowboys are going to do stuff. Seattle's looking to bounce back after what happened with San Francisco on Thanksgiving. But these primetime games, one half of the hammer, Dahn, Cowboys, Bubba Gumpino's back here. Gumpy, what are the stats on the primetime games to the under, pal?
I know Monday night's 13-1. I'm just trying to find the other stat. That's on me, brother.
29-9.
Okay.
Primetime unders.
So it's been tough to stay awake through these things.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. It has been tough. And watching them back in the morning, you just think to yourself, like, all right, I'm happy I kind of, I didn't fight it.
Yeah.
But this is going to be an issue for the NFL at some point. It's going to be an issue with the NFL. I know NFL is king. NFL will always be king. But if you look at what happens with college football, and I'm not saying that college football and the NFL are competing. Football is football. We all are in the same boat. But it's like football can be great. Football can be exhilarating. And we almost have to get reminded of that during this long-ass season from college football more so than the NFL right now. They got to figure it out, Ty. They got to figure this out.
And that's the problem I have is it's like the illusion that we have to, because it's like, hey, the games are close. And like just because a game's close doesn't mean it's a good game. Like Sunday night, Chargers and Ravens, like that was a dreadful, boring game. But, with 2 minutes left, it's like, oh, okay, we still don't know, who's going to potentially win this one. Last night, 3-3 in the first half. Like people have their fun. They say whatever they want about Iowa, and it's true. But like, when you have a rooting interest in the team, like that's one thing. You stomach that. You put up with it. When it's just two teams and it's like, Monday Night Football used to mean something. Like this is the game of the week. Everyone's watching this. It doesn't matter who's playing. Like you expect that to be a good game. 3-3 at halftime, it's like, you like Connor said, you stay up and you watch it because we don't have that many more opportunities to watch these. But the entire time, it's like, oh boy, hey, is Guys Grocery Games on right now? I'd almost rather watch that.
CM Punk was back on Monday Night Raw.
Exactly.
Hard not to pop over there a little bit.
Exactly, and it shouldn't be like that.
But it is real, though, that, it's not easy to project 18 weeks, 17 games worth of great games in primetime. You have no idea who's going to get hurt, who's not going to get hurt, what teams just aren't going to show up, what teams are going to go that we couldn't have expected. So it's not easy. But this is back-to-back seasons now where it feels like we've got caught into a little bit of a train where it's like bummer for primetime games. And we hope it'll turn around, but who cares? Teams that are winning don't care what it looks like.
No.
All they care about is they still have an opportunity to win the Super Bowl. And the teams that are losing, they don't care what it looks like. They just know that they suck. So we got to continue to roll on. Speaking of two good teams playing each other, and what a gift the football gods are giving us. I mean, this is a gift. We have the NFC Championship rematch coming up.
Let's go.
And this NFC Championship rematch between the Niners and the Eagles. Niners on the road in Philadelphia, favored by 3 right now on ESPN Bet in Philly. They've lost 3 games this year. Philly's only lost 1. Philly's at home. Philly's a tough place to play. Why are Philly the underdogs at home? Now, we all understand that the Eagles have done great things as being the underdogs. They wear the dog mask. They won a Super Bowl. We are the hungry dogs, run faster. That's like kind of their entire MO. Nick Sirianni has built his team on being dogs.
Yeah.
So this is a good thing to kind of feed into their narrative. They're not the hungry ones in this game, I don't think. This San Francisco 49ers team, after they lost the NFC Championship last year to the Philadelphia Eagles, and if you do recall what happened in that game, first series, Brock Purdy's going to throw. Reddick, I believe, boom, needs Tommy John, can't throw a football.
Brutal.
They put the backup in, Johnson, can't throw a football.
Concussion.
Christian McCaffrey was playing quarterback. For some reason, he can't throw a football forward.
Yeah.
Fred Warner, the series after Brock Purdy ends up having to get Tommy John surgery for his elbow injury, he dislocates his shoulder. His arm just, boom, completely out of there. He gets taken off the field, comes back in, obviously, because somehow the shoulder, whenever it's dislocated, you just pull it, and it just bounces right back in, and nothing happens.
That's right. Cool.
I don't fully understand that at all, but shout out to the body being able to handle that. Bosa got a guy's cleat to his shin in the first quarter, so he couldn't be as explosive as he is. It was just one thing after another. Murphy's Law times 10. And anytime you got a chance to chat with any of the Niners players after that game, and you bring that game up, they would get, visibly upset about it.
Yeah, shoot.
Not happy about it. They were the hottest team in the NFL going into Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember at the beginning of the season, not great last year. Then they drop in this little Mr. Irrelevant at quarterback named Brock Purdy, and boom, everything takes off. Their offense is humming. The defense is feeding off of the offense. The special teams is crushing it, and they were a team that nobody wanted to see. And then in that first quarter, bang, 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 the whole team just gets knocked down. And after the game, they were saying a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Deebo Samuel actually said Bradbury's trash.
Yeah.
He's garbage.
He did?
This guy sucks. Yeah, we didn't have a guy who could throw a ball, you know? You see that? We had somebody we didn't have a human that could throw a football to me. If they could, I'd be wide open. Deebo Samuel was asked about what he said after the NFC Championship about Bradbury as a whole. Here was his response.
Here we go. You termed James Bradbury trash after the game last year. Do you regret that? I mean,
I don't regret nothing I said.
Okay, you stand by it.
Laughing. I don't regret nothing I said. You stand by it? Yeah. Let's get the hell out of here. This is a game that has been circled by the Niners to get back after what took place in the NFC Championship. And to be completely transparent, I feel like they're playing the football that they were playing going in to that Philadelphia Eagles game. So unless the football gods decide to quarter to three them again, shout out to Unc for bringing a new thing into my life.
Sweet.
Check out the clock, by the way, quarter to three. So unless the football gods do that to the Niners, it makes sense to me why they are favored, especially with how both teams look. D-Butt, as a man who obviously loves great football, great D, both these teams are that.
Yep.
Both offenses have the ability to go. I love the Philadelphia Eagles, but right now, feels like that Niners team is much hotter, and they have 3 extra days rest because they played on Thanksgiving as opposed to Sunday in an overtime game.
Yeah, Niners are definitely rolling, clicking on all cylinders. We know that the 3-game stretch they had where they dropped it, Trent Williams is out. Since he's been back, Debo's been back. Been clicking on all cylinders, offensively and defensively. You know, Chase Young gets to that defense, and they 15 sacks in the last 3 weeks. Obviously not all him, but him being a part of that front obviously changes things. They are missing Hufanga, big injury going into this game especially. And then on the Eagles side, missing Lane Johnson, possibly Fletcher Cox as well. Both of them have groin injuries, so those are 2 big injuries in the trenches. But I mean, Philly, you know, every week, it don't look pretty. People count them out. Obviously, 49ers, it's a much prettier brand of ball right now. Offensively, the run game, the pass game, defensively still getting it done. This should be one that comes down to the last drive, but I understand why San Fran is favoring this one.
I love the Philadelphia Eagles. I appreciate their mindset. We love Sirianni more than anybody. I actually get killed for loving Sirianni. I didn't even know that was a take that could potentially get you killed on the internet. People do not like Coach Sirianni. I love the man.
Wow.
I enjoy the way he operates, and he wins. That's literally all they do is win. And I did see that Outside the Lines interview that Jalen Hurts did with Little White.
Jeremy Schaap.
There it is. Jeremy Schaap, where he said, how many games have you lost? 4 or something like that. You know, it's not going to be like that in the NFL. And Jalen, who we see him every single day act like is, we'll see, is what he said to that. That's literally, he's like 30-something and 4 in the NFL. That is literally what he has done since going over there. So we have nothing but respect for the Philadelphia Eagles. But we're getting an NFC. This is the 2. This is the 2 that are going at it. So it's going to be, here's Hassan Reddick chit-chatting about what happened in the NFC Championship game and the mindset that the Eagles have for the San Francisco 49ers coming back to town.
I know you just got done playing, but you know they did a lot of talking in the offseason about what happened in the NFC Championship game last year. How much of that has stayed in the back of your mind ahead of next week?
You know, as this season been going on, not much. Talk is cheap. You know, they get to come back in the link. It was a lot of boo-hoos last year, a lot of crying, a lot of what if, a lot of this, a lot of that. They get a chance to come back in here, line that up, and prove it again.
I love that. That is like such the mindset that I would assume Sirianni is happy to hear that his guys have. He has the right people in that locker room. Hassan Reddick is a problem.
Yeah.
He is an absolute problem, has been, will be for the foreseeable future. But what he said in there was like, we haven't thought about it much. I think that the Niners have actually thought about this.
Oh, yeah.
I think they've actually Ohio State, Michigan this thing, because even at WrestleMania, I saw George Kittle and his family. They were not over.
No.
They were not over what happened in Philadelphia. That one hurt their soul, it feels like. But you got to love to hear what you hear from Hassan Reddick there.
Yeah, I love it. I feel like this is probably the best thing for the NFL right now. 2 teams with both have young quarterbacks, both have very good offensive lines, both have very good defensive lines. Like, this could turn into the best rivalry in the NFL over these next 5-10 years. But I know that the Niners are hungry dogs. I need to know what Sirianni's going to be saying about them being underdogs at home. because you know he's going to use that somehow in a team meeting or even just while they're out there on the field in practice. Someone screws up. Oh, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why we're underdogs at home. I think that's going to be must-listen content.
What's the team meeting sound like on this particular Tuesday, you think, over there in Philadelphia? You guys are getting 3 points at home, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, none of us give a shit about that. We don't give a rat's ass about point. You need one more point than the other team. Last I checked, that's how you win football games. But Hassan was right. A lot of boo-hoos coming from San Francisco. A lot of pouting, a lot of whining. Okay, it's football. Guys get hurt. Okay, that's part of it. You think we were all healthy in that NFC Championship game? No, we weren't. Jalen was dealing with a bunch of stuff, a groin, all that kind of stuff. He's not bitching and complaining. He's not pouting. He just goes out there and play football because we're dogs, and that's what dogs do, okay? They bite. They don't bark. A lot of barking coming from San Francisco. We'll see. I might set the tone myself. I might go out there, midfield, warm-ups. I might smack Kyle Shanahan in the mouth.
Oh, yeah?
Just out of nowhere, unprompted, and say, hey, welcome to the link, pal. Okay, this is my city, bitch. It's 60 minutes. Okay?
You almost broke yourself.
Almost.
You ain't gonna take it anymore. Philadelphia's a real home field advantage too.
Oh yeah,
like that's an actual home field advantage in the NFL.
Players trying to fight fans last week.
Yeah, actually, actually getting to the point where in the weather and it is an actual home field advantage. So them being dogs at home at 10-1, I'm excited to hear what this man thinks about it. Joining us now is a podcast host, a live show host, an author, a TED talker, not a gambler, but a man who'll give you who you should gamble on. Friend of the program, ladies and gentlemen, former general manager in the NFL, a man who's got Super Bowl rings and consultant degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
Hello, guys. How we doing, guys? How's everything, huh? We good?
Hey.
Good Thanksgiving? We're all ready to go?
Hey, Lombo, life is good. How was Thanksgiving over there? A lot of Italians. What you guys eat?
Life is good. It was, I got kids in Las Vegas, so we had to split up. I was on my own, but I survived. It was good. A lot of football, digest a lot of football, saw the Hail Mary play. And I immediately thought I went to my telephone, Pat. I got to confess. I know probably Chuck's not in the building today, but as soon as Boyle threw the pass and it didn't reach the goal line, I looked at my phone. And because I was expecting a call from Al Davis. Okay. I know he's not with us any longer, but I was still expecting the call. And here's what he would have said to me, Pat. He would have said, let me ask you a question. Did we practice that play with Tim Boyle? And my answer would have been, Mr. Davis, no, we didn't practice that play with Tim Boyle. Did the head coach know he couldn't reach the end zone? And I would have said, no, Mr. Davis, he probably didn't know that. Okay. And then there would have been 85 F words, and he had hung up the phone.
I like that we've become like a super impersonation show. We had Sirianni there. We just had Al Davis from heaven.
How about it?
Have to have a phone in heaven, obviously, to call Al. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's some ineptitude happening around the place, but I would assume Bob Saleh said, it's the NFL. He's got to be able to throw this ball 55 yards, right? Got to be able to do that. He was not. Obviously, Holland takes it back for a play that'll be reminiscent of this particular season for the New York Jets as a whole. Now, let's talk about the Jets, obviously, because we're here. Aaron Rodgers joining us in about 39 minutes or so. He's planning on coming back. Obviously, that's been a plan all along. If they're still in it, that's a huge piece of it. Who knows? They got to stick with the whole crew, though, right? Because they didn't get a chance to experience what they were hoping to experience this year. Like, you're sticking with Hackett, you're sticking with Salah, you're sticking with Joe, and this year is just a wash, pretty much. Is that how they're viewing it, you think, in New York?
Well, I mean, I think the only one that can answer that is Woody, right? I think, Aaron's going to get paid regardless. And I think that he's got to make a decision that does he feel like this is going to be what we need to do, and can the team stay together? I think one of the biggest things, I know everybody blames the Jets offense, but this Jet defense hasn't played the run as well as it needs to play to be able to stay in games. The Browns have been able to do that at a higher level than the Jets have done, even though the Browns haven't gotten great quarterback play when they've gone away from Watson, and at times even when they have Watson. So I think that's a Woody question. For me, I think there's got to be some kind of institutional, if you're going to bring it back, you got to make sure you understand what you're doing, because you're going to build the program for next year and then the year after. And you got to make sure that's on solid foundation. And I think Woody's the only one that can answer that question as it relates to going forward. Team building is going to be critical. I think that's the essence of it all, is how are we going to make sure this team is built for Aaron, and then make sure this team is built once Aaron's not here.
So I would assume I'm not Woody Johnson. I am not a fan of Johnson & Johnson.
Right. No.
Or Pfizer.
Thank God.
Or any Some people think that. Other people say thank God for those people.
Sure.
They're very loud, both sides. Very loud.
Oh, yeah.
Very loud.
Still.
Always will be.
Yeah.
Always will be. Shout out to 2020 for doing that.
Yeah.
Shout out to 2020 for doing that. Honestly, that's not something chatted about. But it feels like Aaron obviously went there because he wanted to be a Jet and everything like that. But Hackett, very familiar with the offense. So you would assume that Hackett is going to remain there. So if Hackett's going to remain there, the head coach is going to remain there. If the head coach is going to remain there, are you going to change the GM then? Probably not. So it just feels like the decision has already been made because they're just waiting for 08 to come back, and hopefully he's able to do that. Let's talk about other decisions that are being made around the NFL. Schefter came on the show yesterday, and he said he's projecting 7 to 10 head coaching vacancies this particular offseason. That's a third of the league if that's 10 people. And he said, I'm betting the over as well on that. Owners are firing coaches at a more rapid clip than they ever had in the past. I think it's because there's new money in the league. Obviously, David Tepper, we can talk about that. But also, there's a pressure to get better from your fans at all times. And you can see it now. With social, everything's louder. 7 to 10 is a lot of spots that have to get filled. Is this abnormal for what the NFL always has been, Lombo? Is this what the future looks like? And how did we get to this point, you think, Lombo?
Well, I mean, everybody is expectations, right? Everybody thinks that they're going to turn it around so quickly, and the impatience is due to the fact that these owners in all the contracts, they have mitigation clauses in most of these coaches' deals. So even when they fire a coach, they're paying 40, 50% on the dollar because the coach is going to go out and get another job somewhere else. I mean, Matt Rule took the job at Nebraska. I'm not sure Tepper's even paying on that contract any longer. So you can get out of it. You know, Jimbo Fisher's the only one that has a contract that probably belongs in the Hall of Fame. So, you know, I think that's one of the things to it. There's certainly an impatience. And I think part of the biggest issue is roster construction and roster management. When you trade for Devontae Adams to go with Carr and then you don't win, you basically have said, okay, we've raised the expectations for the fan base and then we didn't deliver. And then once you don't deliver, you're in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble, and I think that's what's happened. And my question is, who's going to replace these 7 to 10 coaches? I mean, Ben Johnson, they can't clone this guy and have 5 jobs. He can't fill all 5 jobs. I mean, where are all these coaches going to come from? And I think that's going to be the hardest thing. But more than anything, Pat, I think these owners have to declare who they want to be. Like, what do they want their franchise to be? What do they see the vision of their team? If you can learn anything from Philadelphia or when New England was winning, the owners clearly identified San Francisco. This is who we are. This is how we want it built. You guys figure it out.
Okay, you've talked about everybody being aligned and the ownership having a major role if they would like it, but it has to be a distinct kind of notion. Like, hey, this is what you do, this is what you do. So then there's expectations. If you don't hold up your end of the bargain, you're going to be gone. It's almost like everybody's on the same page. Communication's great for business. The NFL is no different. And you obviously spent a lot of time in New England, and Bill Belichick and Kraft have been on the same page for a long time, obviously. Hey, Bill's going to do his thing. I'm going to do my thing. Bill's going to win. I'm going to build up this entire place around it. Yep. We're going to have Patriot Place. We're going to have hotels. We're going to have a casino. Mm-hmm. This brand is going to be the biggest on earth. Bill Belichick's getting the power to kind of do whatever. You've been on the show a couple times this season, and you have a very close relationship with the place. So I think anytime you say something, like it's obviously going to rain a little bit heavier, but you've been on the record saying, like, yeah, Bill's going to continue to coach no matter what happens. You saying that makes me believe that you think there is a chance he moves on from New England. Do you still feel that way with how bad they've looked and how bad they've gotten? Do you think he moves on? And how do you think Kraft delivers that news? And what do you think is next for Bill?
Well, I think it probably would be it'd have to come down to what, give Bill a Bill. Where do you see this team going, and how are you going to fix it? He deserves to answer that question, right? And based on the answers that he gives to Mr. Kraft, I think Kraft has to then make a decision. Or has Kraft lost trust in him to build that? I think that's the thing that you have to do. Look, a lot of these teams, we see it with the Houston Texans. We always tend to think teams are worse than they really are because the quarterback play is so bad. Houston was a disaster. How are they going to win any games? They finally get a quarterback, they do it. I think you're a quicker turnaround when you do get a quarterback and you can coach the quarterback correctly, kind of like what they're doing in Houston. So I think, look, Belichick is still coaching. I think he wants to coach. You can see the vibrancy in it. The team obviously isn't playing well. As Dietrich Wise said, they've got a good team. They have a bad record. They haven't been able to make plays. They've held 2 teams to 10 points in the last 2 weeks and couldn't win a game. Yep. I think that's kind of set a record. So I think he's going to want to keep doing, and there's too many jobs. Let me ask you this, Pat.
Okay.
If you called Andy Reid up on the phone and said, Andy, who would be the last coach you want to have at Los Angeles Chargers coaching Justin Herbert? Who do you think he would say?
Bill Belichick.
That's right.
I played you there. I didn't know if that was the right answer.
I know the internet. Internet thinks he's a disaster and he can only win because of Brady. But I would say within the league, that is the sentiment. So if Mr. Kraft feels like that they need to have a divorce, that's fine. I'm sure that's happening. It's part of life. Things change. However, that's not going to change him being a really good coach and going somewhere else and proving that he could still coach. So if you ask any of these other teams in the league, who were they least likely to compete against, ask the coaches, I think you'll get your answer. Everybody looks at it like, who's the popular choice? Who don't you want is the real answer.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of people figuring that out after they hire. Who they hire is who they don't want to hire. David Tepper's rolling through coaches. I mean, he's just how do you kind of put the slow down on that? And who's going to want that job? Who's the person that would want that Carolina Panthers job? Because obviously Frank Reich, we were confused by the hire whenever it took place, but he didn't look like he enjoyed himself at all. There was a pro day video. There was a pro day video where he was recording C.J. Stroud. And I think there was a little bit of a grin or a smile on his face at that time. But other than that, that was a miserable time period with him in Carolina. And we just showed the graphic, Tepper will fire people. Who wants that job? And why do you think Frank Reich was ever hired down there?
I don't get the Frank Reich hire. I think Tepper probably felt like he could hire it. He was a really good offensive coach. I think Frank had post-traumatic syndrome after the Carson Wentz. I think Wentz sent him over the edge. I think he went to bat for Wentz in that organization. I think he went to the mattresses, to use a mafia term. He went all in, right? And as soon as he did that, Wentz couldn't connect to his teammates. I mean, we don't talk enough about this, Pat, about the connectivity between the quarterback and the team. Do they like the quarterback? I mean, look, Tommy DeVito's not the best player in the NFL, but the players like him. Kenny Pickett, he's not the most talented quarterback in the NFL, but boy, the Steeler players really like him. They appreciate him. That goes a long way. And I think the connectivity between the team is important, and Wentz didn't have that. And when you see that Jim Irsay comes out and basically no hold barred, I mean, he just went right after Wentz and said, we're getting him out of here. I think that destroyed Wright's confidence, and he never was the same guy after that. He really wasn't. And I think that was the strangest hire because I thought he lost his fastball. And I said it this summer on my podcast. It just never looked good in Carolina. Now, reverse it. If you're looking for a job, Carolina might be the best place to go because you think Tepper's going to fire another coach after a year?
Yes.
It's like D'Amico Ryans, right? He walked into the most perfect job of all. He's the third coach in a row after two had get fired after 1 year. He got a 6-year deal. He's not getting fired. He has stability. I think the next guy that goes into Carolina will have way more stability, assuming that Tepper knows what he's doing when he picks the coach.
Which we have not seen.
Nope.
Right? We have not been able to. He's not good at coaching or picking soccer coaches, and he's not good at picking football coaches thus far. Now, is that just because the people around him, the people giving him information aren't the right people? Is it because he maybe got a misread? Who knows? But that job down there is certainly a fascinating one because what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're keeping Bryce Young.
He needs to throw away his telephone. He listens to way too many people. He's got rabbit ears. He listens to this is what happens to new owners. They listen to too many people. They talk to the league office. And what Al Davis taught me a long time ago, everybody who calls you on this, they have an agenda. They have an agenda. What's their agenda? Why are they promoting this? What are they trying to do? Tepper should throw away his telephone. He should get rid of his phone and say, all right, I'm going to build this the way I'm going to bring somebody in that I can work with one-on-one and help me build this team for 40 years, what he just said today at his press conference. But he's trying to hire a play caller. What teams need today is a roster builder, a team manager, somebody that can run the team. I think we see that Philadelphia, that's what they've done with their organization with Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman. They built a team that can build a team. They've hired an inexperienced coach both times. They've helped develop the coach into a very good coach, and it's worked out.
Yeah, Doug Peterson now having great success down in Jacksonville. Whenever he left Philadelphia, we were all very confused. The guy has a statue outside. He's gone. Sirianni's come in, had that opening press conference that wasn't great. We all laughed at it, and now we're like, This guy's a ball coach.
Yeah.
Best.
This guy's a good ball coach. This weekend's game, huge in the NFC. D-Bud has a question for you.
Oh, yeah, big game, Lombo. But, it's post-Thanksgiving now. I think a lot of teams, kind of are who they are at this point. NFC side, you got San Fran and Philly, I think, kind of separate themselves. AFC side, to me at least, Baltimore and Kansas City are probably those two teams. Outside of those four teams in each conference, who are your teams that you think can either be in that conversation or can make a run here late?
Well, I think the run late really starts with how you practice going forward, because you and I both know that practice is now walkthroughs. I mean, last week the Eagles played 92 plays defensively against Buffalo. How are they going to practice this week? And it's hard to stay good when you can't practice. And I think the teams that have experience of practicing lightly but still maintaining their level of energy is important. So I definitely think that. I think Detroit, if they can get if they get their pass rush back and fix that offensive line, did not block well on Thanksgiving Day, they're still a good team. Jacksonville, to me, is still a good team. Lawrence has got to play better at home. He doesn't play as well on the road at home as he does at home. And, he hasn't been able to make the plays that I think he needs to make. And maybe with his knee being better, I thought he played much better against Houston, than he did. But I think what you're looking at is a situation like Miami. Miami's got a really good defense. And if Miami can get their ground game going, now throw away the Jet game because that kind of was 2 touchdowns off pick 6. They've only averaged 20.5 points a game in the last 4 games before that. And they've only averaged 84 yards. They got to get their ground game going. Everybody talks offensively about Miami, but it's their defense. And I think at the end of the day, defenses are going to make you advance into this playoff round. Pittsburgh's the same way. They win ugly. I mean, nobody loves to play an uglier game. What would happen if we have Denver and Miami in the first playoff game?
Ugh.
How about that one?
That would be awesome. I mean, Pittsburgh.
Wouldn't that be unbelievable?
You talk about how ugly Pittsburgh plays. You just automatically think about the Iowa Hawkeyes. But then that makes me think about, I don't want to go out of the AFC, but let's do that. They say the Philadelphia Eagles win ugly, win ugly, win ugly. They played on Sunday. You talk about 90-some snaps. The Niners played on Thanksgiving. They played on Thursday. So they have 3 days a head start already on rest and break and everything like that. And they just slaughtered the Seahawks. They look like they're at their absolute best right now, where the Eagles, they win games. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That's a trait that I wish every team had that I was a fan of. You just win it. Going into this one, how do you view it? How do you see it? Do you think about the NFC Championship game where the Niners afterwards were pissed about everything? Does that mean anything going into Philly this weekend? Do you think there's a little pent-up or built-up frustration after what happened to the Niners in the NFC Championship?
Oh, I definitely think on the Niners end. I think Philadelphia. Look, Philly. Last year I was always saying Philly played a Gonzaga schedule because they did. They had an easy schedule, right? And they dominated people. And they scored 204 points in the second quarter, and they got ahead of everybody. This year they've been very resilient. What I think they are is they have this. After you win a Super Bowl, there's always lose a Super Bowl. There's that Super Bowl hangover. Well, the Eagles have had a little bit of that Super Bowl hangover for 50 minutes. And then the last 10 or 15 minutes of a game, they become a champion. They're hard to beat. They're hard to beat. They can play right-handed or left-handed. They can run the ball. They can throw it. And they can do it when they have to do it. Plus, they have the Mariano Rivera in their bullpen. If it's 3rd and 1, they're going to get it. If it's 3rd and goal at the 1, they're going to score. So they're going to be hard to beat coming down the stretch. This is not going to be pushover for the 49ers. But the Niners are going to have to raise their level, too, just like Philly will. Look, I don't think there's an ugly win in the NFL. You played. You know how hard it is to win.
Last night,
the fans, we're not the judges of the Olympics grading them on beauty contests here.
Agreed.
Like, a win's a win.
Last night, though.
Win the other day was impressive.
Lombo, last night, though, 12-10. That was ugly.
Come on.
That was ugly. You can say.
I mean, it was. But, look, and you got 2 fourth-quarter turnovers but then they rallied and made the play. I'm sure Brian Flores didn't sleep last night because he probably would like to have that last call back when they ran the in-cut or with the clear route to DJ Moore to get him in the field goal range. I think he probably wants that call back. But, they had a great opportunity. He rushed 3, kind of spied them and gave them plenty of time.
Yeah, let's not talk about Bears and Vikings. Let's go back to the Philadelphia Eagles here. Let's go back to the Philadelphia Eagles and the Niners. No offense to the NFC North's Vikings and Bears, who are, let's not even get into it. We will get into it because, the Bears' future is certainly one that I can't wait to chat with you about because you've been talking about this since the offseason. But final thing for me about the Niners and the Eagles, Trent Williams, Debo healthy. I think they're a completely different team whenever that's the case. Brock Purdy playing. Hey, are we worried about Brock Purdy in Philadelphia with that weather and everything? No, not at all.
No, I mean, I'd give him my MVP vote. I think Brock Purdy's really good. I think we got to stop talking about him like he's a 7th-round pick. Like at some point, as Bill Walsh used to say all the time, we have to grade on how they play, not where they were drafted. I mean, he throws interceptions. Everybody does. I mean, everybody's going to make some mistakes with the ball. He did that game, but then the throw he made at the end of the game was incredible, and they know who he is. The team loves him. The team loves him. There's no question about that. And so for me, I think he's a really good player. I think he'll come back into Philly. It's supposed to be, rainy. They might have some cold, in the 40 degrees. I think he'll play really well. I would be shocked. Look, I think both these teams, this will be like Rocky. There'll be another one.
Okay, I hope so, because the NFL needs it, because they got a lot of Vikings-Bears games popping on TV. Yeah. Now we get an opportunity to see the two of the best in the NFC battle it out at 4:25 on Sunday. I can't wait for it. Connor has a question for you, Lombo.
Yeah, Lombo, you threw out Broncos versus Dolphins in a playoff game, and I think a lot of people after that 70-point win from Miami kind of wrote the Broncos off, but here we are, going into December, and they've won 5 straight games. They're 6-5. They look great. How the hell did that happen? Is Sean Payton kind of that great of a coach and also just roster manager, like you kind of mentioned, that teams need? And how come is that the blueprint for a Carolina? They need to go get a guy that's going to be able to rally the entire building?
I think they do, and they had a chance to get Sean. They didn't take him last year for some reason. Look, they
hired Frank over Sean Payton. I didn't know that.
They interviewed Sean. They didn't, and I think they went the other direction. Maybe Sean wanted too much authority. Coaches want the ability to build their culture. It's not so much you're not power hungry, you're culture hungry. I think what Sean did is very Parcellian. You got to remember, Sean Payton was a young coach at the New York Football Giants, the offense coordinator. Jim Fossil was the head coach, and he got demoted as the play caller. And Parcells watched this from afar in New Jersey, and he was so impressed with how Payton handled his demotion and behaved and worked that when he became the head coach of the Cowboys the next year, he called Payton out of the blue and hired him. And that relationship goes on today. And that relationship is very reflective in this team. And I give all the credit to Sean, but you can see Parcells' influence in this team. Sean, after the game that he lost at home to the Jets, basically said, look, we're gonna button this thing down. We were throwing the ball 31 times. We're not doing that anymore. We're going to manage Russell. We're only going to throw at the average about 26 throws a game now. We're going to run the football. We're not turning this thing over. We're going to slow the game down. And, oh, by the way, we've averaged, we're going to kick field goals. We're not going to go for it. We're going to take the points that come to us. Of the 110 points they've scored in this win streak, 48 have come from field goals. He don't pass down the points. He's going to take them. Now, I'm not suggesting that he's good. He's old school. He's won games because of it. And I think that's what he's done. I think every coach in the league has to see his team after 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and say, this is how we have to play to win. This is our only chance to play. If we play this way, we will win. Tomlin does that. Payton does that. I mean, Belichick's trying to do that. The problem is quarterback keeps turning the ball over.
Yep.
And so you have to figure that out. That's the message. That's where when Aaron went out, I have a problem with the Jets because they didn't figure out how they have to play to win. Everybody says, well, nobody can run Aaron Rodgers' offense, only Aaron Rodgers. It's like this week in Cincinnati. Cincinnati goes and plays Pittsburgh, and they run it 11 times. I mean, Joe, you can't ask.
What was the stat? Tony Pike, former Cincinnati quarterback. I think he said Zach Taylor's 428-1 without Joe Burrow as quarterback.
Damn.
Well, you can't throw it. The Bengals are 31st in rushing attempts. They're like 7th in pass. You can't put that game on Browning. He can't be Joe Burrow. So what you have to do as a head coach, you got to build your team so that if you lose a player, you can play right or left-handed. They don't. They can't run the ball. I don't fault them for calling pass plays because they can't run block. So that's where I think Sean's gained such an advantage.
It is whenever we all watch the Jets, we always wonder, because if you look at Hackett's record, I mean, like you look at Hackett's record, you look at Zach Taylor's record, you look at, I think, Bill's record post Tom Brady, you look at a lot of these things, and you alluded to it earlier, it's like, yeah, you could be a good coach, and if your quarterback is just abysmal, you got no shot.
None.
You got no shot. They need to try Drew Plitt over there in Cincinnati.
He can spin it.
He can spin it. That kid out of Ball State can really spin that thing.
One more thing with the Broncos, too. Obviously, everybody remembers the 70-point embarrassing moment with the Dolphins, but last 5 games, 16 turnovers on defense.
Wow, they're back.
Plus 13 in turnover margin in the league, so that's obviously helps when it comes to winning games.
And they've only turned it over, DB, and that's part of coaching, right? And he's not passing up the points, right? He's not sitting there, listen, I'm going to go for it. What's the numbers say on the TV? What should I do? No, kick it. Kick it.
Hey, the ESPN analytics.
When he kicks it, you know what happens when he kicks it? How many boos did you hear when he kicked it against Minnesota early in the game? Everybody booed. Everybody said, "Oh, that's a stupid decision. Go for it." How many points did he win by? 1.
Hey, ESPN analytics.
Back.
Hey, you were so pumped about it. You put a tweet out. Does ESPN analytics ever say not to go for it? I think it was.
They never say not go for it. I'm sure they probably would have. In anything, go for it. Why not?
I love it.
It's Madden. Everybody's playing Madden. You have to watch the game to apply the analytics. Right, you got to watch the game. It's the game. It isn't just the numbers for.
What if ESPN analytics is actually some dude or lady who's like, she is taken into feel.
Yeah.
Go.
Gotta
for it.
go.
Go. And they put it right up on the screen. Oh, yeah. They're like, this coach is soft. He's punting the ball right now. What a loser. They were on their own 20. I think it was 4th and 1. They were up 10-zip. The other team had not done anything. They were on their own 20 or something like that. And it said go. And it was like, what? Their offense has done nothing. You're putting them literally in field goal range here if you give them the ball. And
what happened last night? Kevin O'Connell went for it on 4th down. He put him in field goal range. And now what did he lose by? He lost by 3 points.
Yeah.
I mean, he went for it on 4th down with Joshua Dobbs. Like, you're playing Justin Fields. Play field position. Punt the ball.
Let's talk about more of that. Let's talk about a team that has been experts in going for it, and that's in sunny Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, Lombo, just curious, when do you think the Chargers are going to go ahead and just blow this whole thing up? I mean, we've literally been saying this for, I don't know, maybe like 6 weeks now, where it's like, hey, how did they do this again? They lost another, 3-point game. They keep going for it on 4th down. Justin Herbert, I mean, I don't want to say he's regressed, but he just doesn't really look like the same guy. They can't protect him.
Pizzazz.
Yeah,
None.
No pizzazz. Like, he just looks beaten up and tired. And you mentioned it, like Bill potentially is out there. Like, what do the Chargers need to do to kind of turn this thing around and not just be looking in 10 years and be like, oh, wow, we just did the exact same thing with Herbert that we did with Phillip Rivers. We had one of the most talented guys in the league, and we have nothing to show for it. Like, is it a complete blow-up rebuild? Obviously, Staley's out of there, but will they get rid of Kellen Moore? Like, is Telesco gone? What do they need to do to fix everything in Los Angeles?
I think that's the fundamental question. Like, why are we not winning? I mean, Anthony Lynn was 33-31 as a head coach. Staley's 23-22. They haven't gotten better by the hire. So what have we done wrong? I think they lack toughness as an overall team. There's not enough physicality to their team. And everything falls on Herbert's shoulders. And he's talented enough to do everything you need him to do. He's talented to win in the 4th quarter. But the team around them isn't talented enough. The roster management isn't talented enough. And we think they're like overly talented, yet they're not. I think they need a supreme commander to come in there. I think they need somebody to come in and run their team that can manage the quarterback, that can build an offense around the quarterback, not run plays, not just build an offense and a team around his skill set. That's what wins championships. Look, Warren Moon threw for 28 miles of yards. He went to 1 conference championship game in his career. Dan Marino went to 1 Super Bowl. When do we figure out it's just not about having a great player, it's having the right team around that great player? I mean, there's no one better than Peyton Manning. He won 2 Super Bowls, one at the end of his career. He's 7-10 in playoff games on the road. I mean, lost 9 of those 10 games on the road. Why? The team around them has to be built correctly for what you do. I think that's so important, and I think that's the problem with the Chargers. You just don't roll the ball out and say, hey, Justin, win the game for us.
Well, let's talk about another Justin that might just have to win some games for himself. in Chicago. We talked about it. Whenever they brought in Sweat off of waivers, and then they signed him to a $100 million deal.
Yeah.
You say dumbest decision of all time by Ryan Poles.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. You said that. Obviously, Chicago Bears fans have heard you talk about that for the last year or so. So they're going to be heightened with everything you say about their team. Feels like you're probably feeling pretty good about everything that you have said in the past about this particular Bears team. If they're staring down a rebuild, and I think Kevin Warren, former Big Ten commissioner, now president of the Chicago Bears, and he left the Big Ten with quite a nice situation to deal with Peacock and NBC and everywhere else before he goes to take over the Chicago Bears. He alluded to something about getting his own guys in there in an interview or an article or something like that. So would that mean GM and head coach? And then if that's the case, why do you give $100 million to a guy? You just know that you're going to need that particular player on your team. What do you think the future looks like of Chicago? Do you think Eberflus is back? Do you think Poles is back? Do you think they build around Sweat? That's why they're doing it. He's obviously played phenomenal for the Bears since going over there. Why do you think they've done the moves they've done, and what do you think it looks like for them going forward?
Well, I think they've given them the rope to see if they can save their jobs. I think that's what they did. And I don't think the Bears are a family-run organization that really don't want to step on anybody's toes, so they let them do that. And we'll see if it works out. It doesn't translate into wins. Last night it did. Look, they're playing. I give Eberflus a lot of credit. There's been a lot of crap that's going on in that building, from Allen Williams to the running back. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened there, and he's been able to keep the ship upright. And they played hard. I mean, they played hard against Detroit, had a chance to win it. They turned it over in the fourth quarter. They had a chance to win last night, and they did win, even though they turned it over twice in the fourth quarter. So, look, they're hanging in there. They're just, to me, the hardest question they have to ask themselves is when they have this first pick in the draft is, are we going to stay with the quarterback we have, or are we going to get somebody else in here? That's the question that has to get answered at the most highest level of the organization, because that starts everything from that point on. And do you want to start with all these people that do that? You want to trust them with that decision, or do you want to start new? I think that's where Kevin must decide. And only he can know based on what's going on in that building. They played Minnesota really well in both games. They had them beat. Chicago Fields got hurt. They had to put Badgett in the game. But defensively, they've played them very good.
Do you remember that Badgett run? I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Just because since Justin Fields has come back, you've seen him run a little bit more, and then obviously they scored 4 field goals last night. Justin Fields, if they end up moving on from him, because they're going to have the number 1 overall pick with all signs with what's going on with the Carolina Panthers, what is his, those quarterbacks, let's talk about them. Like Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, this generation of quarterbacks where we're what happens with them? They just go to another place, end up being backup, kind of waiting for another spot? Yeah. Is that the normal protocol here?
I think they probably, some of them don't have much value because of the way they played. Fields, if he plays better down the stretch, will have some. I think he'll have some, certainly. But I don't know if there's going to be a team that's going to say, look, he's going to be my starting quarterback, because he's very hard to build an offense around. You could see it last night. It's hard to, especially when you watch Brian Flores, the way he rushed the quarterback last night. When they kept him contained in the pocket and he couldn't move, those are the hard things for a quarterback that wants to run around and make loose plays does. And so they did a good job with that for the most part last night, except for the last pass.
Poyer called out the refs. How do we feel about the refs this year? I think Houston, Jacksonville fans said those refs were horrendous. I think people were mad about the Eagles not getting calls against them. I think there was a couple other games this weekend where people weren't necessarily thrilled about it. We saw some very dumb things happen, I think, last night and in these primetime games from the refs. How do you feel about the refs this season? Is something we need to look at?
Oh, it's all the time. There's no consistency in what they do. Look, you just accept it and move on. I'm a survivor of the tuck. Look, we lost. The only reason we played in the snow is because of an umpire calling tripping on Frank Middleton that wasn't even a tripping, and he still thinks it's a tripping today. That cost a year of Fordham for me. So, look, it's just part of the deal. You just accept it and move on. You want to complain about it, ain't going to get you anywhere. They're just going to be as bad next year as they are this year. The thing is, they're not bad. They're just not consistent.
No, some of them are bad.
They're not consistent at all.
Some of them are bad.
Well, they're looking right out of play and they don't call it, and so that's what drives you crazy. And what drives me nuts is when a player gives himself up on a play and they call holding on it. Like, the guy was giving him up. He didn't hold him. The guy was just giving himself up. But they just make some strange calls, and you just got to move on. You can't worry about it. It's going to happen.
You go back a couple weeks, I think there should be a new thing instituted too. Like Odell Beckham Jr. was blocking for one of his teammates.
Blocking?
Yeah, he was blocking.
Okay.
Just checking. They called holding on it. It was a touchdown.
Oh, yeah. On Zay Flowers.
It's like, hey, if Odell Beckham Jr. is blocking, okay, and he's trying to do a little physical activity there with somebody, like, let's not call it, okay? It's Odell Beckham Jr. Like, let's go ahead, and it better be a full-on grope.
Yeah, it's not holding.
That's what I'm saying. I think there needs to be a little bit more football feel out of these refs, I think.
That's what they lack, Pat. They lack football feel. I remember talking to him one time. I said, how do you call holding on wrong arm technique when the defensive player uses his outside arm to get the ball to bounce? And the official said to me, what's wrong arm technique? See, the problem is there's a disconnect between what the coaches are teaching and what's being called. On wrong arm, when a defensive lineman or a linebacker spills the ball outside to the next gap, you're not holding him. He's giving himself up. You can't call holding on that.
Learn football, Stripes.
Come on.
Learn football. Make it better for the whole game. But also, make them full-time officials so they're not doing substitute teaching at junior highs. Monday through Wednesday as well. We appreciate you, Lombo. You're the best, pal.
You're the best, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you. Good luck this week.
Hey, you too. Let's win some bets, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Lamborn.
Yeah, Lambo.
Normally, we'd take picks from him, but it's way too early in the week.
Tuesday.
We put him in a bad spot. That's what he would say. Well, let's wait and see.
what the lines do.
Let's see who's healthy, who's not healthy, what the weather's looking like. He's already looking ahead to Philadelphia. He said, I think there's going to be some rain. I don't know if that was him just projecting because it's November or December in Philadelphia or if it's just how it's going to be. It's like all those things matter. Brock Purdy and the Niners going back to Philly, I think, is a massive ordeal.
Oh yeah.
I think I really do. I love it. I love that is a game this weekend that we get to watch. I love that the San Francisco 49ers had all season to be pissed off about what happened. And I like the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles, status quo, we'll come get some kibbles and bits.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's what you want, then come and get it. It's a perfect setup here in Week 12.
Yeah, Purdy especially, too, because up until that point, you said like he was undefeated. I mean, he was just on like this magical ride, and everyone was saying like, all right, well, let's see when he turns into the pumpkin. Let's see when that other shoe drops. And he never really got the opportunity. So like, kind of being able to go back there and maybe exercise a couple of those demons, like
exercise some demons.
Exactly, because everyone else is talking about Debo and all these other guys talking. No one's really talking about Purdy, who's probably had a lot of time to circle this on his calendar too, and be like, hey, this could be my coming out party point too.
I said Week 12 a few times. We're already in Week 13.
Yep, we're on to Week 13.
Okay,
Crazy.
We're already in Week 13. What do you mean we're on to Week 13? Look at how jacked up this guy is. Let's stack another L for the New England Patriots.
Yes.
Let's get to Week 18 as fast as possible.
Bingo.
With as many L's in our record as we possibly can because the draft is right around the corner.
Yeah, can't wait for Staley to screw that up for me somehow. But I know we're all pumped about Eagles-Niners. Once again, how is this not a primetime game? I know it's at 4:25 and it's game of the week, and that's great, but that means there's other games on. Why would this not be the perfect Monday night, perfect
question.
Sunday night?
Well, what is Sunday night?
Sunday night's Packers-Chiefs. I think that'll be a pretty good one.
Sure. That's fine, but how is it not?
Would have been okay at 4:25. Would have been okay at 4:25.
But I also don't hate these like marquee games being the 4:25 game either.
Especially as fathers of babies.
Bingo.
And things like that.
Great. Sure. I don't have to stay up till 11:30 midnight. Sounds good.
Perfect.
That's
but you're
all.
going to have to with the Packers-Chiefs.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of double whammy. But like last week with Eagles-Bills being in that late window, like that was a great game.
Great.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football would have been a great game too if it was there.
And last night they could have flexed that game.
Yep,
could have.
And they chose not to. Let's remember that. They could have had the Houston-Jacksonville game.
Bingo. Yes.
They could have flexed that game. Now,
Come on, NFL.
would you have thought Houston-Jacksonville before the season started?
No.
But 2 weeks ago.
That's why flex happens, though. Could have had it. CJ and Trevor. Woo! Hour 2 on the other side with Aaron Rodgers and AJ Hawk. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 3.
Pat McAfee sell on your stunner at WrestleMania. Stunner! Where does that rank all time? That's got to be pretty up there.
Man, top three. And I got to say top 3 because The Rock, number 1, the way he oversold, and Scott Hall and some of the other guys that took it. But I mean, Pat has a natural feel for the business, epic performer, great on the stick.
I apologize that you're a punk bitch.
athletically, that match he had with Theory was awesome. And then the kicker was not only the sell of the stunner, but to lay there selling, still guzzling the beer, the presence of mind to ad lib and improvise and like this is a moment without even thinking about it. I think he's amazing. He's very entertaining. And as a human being, I like him a whole lot. And here's an off-the-record story. The second night that we were at Mania, I was just planning on drinking whiskey with my Broken Skull Sessions crew. And so we had a bottle all lined up, and we were just going to drink during the show and show respect to the people that were working. Well, Vince called me into his room and said, hey, man, would you come out in the end? Stun me, McAfee, and Theory. And I said, sure. So I couldn't drink until after the show. Okay. So the show happens, I go out there, stun all those cats. Brock Lesnar gets done with his match, the main event with Roman Reigns. And me and Brock have been wanting to bond together and have a few cocktails to begin with. And he goes, hey man, you got anything? I said, yeah. I said, where are we meeting? He goes, my locker room. So it was myself, Brock Lesnar, Larry, one of the trainers who's been there forever, Larry, and Pat McAfee.
What a day, what a dream, what a life. Now I'm going to have a couple more Steve Weisers. What? Maybe a little whiskey? What?
And we took down a fifth. We just passed the bottle around. At first we were drinking out of little cups. Then it just turned into the bottle. And we took down a fifth of Maker's Mark in about an hour. And then we all went our separate ways.
Hey, we fucking did it!
And I heard through the grapevine that a couple of those guys woke up with severe headaches.
Really? And I don't want to undersell this. Really hungover. You know what I mean?
From what you had inside the ring that we saw on camera, and then what was there a thing afterwards?
Well, there might have been, a lot afterwards.
But it was a bonding moment, after a big show like that of four guys, and I've just barely met Pat, but he was already one of the boys because of his football background and how everybody, the WWE has taken to him. And me and Brock's relationship goes back a long way.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey. What? Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. Ah! The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig! Stop! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, November 28th, 2023. Hour 2 of this program starts now. Football is happening. Last night was not the greatest version of it, but the Chicago Bears got a massive win over the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football. Can't wait to see how many people watched that game. That was certainly electrifying. Those field goals were awesome. Cairo did his thing. Misses one, bounces back in a big way, wins the game for the Bears. Is that good for the future or bad for the future of the Bears? Who cares? Chicago people woke up with a dub this morning. Good for Zito, good for the entire city up there. Now the Minnesota Vikings have a lot of questions they're going to have to answer. We'll chit-chat about it all. The Talks Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. That John Deere looks better this hour than it did last hour.
It feels better this hour as well, and it's starting to get chilly out there. And I was thinking, do I need a coat? No, I don't. This thing basically serves as a coat. It's so warm. It's so protective. And if I need to, go shuck some corn or, get some pig shit on my boots in a field right after the show, I can do that as well.
Yeah, and if you want to go to the back and take the tractor another round. You can do that.
I can do that in my small town.
And this small town, that small town, any small town.
Any of them.
You can take a tractor another round anytime you want.
That's right.
Even if the sun goes down because the new, it's just, we don't have the sun out here in Indiana anymore.
No, about 4:30, that's the end of it.
Yeah, but not even. It's like
all day.
It's bright through gloom clouds.
It's a good point. It is cloudy and kind of dull all day, and then it just turns to black.
Pitch black.
Yeah.
What time is it? 7, 8 o'clock? Well, it's 5:15. Jeez Louise.
Whoa. Hey.
Oh, my God. This is life, though, next 4 or 5 months. That's why the Midwest, has just a built-up toughness that you can't find down in South Florida, like where Darius J. Butler is from. You guys got the sun down there still?
Absolutely.
Oh, must be nice.
Jeez. Absolutely. Till about 5 something though. Says early.
Saw something on the Instagram, so it had to be real. Iceland is currently 24-hour sun right now.
Yeah.
What?
With where the sun goes on the axis.
Pretty cool.
It's always in Iceland the whole time, 24 hours straight right now.
Might be worse.
Yep, I think so too. They were showing how life would be over there, and if you don't have those blackout blinds, you're done. You don't even know.
Yeah.
You're in a casino.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're pumping in oxygen. You just got lights in there. You have no idea. But, maybe we need to take a visit and just OD on some sun a little bit. Bring it back here to Indiana.
That's not a bad idea. There is that place in Alaska right now that's in 24 hours of darkness too. Like that wouldn't be great either. I mean, we basically have that, but
at least there's a little bit of
light. You wake up in the morning at like 7:30. It's like, oh, okay, it's just dull and gray right now. It's not completely black. That's nice.
Joining us now, live from an attic in Ohio, I think, is a man who's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner, a man who's a father of 10, a COVID survivor. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Hey,
AJ, how we doing, pal?
Doing great. Why don't you get some of those red lights that AQ does and puts on his face every morning?
Those are really bright. I'm going to be honest. Had a headache for 6 hours after trying that red light thing, but it does make you happy, allegedly. AQ is much happier now.
Yeah,
he says it's because he eats nothing, he works out all day, he goes into billionaires' basements and gets his ass beat, and then he does that red light thing on his face.
Not a bad gig.
You're right. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we need to turn to other, forms of vitamin D. Is that what we're looking for?
Yep.
Yeah.
Looking for that vitamin D.
Exactly.
Yeah, the good D.
AJ, did you watch that game last night? Nice NFC North matchup. Two teams you know very well. What a battle. What an old school football game. 4 field goals gets the win for the Chicago Bears over the Minnesota Vikings. How enjoying was that game for you last night?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I heard D-Butt earlier. I mean, I think it was a little bit of combination of both. Was it great defense and bad offense? Was it decent offense and decent? You know what? I always want to give the defense credit. The defense, it's tough to get stops. It's tough to get turnovers. You turn a guy over 4 times through the air, you're doing something right. So credit to Chicago's D and Minnesota's defense, actually. But
there's
tough game to watch. Not easy to watch.
Yeah, tough to watch. Obviously, that's been kind of football with the NFL over the last few weeks. Big ones this weekend, though. We got Niners-Eagles, obviously a rematch. Cowboys-Seahawks on Thursday should be electrifying.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And there was a team that played in the first ever Black Friday game. And their quarterback was not able to play because he tore his Achilles on the 4th offensive play of the season. He's been rehabbing it at a rate that the world has not seen before. 4-time NFL MVP, Super Bowl champion, ayahuasca user, ladies and gentlemen, the 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. What's up, dude?
Hey guys, can you see me?
Yeah, you look great. Where are you right now? You're not in that Achilles factory, does not appear.
No. Shout out to all my friends and therapists out there at the Achilles factory, missing those people. But I'm actually here in Jersey at the facility. Had some rehab this morning and went through some different modalities.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still at the facility.
What type of East Coast modalities you going through? You running? We taking 5-step drops?
What?
Are these the modalities we're doing right now? We doing a little bit of this, a little bit of, maybe this one right here, this one here, this one here, this one here. What are the modalities we're stepping towards now that we're back on the East Coast, pal?
It's a lot of the same modalities actually. They have a Alter G machine, so I was running on the Alter G, and they have a lot of the other same little gadgets and gizmos and. So it's all strengthening, calf strengthening, foot strengthening, the jogging, the running, the walking, all that good stuff. A little bit of stuff on the field, just trying out some different things just to see how my foot feels in different types of shoes. So it's good.
Okay, so I don't want to ask you the same question I asked you last week because I felt like I disrespected you a little bit when I asked it. So I'm going to phrase it differently. If the Jets continue to play the way they're playing, okay, if they continue to play the way they're playing, And this is a team that obviously you're on, you're very close with, you're in the building, you were there on Friday and everything like that. But there's a lot of people that are like a little bit concerned about you making a decision for your future health based on trying to get back as fast as possible this year. You've always said if the Jets are still in it, obviously the plan is for me to get back in there. Whenever you say that the Jets are still in it, is it like a percentage that they're still in it, like there's still a line in a hope? Or is it thought that like if this team can still go win a Super Bowl in my eyes, let's go ahead and do it? Where are you when it comes to that? And how focused on returning this season are you still at this exact moment after what we've seen maybe the last few weeks?
Well, I think it's always been first, am I healthy? And then are we alive? Are we in it? Are we playing good enough to make a run? Can I step in and protect myself and play at the level that I feel like I'm capable of playing? But the first part is the health. So can I protect myself? Can I move around the way I want to move around? So there's a natural progression here to the rehab, and that's going to involve actually getting back onto the field to start to do some things that are more football related. But again, we're not where I can make a decision on playing, because I'm just health wise I'm improving steadily, but I'm not I'm not at ability to play at this point.
Got it. So we will revisit where everything is whenever you're healthy enough to get back on the field. Then it'll be a full discussion and conversation about everything.
Yeah, once I'm healthy, then that's where we're at, and are we live? Are we in it? Can I help the team and not hurt the team by being back out there? Can I protect myself? Can I move around, do all the things I want to do? If the answer is yes, then we move in that direction. If the answer is no, then I got to listen to my body. Obviously, I still have to get cleared by everybody at that point, but it's health first, and then can I play? Are we alive?
Got
it. For the playoffs, second.
Got it. Go ahead, AJ.
We saw a video of you kind of bebopping your way into the stadium. You looked very good. You were holding a couple bags, I believe, wearing some sweet long trench coat type situation, some prayer beads, I believe, could have been part of the accessories. Look at this walk. I mean, your shoes don't look too awful, and you don't seem like, I don't know which Achilles you tore here. So how do you feel from last week when you were on the show to right now? Oh, geez, those soles are gigantic.
Yeah, you look like Batman, too. It looks like Batman. Yeah, you look like a sweet look.
Every week I'm doing better, and I think the ability to not travel to Buffalo probably helped me the most, just because being able to get those 10 days straight of rehab in without the travel, and as much fun as it is to see the guys and support the guys, it also does set me back a little bit on rehab. So because I was going to come back here and trying to exclusively be back here post Thanksgiving, that gave me a really good jump to go from where I'm walking almost normal to not just walking, normal, but now jogging and increasing speed and the body weight on that. So that's kind of natural progression. I'm feeling strong. We're at 11 weeks tomorrow since surgery. And again, we said that 8 to 12 week is when a lot of the healing of the actual Achilles kind of finalizes. Obviously, I've been ahead for the most part with this rehab, so I'm excited about kind of what's next and how this thing keeps getting better.
What's the Super G thing that you run on? That's the thing that you run in, and are you running in real life yet? And are you wearing those shoes? Like you moving from those shoes to other shoes seems like that'll be a big part of this whole process as well.
Yeah, not walking on the beach. That's frowned upon, just because you can go kind of past the 90 degrees at the beach if your heel sinks in, and that's extra, stretching of the Achilles we're trying not to do. These shoes have been fantastic to walk in, but at some point, most doctors feel pretty comfortable at about 12 weeks getting your foot on the ground. Obviously, we've tried to speed that up a little bit, but we're just trying to be smart about this thing. And but at some point I'm going to have to transition out of these shoes. I'm going to get to transition, honestly, out of these shoes where my Achilles and my foot and my calf are strong enough to kind of withstand my kind of leg and heel and Achilles being closer to a 90-degree angle.
Got it. And then you're running in the Super G Max thing?
Yeah, the Super G Max thing, definitely running in that. It's up in the body weight percentage all the time, and that's.
So what's that mean though? So when you're running in there, the Super G thing, the Super Cool G, what is it called again?
I think it's called the Alter G.
Okay, the
Alter G.
The Alter G. Because you're altering the G's. Like your Tom Cruise.
Yes.
I'm sure Foxy can,
when you're doing that whole thing.
Foxy can bring up a video of somebody running in the Alter G.
Zeta, can we find a Super G, please? Not Tom
Zito,
Cruise.
yeah, thank you, Zito.
Doing that entire thing. But that is, it basically is water, or what? It's just taking away the amount of weight that you're putting down so you can still do the motion without the full body. Got it. Here it is.
Boom.
Okay.
There we go. That's it.
So have you publicly said what percentage of weight you're running on? And are you hitting all the check marks of body weight running that you had hoped to be at thus far?
I don't know if I feel like on this show I've said what I've been at, but I've been, over 70% body weight and over 8 miles an hour.
Scooting.
Just about every single time. Been on there and increasing every time. So that's kind of the starting point for it, and then we kind of go up from there.
Got it. And then obviously your own body weight would be the next step of this entire thing. And they'll ride the Alter G all the way until then? Is that like we're going to be super cautious until we get to that? Or is there like a step that's going to be made that's pretty big in this whole thing at the end?
Well, I think the step is just getting back onto the field and doing some more like real football things, being able to throw to my teammates and go through some individual part of practice. I think will be kind of the next step to see what my lateral movement is like, and after going through some of these more football related moves, how do I respond? How's my leg respond to that? How's my Achilles, my foot, my heel, my calf? How does all that respond?
Okay, we just Googled this Alter G, by the way. Shout out to you. Did you create this Super Modern G thing? It's just Aaron on this track, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just the first 100 things is like Aaron Rodgers. Look at this, 4-time MVP, 70% body weight, 8 miles an hour.
Damn.
Hey, everything you're doing for this Achilles, and I've told you this a couple times, if you end up back on the field this year, it is going to be what every human in every sport forever is going to be attempting to accomplish. So no pressure, pal, but what you're doing is pretty sick. You need to know. It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Still got people saying, he didn't tear his Achilles. There's no way he tore his Achilles with what he's been doing. It's like, I hope you're able to complete the story. I hope that the Jets are still in it whenever you get to that point, because it'll be magical. We're lucky to follow along. Speaking of following along, Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Aaron, as we approach your birthday here, obviously you've said, being away from the game, like this has been a very difficult year for you. You've said that. Have you done more reflecting this year as we get closer to, milestone birthday too, obviously, congratulations. Have you done more reflecting on your career or what you still want to accomplish this year, more so in years past, or no?
Yeah, but Ty, I wish you'd done that question in Jay's voice just to see if he would respond to that. But I think every year, this is my own personal, I guess, but I think we all get a little bit, making a generalization, but we all get a little more reflective the older we get. Life seems to pass maybe just a tad bit quicker, and it's good to kind of stop and count your blessings around this time. That's why it's called Thanksgiving. It's a good time to reflect, and especially with maybe the history of the holiday, to focus maybe more on gratitude and many blessings in your life is a good place to start. And then obviously with this birthday, moving to a new decade, a lot of reflecting back on my 30s and the fun I had and the relationships, and friendships, and ups and downs of life and career. Definitely been on my mind. This has been a tough year, for sure, really tough year. But I'm really thankful in a lot of ways for some of the reconnections that have happened and some of the beautiful moments in the midst of the frustration and sadness and disappointment of not being able to be out there on the field with my guys and be able to play for the fans. And there's a lot of excitement that we had, obviously, in the off season and training camp and Hard Knocks and everything.
You ran that flag out.
It was phenomenal.
The movie.
So yeah, definitely a lot of sadness, but I think it's in those moments of sadness that we can reconnect to ourselves and find some moments of beauty and blessing in those. So I've been trying to focus on the positives, but listen, it's not easy. There's been some really tough days throughout this process, but a lot of amazing people have been, reaching out, taking care of me, and sending me encouraging messages throughout the journey. Really thankful for those people, and just thankful to have something to look forward to every day, and that's the rehab and getting better and doing something special. And whether or not I come back this year, it's been a lot of lessons and a lot of things I'm thankful for in the midst of some really frustrating and sad times at the same time.
Happy birthday, Aaron. We're happy for you. Happy birthday, Aaron. Woo! 30s were a good run, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
You learned of ayahuasca. We learned of that. You learned of darkness retreats.
Yeah, COVID.
We learned that. Learned of COVID. Beat that a couple times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
COVID. You beat that.
Yeah.
Right.
Won an MVP with COVID.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that happened in the 30s we're going to talk about forever.
Yeah, I'm still COVID MVP.
People forget.
COVID for a couple of years. I won MVP both those years, so I feel pretty good. Pushed through COVID too.
Hey, can you clarify that? For some reason, you've been very cagey about the whole toe situation. What happened there? You can clear it up.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I wanted to talk more about, rehabbing Achilles. And
no,
you're making it weird.
Yeah, you're told
You're making it weird. A conspiracy situation.
Yeah, something happened. So did you get your toe vaccinated? That's what had an allergic reaction.
Listen, I gave insight. When you had your unfortunate sty that turned into something, whatever, it could have been a bedroom injury, and those are, the bedroom injuries are the most mysterious.
This guy broke his toe in the sack.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Take it
I
easy.
think if you look at some of the history of the Amazon purchases from age over the years, there's a lot of those red balls with the straps.
Oh, the ball gag.
Ball gag, yeah.
Real interesting stuff that goes on there.
Old fiction.
I'm not saying that was associated with my COVID toe injury, but I'm real thankful that the world, got to learn about that affliction that was really, running rampant during the COVID years.
Yeah, but wait a second. You weren't allowed to have sex. You weren't vaccinated.
That's right.
There's no way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would have had to been all by yourself at that particular time.
You got AIDS.
You're just not married. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nope.
It's like Castaway.
This guy broke his toe bopping.
That was quite the day. That was quite the day there. That was
quite the day.
Can't believe when I think
2
about
years.
Yeah. What about the night?
There was 2 years worth of quite the days. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that in there. It was an honor to ride alongside some of your 30s with you, though. I'm going to let you know that. My mentions became your mentions for a while, and I got to live as Aaron Rodgers for a bit. It was wild. Connor has a question for you, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron, unfortunate situation on that Black Friday game with Jalen Phillips tearing his Achilles, obviously, during the game. Mike McDaniel after said that you figured out a way to reach out to him, talk to him. How did that go? How is he doing? And also, are you going to send him to the Achilles factory, or is it too late in the season where he can just do the regular Kirk Cousins Achilles treatment?
Yeah, when I saw the injury on the field, I was pretty confident it was Achilles. So I actually walked out on the field, and based on his emotion, he knew it. And we were able to have like a cool moment where just made eye contact, and I think I said something like, "Yeah, I know what you're going through right now, and it's going to be okay." And also said, "I'm going to get in touch with you." And so I have a couple friends on the coaching staff, so I was able to get his information after the game and reach out and send him a message. And I'm obviously not an expert when it comes to Achilles, but I have done a lot of research. I've talked to a lot of great people both doctors and patients who've gone through the surgery and rehab, and so I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of a lot of the process. And so to be able to be a resource for him is great. Would love to get him out to the West Coast. I don't know exactly what he's going to do, but we've sent some messages back and forth, just trying to encourage him because I know how difficult it is, especially the first few days, as it's just the enormity of the injury and what the rehab is going to entail kind of sets in. And honestly, that's kind of what I've been hoping with my rehab, is to inspire people to not look at this as kind of a death sentence. When I talked to Dan Marino, who I've known for a long time on the field before the game, he said, basically like, what the hell are you doing in your rehab? It was 11 months for me. And I said, well, Dan, the things have gotten a little bit better. The way we do surgery is a little bit better. And, just the ability to speed up rehab based on other people's experiences obviously sets, some sort of, process that we can follow. And then also obviously we push that. But hopefully I can inspire people to push this under the framework of it actually not being as risky or dangerous as maybe once thought, where you really had to wait, and it was never before 6 months, and really going to be 9 to 12 months. I think Cam Akers proved it. I'm going to prove it. J.K. Dobbins is going to prove it. A lot of the guys. I just saw AVT today. Our guard who had surgery out there. He's looking really, really good at a few months out. It's not a death sentence anymore for a career. And, I feel like, what I've done and how I've come back and kind of the protocol I've done, I'd love to share that with anybody who's interested.
Megan Rapinoe.
Yeah.
And Jalen's been great. And I'm not sure what he's going to do, but I'm definitely keep in touch with him and keep in touch with Kirk and obviously everybody back at the Achilles Factory. I just texted with JK this morning. I miss him, being around him, but it's good to be out here with the guys too.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, his lady works at the Achilles Factory. Is everybody calling that place the Achilles Factory? By the way, that's a smart branding if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have, and obviously I have. But Heather's amazing, and Double A is also another Aaron out there. Have been kind of my main two therapists at the Achilles Factory, and obviously Triple A has been great as well at the house. But
Triple A still doing it? Triple A still? Is he over in Jersey? Has Triple A made the trip to the East Coast or what?
Not yet. No, he's not yet, but he's still jocked.
Yeah, I seen him on the internet. Yeah, I seen him. He was strapped up to all these rubber bands and everything. Looked like he was about to wrestle somebody. I'm like, somebody's about to get it.
You have his clothes on?
No, of course not.
Nice.
Triple A does not have clothes on.
That makes more sense.
His body guru is the most jocked guy. For everybody that's watching right now that doesn't know, his body guru is like the most jocked human of all time.
So jocked.
So jocked. Just like ridiculously jocked.
So flexible too. Flexible, pliable, all of it.
Yeah, and dominant. Pretty good.
Physical.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He gets in there.
Top two, not two.
He'll handle some bail. We're big fans.
Aaron, why are so many people tearing their Achilles right now? It seems like there's
weird.
Are we aware of it?
I think maybe we're a little more aware of it, but I don't remember this many big name guys doing it. You're talking about Kirk and the season that he was having, and obviously Jalen's a phenomenal player, and J.K. Dobbins, who's been a really good player in the league for a while. AVT, who's a Pro Bowl, All-Pro caliber guard. There's been a lot of guys. Tre'Davious White, I think, did his as well, right?
Yep.
T. White was out there. I don't know. I mean, listen, there's always going to be conversations around the surfaces, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
People hate that MetLife Stadium, bub. He got a bad vote. He got a bad vote. I'm just telling you, 85 guys did a poll, and they said MetLife Stadium, this place stinks.
Yeah.
That's what
The
they
worst.
said. I didn't do a poll. I wasn't asked. I don't play. I'm just
Listen,
saying.
there's a lot worse places than MetLife. I can promise you that. So I don't know who was doing the poll. I don't remember that I got asked any of those questions, but I could give you a lot of stadiums that are shitholes comparatively.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Come on.
Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead. No.
I don't
We got
need
Lambeau?
to. I'm just gonna. No, not Lambeau.
Yeah, Lambeau. That
No,
place is
that's-
terrible.
Sure.
No.
Yeah, Lambeau's beautiful. That is
Grass that Alan's done. Alan has really got that grass supple over the years. It's real nice grass there.
good supple grass. Hey, I was
Lambeau's.
watching Thanksgiving, And Dak Prescott was yelling into every single living room, about 75 times. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go. We actually have a video of it right now. Here's Dak and his cadence, apparently, in 2023.
Yes! Here we go! Here we go! Here we go!
Here we go! Normally it's like red 18, green 19, like you hear about this. And then Russell Wilson has this cadence that I heard, and it kind of infiltrated. I think I was listening in my car as we were driving home from Lucas Oil Stadium, and it sounded like it was 1910 with football. This is what he said.
Ready, set, hut one, hut two, hut three.
Hut three. I didn't even know that existed. So, like, you're a person to ask who, because obviously the hard count and the cadence is something that you're like world renowned for at this point. Why is the here we go entering my life, and how did this not happen beforehand? And what is like the evolution of cadences that we've got to this point where there's so many different ones seemingly at the same time?
Well, I think that's a great question. I mean, first I want to talk about Dak because he's become one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. I've watched more football this year than any other year because in normal years you're getting ready for a game, so you're never watching football, right? And you might see some scores on your phone, and maybe every now and then, see a Sunday night game, and you might get part of Monday or Thursday, but you're just not watching a lot of games. And this year I watched a lot more games than usual, and Tom had some comments about Brady had some comments about some of the mediocrity in the game, and I just want to say Dak is not who he was talking about.
Okay.
For a number of reasons, but I just love that he's really playing the position. What I mean by that is I'm watching him make Ringo calls, so that's protection adjustments against these crazy looks and picking things up. I'm watching him, bring the tight end back in against the zero pressure and throw an old concept we used to run for a touchdown to CeeDee Lamb in the back of the end zone. I'm watching him use his cadence beautifully and get into this rhythmic here we go into like dummy, using it as a dummy sometimes, doing it twice, into like other cadences. I mean, the last 4 or 5 weeks I've gotten to see more of their games, and I just want to say, like, he's playing a position in a really impressive way. And for whatever reason, maybe because he's the Cowboys quarterback and it's one of those premier positions in sports, like I feel like the Green Bay quarterback has been for a long time, and some other, positions in various sports, he might take a little more shit than he deserves, or maybe it's deserving of the position, I guess. But I love the way he's playing, and I love the way he's playing, like really playing. I'm not talking about just like, making good throws. I'm talking about, like, it seems more rare that guys are actually really playing a position where you're making adjustments, you're handling everything line of scrimmage. Now you're doing this crazy cadence stuff. Like, I love it, and I just want to shout out Dak for, like, really impressing me. Multiple times.
Hey, man, Dak, he doesn't hear that a lot.
No, he doesn't.
Doesn't get to hear that a lot. Way to go, Dak. Here we go.
But the evolution of the cadence from my perspective, Brett obviously came up with a rhythmic cadence that has a snap point a little bit different than maybe we grew up, where it was like down, set, hike, or go, and you snap the ball on the hike or the go. This became a snap point at different times, whether it's second number or second color, and created this rhythmic type of cadence that you also were able to adjust to draw people off sides. Then there was the fad with the Omaha stuff that I think Payton was doing, which was really just a way to do all his crazy stuff he was doing at the line of scrimmage. People were like, what does Omaha mean? Omaha meant, hey, mother, we got 2 seconds on the play clock, and I need this shit snapped quickly. So I'm just going to say Omaha.
Yeah.
Right? It was a rhythmic thing to get us in and out of a cadence late on the play clock, so we could do everything else in line of scrimmage, as real calls, as dummy calls, as adjustments. And then obviously when you have that, then you can change. Then you can go, hey, second Omaha here, or have some code words that mean no snap and different things. We obviously use the cadence for years in Green Bay as a weapon. and I always said it doesn't even matter if we draw them off sides, because if they're thinking about it and they're watching the TV copy and they're studying it, they're going to be a little bit slower off because they just don't want to jump off sides. And then obviously we used 12 on the field for a long time as well, where we're taking shots. But if you look at the interesting evolution is that not every team still is willing to snap it and take a shot. I mean, for a long time I felt like Cincinnati, I remember, would snap it and take a knee, which I always thought was wild. Indy, I think for the most part, would try and just tap the guy. So a guy comes offside, tap him. Well, I always said, man, snap that thing. Let's take a shot. I don't care if you block anybody, just snap that. And then what you saw as well, coming out of a 2015 game with some complaints by a certain coach. Now they started whistling things very quickly. If a lineman moves slightly before the snap, that they would blow the play dead. It really had to be guys offsides, line does not move at all, will allow the play to happen. And then the other adjustment was, which didn't happen, I remember a play specifically from 2009 against Detroit where Van Bosch was way offsides, and I did some pirouette spin around and hit Donald Driver for about 50 yards. That play wouldn't exist in today's game because there's unabated to the quarterback, which means that the defensive player is in a compromising position for the offense and really for the quarterback based on his jump. So now it's a little bit more difficult to get people, but we got people 3 times in the game on Friday. Timmy did a great job with the cadence. Unfortunately, the downside of it is you can't have your own guys jump off sides. You can't have a false start. So we had, I think, 3 offsides and 2 false starts and a holding, which negated the other one. So overall, it's kind of a wash. That needs to be a little bit of a bigger weapon when we use it. And that's why I think some teams don't want to use it. But I love what Dak did. That was beautiful. I'm laughing at Russ. I think, looking at the score in that, it looked like it was 24-12 or 27-12 at that point. So I don't know if he's messing around, because sometimes in practice I'll do stuff like that where I'll change the cadence and just say hut 1, hut 2, whatever. The fact that they snapped that on hut 3 is pretty amazing. But if you have a rhythmic cadence, you can get guys, just 24-12, yeah. If you have a rhythmic cadence, you can get guys to jump off sides, and it can really be a weapon because at bare minimum they're thinking about it, and if they're thinking about it, they're not going to quite get off on the snap.
What is it normally? It's normal number, color, right? Number, color, and then you bounce it back. How did we get to here we go? And are we just looking for any 3-syllable? What is how do you think Dak ended up with here we go?
I think you should ask Dak. I don't know. I don't want to speak for him. I love it, though, because it's loud. Everybody can hear it. And if you watch and I was watching the synchronization of the plays, right? He started with here we go, set hut. And he did that, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times. And then came back, and it was a no play. And he go, here we go, set hut. And they jumped, and they got a freebie, right? And then they came back and did a couple of them. So I love the sequencing, and that's the beauty of a guy really playing a position. And there's a lot of great quarterbacks. There's only a few guys that really play the position, meaning they do all the little things. And Dak's doing it, and he's having a hell of a season. And it's been fun to watch this year.
Yeah, it's old school feel. And you talk about chatting with. Thank you for the explanation of all that, by the way. I had a pretty good cadence for field goal. You know what I mean? I had a pretty good cadence for field goal.
Yeah. How many times at field goal would you ever do a double hands?
A lot. I'm going.
Yeah, you would.
Like this? No, but I'd go on 4 sometimes. We're talking about on 4.
You'd look at Adam, and he'd give you a nod, and then you'd flash your hands multiple times.
Yeah, with a full the whole trying to get the edge guys to go. And you can't do that with a lot of kickers, though. Like Vinatieri, you can do that with. I can go but not a lot of people you can do that with,
But did you tell the snapper, hey, if they jump, snap that thing and let's go fire, let's go deep?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to drop kick this thing? Or no, we're going to go ahead and give it a go? No, I never did that. But the offensive line appreciated it because guys couldn't just, you know what I mean? Couldn't just steamroll. That's the worst position in sport.
You didn't have a Costanzo or somebody who was hey, he was playing the wing, and you're hey, snap this thing if they jump, and hey, you just go deep.
Yeah. You know how we practice fire, fire. That's always the practice. Fire, fire. Never once has it ever worked.
Nope.
Ever. The amount of people that need to hear it, the amount of people that don't need to be blocked too, they're like, all right, wing, you're going to go out into the flat, tight end, go ahead and break. You're going to a corner. Holder, go ahead and roll that way. It's like if that ball's rolling on the ground, both the tackle and the end are already on the ground because they got ran over by people. There's people in the backfield. It's an impossible. But yeah, Costanzo was a target of basically every single fake field goal that we were to run. But Adam Vinatieri was chasing a record, you see, a point record. So there wasn't a lot of, hey, we're going for touchdowns here. We are, we're trying to kick field goals in this entire thing. But yeah, we used to go on 3 or 4. We used to go on 3 or 4, legitimately. And it was like a big deal. It's a weapon. You know, we used to move 5 yards forward. That's a big deal whenever you're talking about kicks and everything like that.
And then Brendan Schooler this year, the way he blocked the field goals because they weren't going on 1 or 2 is whenever the
jumped right on top. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Whenever they get you, that's why the cadences are so damn important. But you've weaponized it more than anybody, I think. And to hear that wasn't the norm before you were doing it is crazy to me. The Bengals used to just take a knee. They get a guy to jump offside. All right, we did it. Let's get 5.
Yep. Wow.
Let's take a knee and get out of here. I just assumed the deep shot was like always the thing. I just assumed that was the case.
No, well, you gotta coach it up. You gotta coach up. Like I think a lot of coaches are thinking, well, what if we get 12 power on and they jump off sides? And I'm always like, yeah, just tell the backs to block, and if the tight end gets out, great. If not, take a shot down the field.
Here it is. Here's one against the Chiefs. 17-7-2 in the second quarter. That's quite a dagger. Quite a dagger.
James Jones there.
Yeah, there's we watched a highlight of you doing this. He got 5 or 6 of them. Jordy Nelson, there was a bunch to Jordy.
Oh, don't play those. Don't play
a bunch to I think you got Darius one time.
Don't play those.
On that particular thing?
Richard Rodgers.
Wow.
What a crew.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one to Richie there.
Oh, right.
That was using silent cadence, which also is a weapon as well, and it's tough. But the whole point is, coaches have fears around, things, and I always said, let's just practice it. Let's just, we'll either get our defense or do some walkthroughs and let them jump and just practice getting into, it could be a run play. Let's run, toss 18 semi and then have them jump off sides and see if we can react to it. Unless we do it, but they do it wrong once, that's actually probably the best learning. And you can come back and be, hey, then the line starts thinking about it. Then you start asking, I like to get the line involved in it. Hey, what cadence do you want? And Dave Bakhtiari was, he was always offering suggestions about anything, protection-wise, play-wise, cadence-wise. He always had his certain things. And it was funny because he would always offer, he'd want to tell me what to do cadence on. And Brian would always have to verify what the cadence was. So Brian Ballara, awesome, just retired as a Packer, but awesome tackle. Not as much as Chad Clifton. Chad, it didn't matter, and Ty, you probably laugh at this, but Chad, I swear to God, every single play, breaking the huddle, asked him what the cadence was on again.
That's a nice reminder for you. That's a nice reminder for you.
It's a great reminder. Brian was much less than that, but Dave always told me what to call it on, and Brian would, every now and then ask me what it was on. But,
hey, we missed Bach this year. There's no Bach this year. I didn't even think about that until just now. No Bakhtiari. Last time we heard from him, he was flipping the turf to the grass in that sit-down, isolated video.
Oh, yeah.
Super handsome, good hair. Hopefully he gets fully healthy again. We hope for old Bach. You ever talk to any of the guys back at Green Bay still?
I do. I still have a lot of great friends there. So I sent Jay a message after the Thanksgiving game. Thought he played awesome, and that was a big win. Obviously, Detroit's had a real nice season, but they've had a couple of the last 2 where they probably should have lost to Chicago. Chicago kind of gave that thing up, which they somehow didn't last night. And then, but I thought Jordan played one of his better games on Thanksgiving and really threw it well and was efficient. And, there's an awesome touchdown. I think it's the first touchdown he threw. If you know the concepts, you would know this, but I'm about 95% sure that the slot guy's running, a triple slant, and the number 3's running double stick, which those two plays are often interchangeable, right? And so 3 breaks out where he should be running a slant, and 2 runs a slant. There's no way that I don't think the play call would be for for a guy run a stick and the guy run a slant behind him. But that's one of those fun ones where you go, oh shit, oh all right, and everybody's like, look at this amazing throw. It's like, yeah, somebody ran the wrong route there, but it looks good in the stat sheet. So, but he's, Jordan's a great kid, and I'm, people are getting to see his ability and his progression. And the league, not the league, but the people that study the league, watch the league, not study, that's probably way too much credit, but the people that commentate on the league, scrutinize the league, they want to cancel and bury people or anoint people much too quickly, and there's a whole lot of flip-flopping that goes on with that. There's not a lot of opportunities for people to learn and grow and go through their lumps. They're already crowning, Stroud and burying Bryce Young, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, they just fired their coach. Yeah, they just fired their coach.
Yeah, I know. I get it. But it's the first year, and yeah, Stroud's been fantastic. And Bryce, he hasn't had the same type of numbers. And obviously they've won 1 game. But, are we really going to bury a kid, 22-year-old kid, after a season? God, I hope not. And I wouldn't count against that kid. I think he's a phenomenal player. He's got a great work ethic, and we played him in the preseason, and I don't think anybody was thinking this was going to be a 10 or 11 win team, that they're going to go through some lumps. But that's the league now. It's crazy. They fired Frank Reich, who's an established coach, phenomenal coach. Obviously things didn't go well there. But 11 games, right? 12 games. And then, the scrutiny that Bryce has had. I just hope, he doesn't let this bother his confidence. And on the other side, you can't get too high either. You have a great first season. You got to come back and do it again, right? You got to come back and do it again and again and again and again. The consistency is all you build your resume and build yourself into a perennial Pro Bowl player, an All-Pro, an MVP. And you can't just rest on your laurels, because after the first season, everybody's got film on you now. They got 16, 17 games, and you got to reinvent yourself every year and work on the things you're not good at and keep honing on the things that made you a good player. So I think there's too much burying kids and also anointing some of these young players as well. There's a lot of phenomenal young players, and I think the kid in Houston's been phenomenal.
CJ and Bryce, I think they got the right jib too. I don't know how much you got to meet both those guys. I think I like the cut of their jib. Both of them feel like they are willing and ready to be the next ones, and have to work all year round on this whole craft. I think. I don't know. You might know better.
I do too. I think they're both great kids, and they handle it well. And CJ's been phenomenal, and Bryce has gone through some lumps, but there's a lot of lessons to learn, and I think it's the right people it's the right kid to respond there in Carolina for sure. And I think CJ's gonna ride some ups and downs as well. And how he responds to this is gonna show people his character, which I think he's already shown. I think he's done a phenomenal job. But I just don't like it that they write off people kind of too quick and enjoy kind of piling on a little more than seems necessary.
Yeah, we're the worst. Sports coverage every single day is the absolute worst. We apologize for being a part of it, but it is very easy to say, this guy sucks after he goes out and has 1 game, or it is very easy to say, this guy's the greatest ever, especially nowadays. That's the easiest reaction, but the future seems to be in great hands.
Do it on Monday. That's fine. But the rest of the week,
we got to
know.
And you guys do great, because your spin is always way more positive, except for maybe, Connor's had some rough times this year with his team.
No, he's positive.
Ty kind of jumped off the rails from time to time, but I feel like he's back on the bandwagon. And also Iowa's, been playing, I can't say well, but they've been winning games.
That's right.
That's all that matters, right?
That's right.
That's all that matters. They've been playing well. Defense has been playing well. Special teams has been playing well.
Playing really well. Can Iowa, Ty? Can Iowa hold Michigan to low enough points where they can make it close?
Well, I've been telling everyone, Aaron, they're in Michigan's in a dangerous spot because no one's giving Iowa, a squirt of pisses chance to win this game. And, Kirk's dogs will be ready. We'll be ready. I mean, we'd play out in the parking lot on the concrete if they'd let us. But, we mentioned it earlier. It's basically a home game for the Hawks.
Right.
Iowa City, Indianapolis, very similar. Ann Arbor, much different. So, I don't know. I'm expecting 65, 70,000, rabid, crazy Hawk fans on Saturday. So, I'm thinking
I don't even know if that's allowed.
What do you mean?
Just with ticket allotments and everything with neutral site games, I don't think that's.
No, I heard Michigan fans are basically just saying, "Hey, there's no chance you guys are going to win, so yeah, we'll sell you our tickets."
Oh,
so,
really? Michigan, good
ahead.
people.
Good people.
We've had enough this year. We don't need to see another one.
But they may have made a massive mistake.
You're right.
Hey, Ty, is Pete Thamel going to be one of those Iowa fans on Saturday?
Well, there's a good chance, but as many people know, Aaron, can't go around Michigan fans because, I'm scared that they may throw bags of feces and piss and that kind of stuff at me because, I don't know, I was just doing my job, just trying to tell everybody that, Michigan was cheating with Connor Stallions and Jim Harbaugh, and I guess that makes me a serial killer. Throw me in jail. Hate my guts for it.
Well, take your little kid pants off.
That was a very interesting thing to say. If it was up to me, like I said, I would have been in the crowd mixing it up. I'd like to see a Michigan fan come up and get in my face. Okay, I'd love to see that. Okay, talk to Pete Jr. and Pete the Third. Okay, because they were with me all day. I didn't need to be in the stadium. Okay, I didn't need to be in the big house, but the powers that be at ESPN said, "Hey, Pete, we can't have you beating the shit out of a couple random undergrads at Michigan." I said, "Fine, that's fine by me."
She said, "Fine."
I said, "That's fine by me. I'll do my dance. I'll shit in the big house. I won't cast aspersions on anyone for not letting me be down there." But let's just remember, Pete Thamel's always got his big boy pants on. Okay?
Yeah, he does. He lives in his big boy pants.
That's right.
And he was right, I think, is what he would say in this entire thing.
Oh yeah, I mean we'll see who's laughing when they give me the Nobel Peace Prize. Okay.
Okay. All right, dude. A Pulitzer. I think it's a Pulitzer, Pete.
Oh no, I already got that in the bag.
Oh, okay. All right. Sweet. Speaking of Pulitzers, I think, are we doing it?
I don't know if there's any books in this office.
Oh, no. This guy hates reading.
Bummer.
This guy hates literacy. This guy hates the kids.
Damn.
I mean, there's a journal here. Somebody's private journal. I can maybe go
crack it open.
Yeah, let's go and read a couple of those. We got a chance to do that in Tahoe.
What's that in?
No, I don't have any. My books are at the house. I got some good ones in the pipeline, though. Some real good ones.
All right. Well, we can't wait. We're going to start reading every book we can find, just in hope
I
that
doubt
it'll maybe be on
I
your...
doubt it. I don't expect you to read anything, but maybe Zito and the boys, Fox D. Yeah, you should read that Arnold book. You got to learn a little bit more about some of that schmay.
Big audiobook guy.
Me and Zito are reading the same amount of books. You need to know that. That is going to be a zero. But, yeah, big schmay. It's all about the schmay.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I love the
About
schmay. You smoke cigars with this guy? You hang out with this guy? You do ayahuasca with this guy?
I have. Yeah, it's a treat. He's a great storyteller. He's a pretty funny guy, and loves the schmay.
Loves the schmay. Just like we enjoy.
And shout out Heather. Heather's a great cook as well. So.
Hey, way to go, Heather. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you, Heather.
Over there at the Achilles Factory. All right, Aaron. Well, enjoy the rest of the day. What's it look like? We got more workouts? We're recovering? What do we got the rest of the Tuesday?
No, we're about done for the day. Got everything done this morning, late to bed, early to rise, gets all your shit done before you
die.
Go on McAfee Show.
Okay, that is the quote.
Something like that. But excited about tomorrow and hopefully getting back on the practice field. So.
Hey, pink sky at night, sailor's delight. Pink sky in morning. Pat McAfee Show happened on Tuesdays with Aaron Rodgers.
Boom.
That's right. That's what they say. That's the old quote, dude.
Where's is Tone? Tone, is he there?
Well,
miss you, Tone.
We missed Tone. We missed Tone.
Yeah, funny enough.
Yeah, we missed.
What's wrong with
finally got
Give
fired?
COVID again?
Huh?
What you say?
Tone got fired finally.
Tony, you're not get fired. No. Whoa. Finally. Whoa.
Yeah,
Jeez,
what was
Aaron.
that?
You guys not feeling good.
He's got a family.
This guy's calling for his job. Jeez Louise. That's what media's supposed to do, not players.
I thought there was maybe some pressure from Canada's people after he was advocating for that firing so hard.
He has no people. They hate him too.
Yeah, everybody hates him. He went for 400 yards first game. He was gone. Kenny Pickett played the best game he's had. Fryermuth had a career day. I mean, it was certainly something immediately afterwards. A little cherry on top of that whole Matt Canada story, Aaron. Certainly.
You guys going to Friday somewhere or what?
So I'll be down in Atlanta. It's a neutral site game, though, and I think the thing's inside. So I'll be down there.
You'll be down there, but Connor's not going to piss anybody off.
Do you enjoy that App State take there in the middle of James Madison? There were so many people there. They were so good to us. So nice to us.
Nice people, too.
And Connor just spits in their face and ends up being right.
Yeah.
Called it.
There was a lot of hatred back at Connor. I don't know. It seemed like
it was great.
Yeah, it was a little deep.
It was you're enjoying that villain role.
He's a method actor, just like we all are. We'll see you tomorrow acting again. Yeah, nailed it.
Boom.
That was right at the
That was good.
Right there.
God, with the music, too.
We'll be acting again, everybody. I knew these guys are fake. Just reading the script out there. These guys in media. Tone might have went back to the ranch, though.
I was pissed about the script this year, to be honest.
I mean, you got a pretty sweet one. What is it?
yours
4 games? All right, then go back and hang out with the Dolphins and Arnold Schwarzenegger? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess is what you said. I'm turning 40 at some point, and maybe we spice it up a little bit more.
Yeah, but this is not what I wanted.
Dude, how about how cool? You talked about it there with how it's supposed to be in the offseason. You running out with that flag. On September 11th?
I know.
On the worst stadium in the NFL, voted on by players and everybody?
Yep.
You're running out there on September 11th with
Voted on that. Nobody fucking voted on that. Come on.
85 people.
What's worse?
Yeah.
right.
What's worse then? What's the worst spot?
There's a lot worse spots than that.
What's a great spot? What's some of your
there we
favorite
go.
places to play?
Let's hear your top 31 places.
Yeah. Quick. You got good recall.
Listen, obviously Lambeau's fantastic. I love the turf, but not turf, it was grass. But the grass at Qualcomm was incredible. That was not a great place to play, although it was all Packer fans back in 2011. But the grass at Qualcomm was great. The grass at Soldier Field, forever until this year, because Tay sent me like a picture of it before the game when the Raiders played there. The grass at Soldier Field was the shittiest forever. Yeah. And that place gets colder than any other stadium. I mean, listen, I played Minnesota in 3 different spots. One of them was the University of Minnesota.
Yep.
That was a cold-ass place to play for sure.
Was that the historically cold game was it against you guys?
No, that was a playoff game in Seattle when Walsh missed that shorty, like a 20-something yard field goal. They would have beat Seattle. Yeah, then there's a stadium in Virginia that's pretty bad.
Washington.
Yeah, they got poop pipes bursting. They had no hot water after the last game. Remember that?
Yeah.
There's some people in some hot water for the lack of hot water.
That's right.
A little dust up over there.
Chicago. That's accidentally happened in Chicago a few times over the years. I can tell you that.
To both teams?
Never after an L. Only after a big dub by the G&G would they. Oh, that water's not working.
Well, that's because you were the landlord, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about worst locker rooms. The old Metrodome locker room was literally shoulder to shoulder, but your shoulders were bigger than the size of the locker.
Candlestick was terrible.
Candlestick was really bad. Yep.
That was bad.
2 Chainz performed, though. Remember when 2 Chainz performed in our game on the dugout out there?
Yeah, I remember that we didn't touch old Kaepernick the entire game. I think he ran for 170 yards and didn't get tackled one time.
Well, Titty Boys performed.
Ran out of bounds.
That'll happen.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen.
And people forget the first pass of the game went the other way. Pick 6 from Sammy Shields. I was like, we're gonna blow these boys out. No, we didn't.
Nah, Titty Boys on the dugout. Yeah. You guys got no shot with 2 Chainz on the dugout. You got no chance at all there. Oakland was terrible there for a while. Everybody's out.
I was literally just gonna say the Coliseum was terrible.
Kansas City, that locker room, away locker room, not good.
Not great.
That thing's tiny.
How are the Pittsburgh locker rooms?
Nice, new. Because they got college there, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Pittsburgh's good. All the new stadiums are actually pretty good. Like the Niners locker room, away team locker room is really nice.
I think they have to be now. I wonder if there's like a whole song and dance. What, Iowa? Didn't you guys used to have the pink?
Still do, brother. Pink locker rooms.
Is that why you guys are in the Big Ten Championship?
I mean, I don't know. Hayden Fry's a genius. You calm the away team down before the game. Just calm them down. And AJ knows. I mean, shit, AJ, you ever win at Iowa?
I don't know.
Did I? Well, we've talked about this before. I don't think you did.
Oh, really?
Whoa. It's a great place to play. Yeah, those pink locker rooms got us all freaked out.
Bingo.
It's probably the general's fault.
Could have been.
Well, we don't know what he's thinking when he sees that pink wall. Oh my God, I need all of it. I need all of it.
I think we know what he was thinking.
Yeah, we do. I heard they actually put it in 4 guys that are exactly like the General Bob Carpenter.
Yep.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to distract one type of human. It's going to be a barbarian-like guy, and that's the General Bob Carpenter.
That's right.
How do you feel about
Is there anybody like that guy?
No. No. Did you watch?
Aaron, you remember in Dallas, I believe it was the Creed game, you ran in from your early warm-ups. Aaron ran into the locker room, like, hey, man, you got to go see Bob's mustache. Have you seen this? And I think he had cut it into a big-time handlebar. And he actually set it up, too, so he got his license picture taken that same week so he could have the handlebar for like 8 years of his license. And that's the first thing I remember was going and seeing Bob, but Aaron came like running into me and let me know.
He's the best, dude. Did you watch that Michigan-Ohio State game? Did you watch that at all?
I did, yeah.
And this Michigan team might be the mentally toughest team of all time. Legitimate. I have no idea how there's a lot of shit, and they've somehow maintained the course here. I think that's pretty impressive, like very impressive.
Yeah, it can bring it together for sure. Especially now you got a common enemy. It's Michigan against everybody, right? But they don't have any really weaknesses. The defense is really, really good. They got a couple really good backs. Quarterback looked like he was healthy and was making some plays. But I think Iowa's probably going to have their hands full this weekend.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's probably the case.
But I will say the thing working in their favor, Ty, you know this, is nobody expects them to win.
Bingo.
That's right.
That's a good place to be in.
I agree.
There's a lot of situations that just don't get talked about afterwards where everybody thought one team was going to lose and they do. And then you just move along.
Let's talk about one thing, and give a shout out to my alma mater and Justin Wilcox at Cal. The boys been through an up and down season, lost a few close games, but we were 4-6. We beat Stanford, won the Axe again, and then they beat UCLA in the last. And this is the sad part. This is crazy. The last Pac-12 regular season game ever. They came through, beat UCLA to get to 6-6, get bowl eligible. So shout out to Justin and his coaching staff, all the Cal Bear faithful, and the Pac-12, as the legendary former UCLA center Bill Walton would say, the Conference of Champions.
That's right.
After this weekend, will be no more. So hopefully the committee does the right thing and puts the winner of this Oregon-Washington game into the college playoff, because that'd be a nice way to go out for the conference before it disbands and Cal fucking joins the ACC.
Who you got in the game? 2 good quarterbacks, Bo Nix, Penix Jr.
Bo's playing amazing. I'm a little torn because I know if Washington wins, there's no way they get held out. I also really, really enjoy watching Bo and feel like he can win a Heisman. I feel like it's kind of between Daniels and what does that odds say? I can't tell.
-165. Bo's the favorite.
Who's second?
Jaden
Daniels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Penix is third.
Yep.
Yeah, Penix 15.
And that's kind of what I was thinking. So I feel like if it'd be awesome for the Pac-12 in their last year, for Bo to win it. I feel like if he plays really, really well, which he has been incredible, I think he should win the Heisman. And if Oregon wins, with 1 loss, 3 points at Washington, if you look at their record, up against the other 1-loss teams, it's going to be very interesting because if Alabama wins, their 1 loss would be against Texas, week 2. Texas their loss would be against Oklahoma, I believe, in the Red River rivalry. Is that right?
Yeah.
And so to me, Oregon is in over those. What happens in the ACC, because everybody's just waiting for a reason for Florida State to not make it. But if they end up winning, they're probably in. SEC has got to get somebody in, right? You would think.
They're saying maybe not. That's what all the college people are saying. It's crazy because Georgia's one loss would be Alabama.
I cannot stand the BCS and what they've put together now. So I want it to just have controversy every year, just so they realize how stupid this is to not have more than 4 teams. And obviously they're changing it, but it's years of ridiculousness. Yes. So that's why I'd love to see Alabama win and Iowa win.
Hell yeah.
And Oregon win.
Chaos.
And
full chaos.
Louisville win.
Yes.
Aaron's pulling for full chaos.
Love it.
Full chaos.
Everybody's got one loss. All right, committee. Now you're going to piss off at least 4 teams.
I love that you're
just
pulling.
So you realize how stupid this has been this entire time. You lose not just the integrity of these bowls, which have been amazing over the years, but you lose out on the money that you could have had. NCAA, and you guys talked about that when you were at James Madison. Like what they've done to that school, like locking that school out of a bowl game, is ridiculous too. Like we all know that, but it's just common practice for the NCAA. Like, going after kids for getting meals from a family they grew up with that was like their second family and can't buy them a freaking cheeseburger and all the other stupid ass shit that they try to enforce over the years. It's an absolute joke. And now they're professional football. Now they're upset that the players are making a little bit of money. I mean, it's.
Hey, you follow college ball. I just heard a full-on. There's college football playoff rankings being released tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Your take right there is going to be said by at least 2 of the people that are on TV up there. You sound like you know college ball. You've been following along.
Well, let's just age. I want to ask you this. I have been. And then I'll get off and get on with my life. But how far does Ohio State drop in the polls? Because that's going to be huge, right?
I don't. Does anyone give them a chance to possibly get in? Is there even an outside chance?
I don't think so. With how everything's going, last year they got a reprieve.
So drop to 15. It doesn't even matter.
Probably 8.
No.
8 or 9.
I think you need for Ohio State again. You need Georgia to win. You need Michigan to win. You need Oklahoma State to win.
Louisville.
You need Washington to win.
Yeah,
and Louisville to win.
Yeah.
And I think they get in this 4th seed if that happens.
General was ranked. General put him in.
I'll be very excited to see how the general has them ranked. But this year with the parity amongst all of the conferences, it's like the decision's going to be made. You hear Herb Street talk about it yesterday? He's like, it's not about who's deserving, okay? Everybody's deserving. He's at the point where it's like, can we get the 4 best in here?
Yes.
Because the average point differential of these games is like 20 points a game. Like these semifinals, it's like, who deserves to be in there? Who deserves to be in there? Who played hard this year? Who did that whole thing? And Herbie's sitting up there in the booth, and by the second quarter, this thing's 21-3. And he's like, this game's already over. He's experienced it, I think, from a different angle. So he wants the best teams. I want the best games, the best games, the best games. But the best teams didn't show up every single week throughout the entire season. So it's like, who is, who isn't? I do not envy that committee at all. And I'm thankful that we got the 12-team playoff next year, Aaron. Very thankful for that. Very, very thankful.
Yeah, me too.
That committee jobs suck. They love that power. They signed up for it. Oh, yeah. Like they want to be in that room saying, well, but it's like they're never going to get it right.
Committee members are the same people that are going to be 85 years old sitting on the HOA head of those committees.
Yes.
Telling people they can't build a fence in their backyard. They got to paint their house a certain color.
That HOA thing is wild. In Pittsburgh, where I grew up, no HOA. And then you come out to Indiana, and I learned that.
See what happens. Yeah, try that in the small town in Pittsburgh. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know how we got other rackets that are running. Yeah. Okay, the Italians are doing their thing. We don't need individual HOAs with no Italians telling me what to do.
You're not doing that on Greenfield Avenue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, go ahead, build a fence, do whatever you want. Just don't come inside ours.
Yeah, just don't fucking look inside what we got going on. Anyways, Tim McAfee got too many sticks in his front yard. His HOA first visit to him.
Is that right?
That was awesome. What am I?
Hey, Aaron, if
You're on
David
fire.
Tepper called you, would you entertain an interview to be the head coach there?
There we go.
I'm going to try and play. I'm going to try and keep playing.
I know, but what if he says, "Hey, man, I'm going to bring an intern in maybe for a year, but yeah, I'd like to interview you because I think you could be a potential head coach in this league."
Jackie Moon.
Pass. Hard pass. Thank you.
Okay.
Hard pass.
AJ, how about you? Dave Tepper calls, says he wants you to be the head coach of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, we could have a Zoom. We'll Zoom and talk about it.
Okay, see if you guys like each other.
Yeah.
I don't really want to. I can't really move, but I don't foresee that happening. I don't think he would do it, but you never know.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want to move down.
Where's AQ at? I feel like he's a little salty on me after I, told him that he might have had that thing a little wrong when, Pittsburgh's running form of this old kangaroo play we had. Not, receivers probably weren't supposed to be blocking.
Whoa.
He got a little salty about that.
Well, AQ, listen, he loves the football as much as the next guy.
He does.
But he
does a great job on his run game stuff. When you start talking about, pass game, like.
It's what he says to Orlovsky.
Yeah, bingo.
Hey, this is what he says. This is what he says whenever quarterbacks start talking about run game or run protection and everything like that. He the reason why In the Trenches exists with AQ Shipley is because Dan Orlovsky threw some center under the bus on ESPN 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And I got this entire video from AQ's phone going, this fucking idiot. And he broke the whole thing down, and I'm like, all right, dude, do you want me to give you Orlovsky's number or whatever? He goes, no, but this needs to change. It's like, okay, maybe we'll do In the Trenches. That's where we got. And now you're doing the same thing back to him.
Duncan.
This is a nice little circle of this entire thing.
Well, I think he would meet his match if he really wants to start matching wits in the run game, because I know the run game pretty well too. So.
Yeah,
but I'm just trying to help him.
He's challenging Orlovsky. I don't think he's challenging Aaron Rodgers. I think it's a little different there.
I love both what AQ does and DB on there. I think those are awesome segments, and just like I've been watching way too much damn football this year, I get to watch your show when I was at the Achilles Factory every damn day, which has been awesome.
Hell yeah!
But those are fun segments too.
Well, thanks for watching.
Thank you, Aaron.
It's great to pass
You did a
time.
good job.
It's great to pass time with.
Sure.
There's still people that don't think you tore your Achilles. Will we ever get a photo of the Achilles being just ripped?
Listen, we're on YouTube now, so let me just say it to anybody out there that didn't think I tore my Achilles. GFY.
Oh.
Like that.
Oh, what does that mean?
First word is go, and the last word is yourself.
Finger in the middle.
The middle is probably what you're not doing living in your parents' basement.
Got it. Okay. That was what happened with Tovid.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, GFY to all of them. That's what I say.
Yep.
Go finger yourself everywhere.
Amen.
All over the place. Do what you need to do.
That's right.
But just keep your stupid, ill-informed opinions out of our universe.
Please.
Ain't that right, Aaron?
Yeah. Just do your own research.
Oh, no.
Nice. Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers. Appreciate you, buddy. Fauci was like, get him off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please, quick. Get him out.
Let's get to a break. Hey, Ton. Hope you're good, Foch and Diggs.
Yep.
Hope you guys are good.
Is Tone all right? He's okay?
Yeah, he was just sick.
Oh.
He had an accident.
They didn't want to spread. He didn't have an accident.
Oh.
Well,
He was sick.
yeah.
He's sick.
He's sick.
He's sick
He's
currently.
sick.
Yes. I sold it to Foxy. He damn near crashed his car and died.
Oh, yeah.
Why'd you do why?
This is Monday morning, 7 a.m. Yeah, Diggs
asshole.
isn't coming in today. He was driving home, and
He got in a big accident.
I'm
What'd
like,
you do?
I don't know.
Foxy's
what the
so
hell?
It's just a good perspective, Tony's sick.
It is.
He could have crashed his car.
like
and
what Gary
died.
Vee does.
Exactly.
Anybody catch the?
It did make me grateful for the week we had coming.
Boom.
Well, Tone, we miss you, pal. Did
I
anybody
caught
check
you,
out
bud.
the Gary Vee mon?
I
Caught
did.
the whole stream.
I did. Gary wasn't on there for about 2 hours, and after I watched 2 hours of it without Gary, I was like, okay.
So you were waiting for him to push.
Yeah. One. Yeah. I was waiting for that. Nothing.
What's that all about?
Can't be doing that, Gary.
He's not.
Who's beating the boss? The boss ain't there. You're just beating yourself. You're beating off.
Yeah, they were doing like a pack opening and sending the packs to people. So it was like, hey, this is Ed and Steve's pack. I'm going to open it now. And they showed you the pack, and they were doing that. They weren't really battling the boss. I assume Gary was in the lab making more VMon.
Let's get to a break.
Come on, Gary.
We got everything DB late. Good D, bad D.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Patriots on there?
The Patriots did not make it.
Damn.
How about the Colts?
The Colts did make it.
For good D?
Good, absolutely.
Wow.
Only winners make a good D.
Well, that's not completely true.
Don't look
Unless
now.
I need to bury.
Don't look now. Colts are in the playoffs.
Boom.
Yeah.
Everything's still in front of us. We're like the perfect team because we already got a quarterback for the future. Okay, we already got a quarterback for the future. So it's not like we're trying to tank. Like the fans are happy if we win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're happy if we win. Let's keep it going. If we lose, teams.
Our quarterback.
It's like a perfect situation. And as you watch Gardner Minshew do a shoulder shimmy of the century after he scores another touchdown and throw some up to Michael Pittman Jr. and the boys, it's
Downs.
like, here we go. Josh Downs, the player. It's fun. It's been a fun year watching this Colts.
Got a good coach.
Shane Steichen's a guy.
JT got hurt.
We're saying good things.
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan Taylor did hurt his thumb.
It was only his thumb. That's good.
2 touchdowns. 2 tugs.
Think of what we were talking about in the summer with them. In training camp with Jonathan Taylor, with everything. Man, this is a tough job to come into, and now look at you like it's a hell of a coaching job.
Shane Steichen's done it. And also, good backup quarterback, Gardner Minshew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Instead of like
Huge.
Tim
That's
Boyle,
huge.
I didn't want to bury him to Aaron. But I did think about asking, like, hey, did you think about just rolling yourself out there and just maybe flicking the wrist in that 55-yard Hail Mary before
sitting
half?
down on your butt cheeks and tossing it in.
So we didn't. So the Tim Boyle doesn't have that on his resume?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Hey, did you see what happened during that the Hail Mary, Aaron? Everybody's saying it's like the worst play of all time.
Yeah, Hail Mary.
Did you think about going out there? I mean, he only had to throw that 56 yards.
He almost made it there.
Yeah, right on the goal line.
I was pissed.
Why were you pissed? It's good for DB.
Yeah.
No, Al Davis.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Rest in peace.
Bad day in heaven.
I don't think I've ever seen a Hail Mary take it back.
Never.
Ever.
Yeah, that's why it was.
Shout out, Javon.
Hey, way to go, Holiday. Holland, I'm sorry.
Good work.
On
He did it on Holiday.
On Holland on Holiday.
Yep.
They see Holland on Holidays fucking
Watch out.
hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
It's hard to get a hold of Holland on a holiday.
It is.
You know, especially whenever he's returning a Hail Mary that's really hellacious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Holland on a holiday for a Hail Mary that's hellacious is hard to get a hold of. Holler back, dude.
Well said.
Nice.
Hell yeah. All right, hour 3 will start on the other side of this 5-minute break. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Take 5.
Bye.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers said that he would actually drink his own urine every single day for his 12-year NFL career.
Why?
Knowing that diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind.
Also, I do believe I'm going to have a microphone at the ESPYs.
Whoa.
I just went to a breakfast with the producers of the ESPYs and tried to play the game here. I typed up a full fake speech yesterday that was close enough to what it's going to be. And then today they wanted a breakfast so that they could relay out the entire thing, and I'm not doing this. I already got my speech. You guys can either help it or not help it and mute my mic if you want to. So we're off to a good start.
ESPN's Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee.
I had to give a speech at this rehearsal, and God bless everybody at the ESPYs because I don't do rehearsals well. I've never been able to do them, and I'm definitely not letting these people who didn't want me to be able to be in the position that I was in to hear anything that I'm actually going to say.
Sure. No.
So I had to give 2 fake speeches. Welcome to the 2023 ESPYs. I'm not your host. No. Ladies and gentlemen, the best NFL player of 2023 the ESPY goes to the ketchup lover himself, Patrick Mahomes. There it is. Congrats, Patrick. You deserve it. We love watching you play football, Patrick.
rehearsing.
Welcome to the 2023 ESPYs. As I'm walking out to go do my final fake speech, I get a text from Plane Lady. They just had to U-turn because something was forgot.
Took off 7 minutes, turned around, flew back down. Connor forgot the roll notes. I've never heard of that.
Tell me what it's like to live with superpowers. I don't know, but I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I just know that I'ma get it. 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 Hey, I got the drop.
All right, I'm about to go do this thing. Lil Wayne's about to do I'm Melly, and I'm walking out. And I'm gonna talk about AJ Hawk drinking his piss.
Please welcome ESPN's Pat McAfee.
Welcome to the 2023 ESPY. I am not your host. No. There was supposed to be a funny host, a host that's friends with The Rock, a host that does interviews out of a cold tub, a host that I've never met, but from the pictures on the internet, I think that some bitch is about yay tall. It is an absolute honor to be in this room celebrating the hell out of sports excellence. Sports are the greatest thing in the world. Sports are amazing. In a world that is seemingly divided by everything, if you go to any stadium or arena or locker room, you will see people from all different backgrounds, socioeconomic classes, races, religions, differing of opinions, all uniting for one thing, and that's to beat the hell out of them. Ladies and gentlemen, Damar Hamlin is here tonight. We all watched the situation unfolding on Monday Night Football, and we all at home feared for the absolute worst. And Skip Bayless was like, get that dead body off the field. We got playoff implications on the line. He said it. The tweet's still up. Hashtag delete the tweet, Skip. Come on. I still don't think Skip should put that tweet out tomorrow. I think that was a little insensitive. In the past 12 months, 3 teams have brought their fans in city a championship for the first time ever. The LSU women's basketball team is here tonight. The Vegas Golden Knights won their first ever Stanley Cup. That's hockey. And the Denver Nuggets won their first ever NBA championship. You know, every once in a while, though, sports will contribute to society some monsters. There was a man who would put a wolf mask on and actually go into banks with a gun and rob them for money so that he could watch these 2 assholes play football. So we apologize. The sports world obviously isn't perfect. Sue us. Don't actually. Shout out Brett Favre. I'm getting sued by Brett Favre.
What?
One NBA star is not here that I was kind of hoping for. He is 7'5", needs to apologize to Britney Spears. All of us, learning of him very recently, can't wait to watch him take on the NBA's best, the Kardashian family. Kendall Jenner's starting 5 would win the NBA championship every single year. You know it. You know it, Jamal. If they were in the bubble, your ass is getting smoked, dude. Hit me! Love that. There's people in here that do crazy things to get their body from one game to the next. There's acupuncture, obviously. There's people that change their entire sleeping patterns. There's people that live in a way that no fun is had so that they can show up for their teammates. And as we've recently learned, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers said that he would actually drink his own urine every single day for his 12-year NFL career. And it's that type of commitment and dedication to craft and sport. It's been almost 20 years since the loss of Pat Tillman, but every time we pay tribute to his legacy of sacrifice and service, we're continuing to live on in his honor. The presenter of the Pat Tillman Award for Service, Yinzer DeMar Hamlin. That's pretty good time. I've got all Walter Hazard moments before I went out there, so vibes were super high. That was damn good. Hey,
Why?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, November 28th, 2023. Hour 3 of the program starts now.
Football!
Happened last night. That man has won a lot of championships in football. That's AJ Hawk. The Talk to Table is here at Boss O'Connor and at Ty Schmidt. And a man who's sitting in place of one half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs, who is out because he is sick. Darius J. Butler is here.
Pretty much.
Anyway, he looks super cool. Had the hat on all day. Kind of took that off because we're about to get to everything
Get
DB.
real. Yeah, got to let the brain breathe a little bit.
Oh, that's why people wear visors.
Yeah.
Let that brain in there. Did you hear what Kirby Smart said about Jalen Milroe? Kirby Smart, obviously the head coach of the Georgia Bulldogs. They're back-to-back national champions. We had the incredible honor of talking to this dude. He was great on our show.
Oh, yeah.
Great on our show. Seems like he's building a team in a blue-collar fashion, a tough fashion. They're playing Alabama in the SEC Championship this Saturday, where we will be live from for game day, and I'll be live from on Friday. Here's Kirby Smart talking about Jalen Milroe. You're talking about a compliment. Here's like 10 of them in one particular statement.
When you were talking about Milroe, are those like Tim Tebow characteristics with the size, the speed, and the running ability?
No offense to Tim Tebow, but
I love Tim Tebow.
This guy's different. You know, Tim was, he was just, it was a different running style. You know, very different running style in terms of what they did and how they did things. This guy's, it's like when I used to ask my sons who they were playing with on the Madden game, and they would say, I'm playing with the Ravens, and I would say, why are you playing with the Ravens? And they would say, they got Lamar Jackson, and nobody can tackle him. Well, this guy's a bigger physical version of that. He's playing in a different speed than everybody else when you watch it, and that's the way the Madden game was for him. And, the guy throws the ball really well.
Old school 2K, you'd play with Pat White, Steve Slayton. West Virginia was the team on NCAA 2K because of what Pat White was able to do at the quarterback position and running. Obviously, Michael Vick was like that, and Madden Lamar Jackson like that. Whenever you have these freak athletes at the quarterback position who just are seemingly faster, stronger, smarter, and everything at one position, it's fun. I didn't know Milroe had that type of respect from his peers, though. I didn't know Milroe had that respect because this is his first year starting. He got benched earlier in this year, and we've seen him obviously blossom and grow, and he actually said, where's the Heisman? Give me that motherfucker after the 4th and goal from the 31, which I love that. I enjoy hearing that type of moxie out of him. I'm pumped for Milroe. Like, hey, congratulations, man.
Yeah.
That's like the back-to-back national champions talking about you. He's worked his ass off to get here, which I think makes us understand, too, that, like, this Georgia defense is going to be ready for everything that this Alabama team has. Think about how Kirby's talking about this Alabama team as we head into the SEC Championship, AJ.
Yeah, we were there and we got to see him play. We watched him play in person. The first thing you notice when you see him is just his physical stature, just everything about him. And then you watch how he's progressed, especially as a passer this year, and you see his leadership. And I mentioned it yesterday. I feel like he has infectious positivity, at least every time he's on camera. His teammates have to feel that. But if you're an opponent, upcoming opponent, and you're watching some of that film, it's scary to think about what this guy can do with his legs, obviously, all day long. But like, he can just beat you so many different ways. I remember I played against Cam Newton when he was early on in his career, and Cam, like, all right, man, what are we going to do? What do we have to do here? Like, you do whatever you can, get him to the 3rd and long or whatever. Cam runs 3 dudes over, rolls his way into the end zone. Like, and he would just continue to do that all day, and then he lofts the ball over your head and has nice touch on it, and he can kind of do everything. And I think Milroe, we're watching him grow as a quarterback, but man, it's fun to watch. Like just his physical nature and everything that he can do that you can't coach, you can't do that. Like he's just special.
He gets on the edges too. Those corners are making some business decisions, D-Bud. What do you think about this Alabama team?
Like you said, he's built, but freak show athlete. Still, in my opinion, athletes still learning how to play quarterback. Obviously, it's a long season. We saw him take that L to Texas. You mentioned get benched, and you make a big play like that in the Iron Bowl. And now, you got the back-to-back national champs. This completely flip everything on his head. He goes out and win this game. But just a freak athlete. He's in open space. Any Saturday, he can be the fastest, most electric player on the field, which is saying something in the SEC if you're playing the quarterback position. So he's a special talent to watch.
And Saban, I think, has really embraced everything that he is. You know, they have a meeting every single week. They chit-chat. I think it's near whenever we get a chance to talk to Coach Saban. But the way he's talked about his development, and he said, the guys really like him. That's what he kept. He just always says, the guys really like him. That means something. Like earlier, Lombardi was talking about Carson Wentz whenever Frank Reich basically told the Colts, like, hey, Carson over here, whenever we were looking for a quarterback, obviously what Frank and Doug and Carson were able to do in Philadelphia before big Richard Nick Foles came in and did his thing. Frank Reich thought that they could kind of recreate Carson Wentz, was an MVP quarterback before he got hurt for the Philadelphia Eagles in Indianapolis. And then when it didn't work out, when Carson couldn't win over the locker room and when nobody really – Michael Lombardi said he thinks that ruined Frank, like his confidence and everything, because Frank thought he saw something and it completely backfired. And he said it was because he couldn't relate to the lot. Like if the team likes you, that's a massive ordeal. Now you have to be good. You can't suck. Normally, if you suck, teams aren't going to like you just because you're ruining a lot of our lives. Okay, a lot of us are potentially doing our jobs pretty good, and we can't be happy. You know why? Because you stink. That's going to be at any position, but it's certainly at a quarterback position whenever they're touching the ball every single time. It's not easy to be liked anywhere in a professional sport level if you're losing and you stink. That's just going to be one of those things. But like how much he's loved, the benching, how he handled it, it's like mentally the makeup of this guy is special. I think he's very fucking special. And Coach Saban has coached people like Hurts, who I think we're watching his leadership kind of be on display. So with how athletic he is, how mentally sharp and tough and seemingly professional he is, it's like Milroe might be a guy for a long time in his football world. And I think, with the way the NFL game is kind of going, are we just seeing the beginning of something very special? And is this weekend one of the ones that we'll look back on and said changed everything for him from the national spotlight?
What year is Milroe?
Junior, I think.
Junior?
Maybe sophomore?
Junior, but there's a COVID year, I think.
COVID year, yeah.
I mean, even... And I hate to do it because I know he's a quarterback and probably wants to be a quarterback, but when I watch him play, I feel like this guy can play 4 or 5 different positions. And obviously, if he wants to stay a quarterback, he can do that and continue to develop.
Sophomore.
Be a tough one. But you mentioned Hurts, but even Tua. Tua is mature. Somebody talked about it the other day about what Mike McDaniel was doing on here. And then to go back with Wentz, what Lombo said about that connectivity, like that was a super tough year. I couldn't imagine that year, being in 2020, that COVID year, you're coming in and like trying to connect with new teammates, trying to get them because I feel like the Eagles, the guys before he got hurt, I feel like they spoke about him glowingly. Like the team loved him when he was on that MVP run. But
he was an MVP player.
Yeah,
he was beloved by everybody.
Got paid,
and it was a dive. Was it he hurt his
against the Rams?
It was on a dive, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was on like a push,
goal line,
like a shove. It was
he was rolling out, but it was him.
He scored too, right?
Yeah, he scored, and then because he dove, the guy was going to hit his knees, and it got like smushed between the guy who was tackling him and the guy that was diving trying to stop him.
Oh, that changes everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Came back in the next play too, and I believe they went for 2, and he was on the field for that play.
Yeah, that's Carson Wentz football.
Damn right.
That's Carson Wentz football. That changes it all. But yeah, you're right. I guess during the time in which it was, it's going to be tough to connect. But if you don't have the locker room behind you, I think that says a lot about who you are. That means the locker room knows, like, in the locker room, he's cool. In the weight room, he's working his ass off. In the meeting room, he's paying attention. Like, those are things that guys like. Like, if you're a shitbag and you're also bad, not a lot of people are going to like you. Like, hey, you're ruining everything for us. Like, all of us are kind of doing our thing. If you're a shitbag and you're great, it's like, all right, that's how we
put up with it.
Keep going.
They'll put up with it. Yeah, you're right. They'll put up with it until you're not good anymore.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Hey, that's how he plays. Can't put too much information in there. Yeah, can't be watching film. Yeah, because it's just saying how that's.
Everyone will make excuses for it. If you're winning games and you're playing well, everyone around will make excuses for every pitfall that you may have until you start losing games.
And you start playing bad. If you start playing bad, it's like, well, you ever think about maybe
This guy's a fucking asshole.
like
Maybe
trying-
showing up before 9 a.m. one time, buddy. Like, yeah, all that.
Yeah, like maybe like cold tub, maybe not being late to treat. You ever think about maybe just doing that? It'd be good.
It's funny though, isn't it, Pat? All the stuff that you used to think he was cool for. Man, this guy's awesome. He smokes cigs. He doesn't ever work out. Like, he's a legend, right?
Yeah.
He's a legend, bud. And then the second he starts playing bad, they hate everything about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, bud. Been there. Yeah. A lot of that. I mean, you think about like, a lot of teams have those guys because there's a lot of guys who, I don't want to say a lot of guys, but like there's a handful of guys who are just, you don't think their diet is terrible. The way they live, terrible. Their study habits, not great. Work ethic, is it? But then game day, they show up somehow. And it's
like rare.
A complete different ball. Handful of guys. Yeah, a handful of guys.
Like Ocho Cinco guy, Nick, because he was just eating McDonald's.
Yeah, but I think his work ethic is stupid.
Yeah, okay.
He was sleeping at the facility and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that's the thing that doesn't get talked about is like the amount of like film study and work it takes to be at that highest level. Even the people that potentially like kind of fuck off a little bit. But there are some guys that for somehow, some way, and they're not going to be Hall of Famers, but they're able to have success who just somehow are the worst professional athletes of all time. Everything you're not supposed to do, they do. And somehow they can pull it off. And everybody else is just like, that's not real life. That's not how it goes. And then it ends up crashing. Then it kind of ends up crashing.
It's hard to sustain. It's really hard to sustain that, like, oh, you're just the best athlete. You've always been the best athlete. You can just show up, and as long as you play somewhat hard, you're going to be very good. Yeah, that's hard to sustain that for many, many years.
And if you hear what everybody's saying about Milroe, sounds like he's beloved. It's because he's doing it right on the behind closed doors, which we appreciate. Can't wait to see his growth. Even though D-Butt's like, put him at tight end. That guy.
What was that about?
Pace as hell.
Great fullback.
But he wants to be a quarterback.
Hey, respect it. Hopefully he continues to grow. But if he does not, and there's no money anymore left, and there's the only option is to maybe run a couple routes, don't think it's a bad idea.
No.
Don't think it's a bad idea for anybody out there. Not that he's going to need to do that. We're just saying in general. And then you go to Georgia. Carson Beck, this dude just averages 300 a game. Just whatever. We're undefeated. Here we go. We beat everybody. That's just what we do. And I throw the ball all over the yard. We obviously have a run game in Milton and Edwards, but this dude is like a real deal. And he's making tough throws too. He's not even in the conversation for the Heisman. They're like not even number one team in the country, back-to-back national champions. His first year starting, averaging like 300 yards a game, slicing, dicing. They lose the best player in the country. He has his best game after that happens. It's like, and nobody's even talking about him. I assume like Jalen Milroe, obviously Kirby just complimented him. That's not normal though for a lot of people to come out and say that about him. And then Carson Beck, nobody's saying shit about this guy. He has to have so many, and he's stuck around now. He played before Stetson played. Then Stetson comes in whenever he gets hurt and does the whole Stetson thing for however long it is, and now he's still there. It's like the amount of shit he's been through. And the way
Stetson got a bunch of good pub too when he was in college. Like we were always, maybe it was just everything, like the age, everything. His story is why he got a little more pub, or I guess Stetson is the one who kind of put those there, and now he's trying to uphold the expectations of Carson Beck. Yeah, that's what. Of course, yeah, you better win every game. You better throw for 300 plus.
Yeah, Carson's phenomenal though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I am a big fan of it, and he has a leg tat, which
he does.
You know what I mean? That is
a lot of moxie.
That's an ipso facto. That is an indicator for me because a lot of people say, "Oh, I'll get a leg tat." Not everybody follows through with how long that has to take,
oh my God,
the pain process, and knowing exactly how cool it's going to look all the time. Dealing with how cool you look all the time is something you have to decide. He did. I love him. I absolutely love Carson Beck.
That Georgia team also feels like, in like October, it was one of those things where like they were maybe susceptible, like, hey, someone could maybe get him here. But now they've like found their identity and they know who they are, and it seems like they're right back to where they were last year. Like early in the season, I think a lot of people were like, oh, they lost so many guys to the NFL. They don't have Stetson raising hell in Athens anymore.
Maybe.
Maybe. I guess you're right. But now it seems like they've kind of rounded into form. I mean, like you talked about it a couple weeks ago. Like their fans were kind of ho-hum after they beat Missouri, and now we see like what Missouri's doing. It's like, this team's very, very fucking good, and it's going to take a Herculean effort from Alabama to beat them.
Yeah, and everybody is just not even – Brock Bowers obviously, best tight end. He's Lad McConkey.
Yeah.
He's awesome. How about his story? How about his story we learned about on game day? Jen Latta, I think, did a Lad McConkey special. His story, walk-on, obviously, played – Sweet. He's awesome. They got more and more. It's an NFL factory all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm really hoping Saban comes out and just does exactly what Kirby does. Like, yeah, my grandkids were playing Madden and they're playing for the Bills, and I said, why are you playing for the Bills? Because they got Josh Allen, and he can do stuff that no one else can. And that's just like Carson Beck. They should just go back and forth about their players in Madden.
Hey, you should tell them on Thursday. You should say, hey, I got an idea. I know you got people you bounce ideas off of. I got an idea.
Let me be one for you.
Hey, because what Kirby did was be loved by everybody.
Everyone was talking
rat
about
poison.
You can have the same. Yeah, that's part of what he's saying.
Yeah.
I heard
but
what he's saying.
He's
All right.
spitting the rat poison. In this sense, he is the rat poison.
I appreciate that the SEC championship is Georgia and Alabama, and I appreciate that it's Kirby Smart and Saban, especially if you go all the way back to last national championship when David Pollock, who I am a massive fan of, one of the greatest Bulldogs of all time, if not the greatest Georgia Bulldog of all time, said right in front of Saban, like, yeah, this is Georgia's daddy now, pretty much, is what he said in front of Saban, and they zoomed in on Saban's face, and they're like, look at this, and now here we are, in a definite college football playoff spot on the line. And if Georgia was to lose this, not saying that's going to happen, but it's college football. Literally anything
can happen.
Can happen at any moment. It's like if Georgia loses, they're not going to be in a college football playoff all of a sudden because they lost one game. And it was to Alabama in the SEC championship. And you're going to leave the back-to-back national. So the back-to-back national champions, there's going to be another team with one loss in the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
But the back-to-back national champions with one loss aren't going to get in. Boy, I know the Georgia fans can get loud, okay, because they have certainly done that to me in person and on the internet. Very, very much so. Could you fathom that decision being made by?
Oh my God!
There's fucking chaos around it. Like Aaron said, I want chaos. Like there's a chance that it could happen. Now, chalk can go through and everything can get figured out, and the Florida State conversation is going to be the one that's going to piss everybody off.
God.
But if a couple other things happen, and there's going to be a lot of very loyal, passionate, loud people with connections, fan bases. A lot of them. Everybody just thinks about a couple. It's like, you don't think Texas has... You don't think Texas has some alumni that are pretty loud? I think they have some pretty loud alumni that will spur up a very, very passionate fan base. If they're left out of this thing, if they go win the Big 12, with a win over Alabama on their record, it'll be it's chaos, bro. College football is fucking insane.
Yeah.
It is absolutely insane.
It's the best. It cannot wait for this weekend just because of what we'll be able to talk about after. But what happens if Georgia loses and Bama wins, obviously, and Bama and Georgia both get in? Who's 3, who's 4? Even that conversation.
Well, then just think about this. Oregon beats Washington. Let's say Oregon beats Washington. So now Oregon buzzsaw right now.
Yes.
Like if you watch how they have played, they have one loss. Texas wins, they have one loss. Let's say Bama beats Georgia. So those two both have one loss.
Yeah, so it's 4 of those with a Michigan. They're locked in.
Does it matter how Georgia would lose, though? If they lost, does it matter?
Yeah.
What's that? How the game looks?
Like, say somehow Georgia lays an egg and doesn't look good. Does that change compared to if they lose by 3?
For sure.
I think so. Everything is like eye test almost in college football.
It is.
Which is insane. You gotta win your way into the conversation. And then once you get in the conversation, now it's just like
you got to lose at the right time too.
And that's why people have an issue with Florida State, because they have done everything that they've needed to do up to this point, and it's no disrespect to Florida State because it's kind
not
of
their fault.
And it's what we talk about. It's like it's not their fault that their conference.
Let me go
this
through
year.
their schedule. I did this yesterday because the way that Herbie was talking, like, hey, this is going to be a situation. They got Louisville, Braum and the boys. We'll see how that goes in the ACC championship. They beat Florida 24-15 with backup in Florida.
Rivalry.
Okay, in a rivalry game.
Great win.
That's a big time win. They beat North Alabama. Okay.
Yep. It's a school.
They beat Miami. Big name.
Yeah.
Miami's still good win, though. Florida State-Miami rivalry game, but they beat Miami. Miami is obviously not ranked. They beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's not ranked. Wake Forest, not ranked. Duke, currently not ranked, but they had
At the time.
had a good Syracuse,
solid.
Stakes just fired their coach.
Okay.
Virginia Tech,
Bowl eligible.
beat Clemson in overtime. Clemson, big name.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dabo.
Boston College, close one.
That's a good team.
31-29.
It's a tough football team. That was a red bandana game.
Yeah, it's different there.
Yep.
Southern Miss, they beat Southern Miss.
Brett
Jamie
Favre's
Collins.
alma mater.
Boom.
But they beat LSU here. LSU now 3 losses. Obviously, it's a big part of the conversation. That's why Jaden Daniels might not be able to win the Heisman. But they did beat LSU first game of the year. So that's a big win.
And they scheduled that game, which is a big deal.
We appreciate.
Yep.
They wanted a big game to start this entire thing. But it's like you go through that, even Florida State fans, you see a lot of team names that aren't good at football in there. And that's going to get held against them when they're talking about other teams. Now, how many do the other team have? And what angle do you carry? The LSU one, Miami's rivalry game, obviously Florida and Florida. Those things are bad though.
How high
so
is
it's like
Louisville?
it's hard to kind of get in there.
How high is Louisville? Right?
So Louisville's 15th right now. They had a chance to go on a run. Then they lost to Virginia? No.
Pitt.
Pitt. Yeah, they lost to Pitt, which, hey, Pitt will break some hearts.
Yeah.
And Chris Bickle was there for that game.
We don't know if that is true or not.
No, I don't.
Chris Bickle, head coach. Chris Bickle, University of Pittsburgh, class of 83.
97.
All right, 97, head coach of the Pittsburgh Panthers. What a title. How much did that guy pay for that?
$20 million.
Guy paid $20 million. So that allegedly, like anytime we talk about, what's old buddy's full name there?
Pat Narduzzi.
All right.
Nice.
Classic.
Oh,
classic.
Cheap shot.
Just because the way he's a hardworking guy, and you do that. Anyways, yeah, you're supposed to say Chris Bickle, University of Pittsburgh, class of 1997, head coach, Pat Narduzzi of the Pittsburgh Panthers. He named the title of the head coach.
Sick.
So like the head coaching title is no longer just head coach Pat Narduzzi. It is that entire thing. Paid $20 million for that. $20 million.
Well spent.
Have you ever heard that?
Coordinators have names.
Ever.
I've seen coordinators have names. Like it'll say the Billy Buttcheeks offensive operational coordinator. Like these weird names I've seen like on name tags of offices.
That sounds like a troll job.
Yeah, Billy
Not the
Buttcheeks
Billy.
was the
It wasn't
name.
really Billy Buttcheeks, obviously. Okay, Tim Johnson's offensive coordinator.
That doesn't sound real either.
Tim Big Johnson.
Big Johnson.
The offensive
TJ.
coordinator.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's real, guys.
That was awesome, though. I do appreciate them finding ways to get NIL money in.
Yeah.
All right, what do you need? I don't know. What do you want? Well, give me the head coaching title. Give me the head coaching title.
I want you to say my fucking name every time you say the head coach's name.
And that I graduated.
Class of 97.
Class
Remember that?
19. This is best class. 98, soft. 96, bullshit. 97, perfect, right in there. College football has been a lot of fun to be a part of. Just like that to know. The Pitt football program has received a historic $20 million gift from alumnus Chris Bickle, the largest single donation in Pitt athletics history. Pitt's head coaching position will be permanently named to Chris Bickle, 97 head football coach.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
This guy gave us more money than he's the fucking head coach.
Yeah.
What does
Even
he
if
do?
he's not the head coach, he's
Where do he make his money?
Chris Bickle. We don't ask those questions in Pittsburgh. See, that's what we're talking about with HOAs.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Don't want to know. Don't care.
All right. I think the only thing we have to really address today is that Sports Illustrated has responded.
Yep.
Yes, they have.
You know, we had ourselves quite a time as we learned about Sora Tanaka and
Yep.
Drew Ortiz.
Days boy.
We had a blast yesterday learning about them.
Oh, yeah.
Super fun.
Blame it on a third party.
Sports Illustrated has come out and said today an article was published alleging, the Sports Illustrated published AI-generated articles according to our initial investigation. That's not true. Okay. The articles in question were product reviews and were licensed content from an external third-party company, Advon Commerce. A number of Advon's e-commerce articles ran on certain arena websites. We continually monitor our partners and we're in the midst of a review when these allegations were raised. Advon has assured us that all of the articles in question were written and edited by humans.
Oh, okay.
According to Advon, their writers, editors, and researchers create and curate content and follow a policy that involves using both counter-plagiarism and counter-AI software on all content. Really? That's really nice of them. However, we have learned that Advon had writers use a pen or pseudonym in certain articles to protect authors' privacy. Actions we strongly condemn. Okay, put your name behind it. Okay?
Right.
And we are removing the content while our internal investigation continues and have since ended the partnership. Signed, spokesperson for the Arena Group. All right, well, that clears it up.
Good to know.
Spokesperson, you mean the AI wrote that and then they just said spokesperson?
They used an anti-AI content creative technology to make sure that that particular post was not AI.
And I can appreciate that. You know, someone writing a review and being like, listen, I love this Coleman cooler, but I don't want anyone fucking knowing that it's me saying that. So I need a pseudonym. I can't have people knowing that I gave this Coleman cooler 5 stars. That cannot happen.
Who's some kid that you hated in high school? Drew. Drew what?
Drew Ortiz.
Drew,
Sack of shit.
Let's put him in there.
Make him a ginger.
This is awesome. I have no idea what's happening. To be completely candid, the reason why I enjoyed it so much is just because this raises a real thought that this is what the future could look like.
Oh, yeah.
Where a company, and we're not saying this happened, but for the sake of it, this is how we took the news that we learned yesterday. Let's say that a company like Sports Illustrated was like, we have no money to start up a content creation website. Boom. We just need to get fake people do this. Like, I think that is what was so awesome yesterday in my mind, was like they had a potential problem. Now they're saying it's not real. I'm just saying the thing that was presented to us. They had a potential problem where the easy answer was fake human, fucking all of them. Yeah. Give us the fake humans. Yeah. Give us this, boom, boom, boom. It's like, that's going to be the future. Editing, it's going to happen. They're talking content creation. Yep. I mean, it is fucking insane to think that that's going to be the possibility of what the future looks like. And we said it yesterday, but we need to enjoy these times, boys, because these things are taking our jobs.
They are taking our jobs.
And they're going to be so much better than us.
They are.
Much better.
So much better.
Never sleeping either.
I was thinking about the articles that they were writing. I'm like, these motherfuckers probably coming from the perfect angle.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Every
what I mean?
time.
Perfect angle. They know exactly what people are searching for. So if you're searching for what do they want to hear about, boom, how do they feel, bang. If you think they could really do a good job probably.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can do a bad job too.
Really craft a narrative.
Yeah, if they know what you're looking for, they can send you something that might be full of shit, but they'll read it as gospel.
Yeah, well, there's already that happening where people see an article and then you click a button. It's like, well, here's the condensed version of it. Well, who's picking that?
Yeah.
Who's picking the condensed version of what the article is? Because I see some condensed articles on Twitter or X, and they're taking some quotes that I don't think are necessarily as accurate as the article that I'm reading. So who's summarizing it? Who's doing that? AI?
Sounds like it.
I hope not.
Well, it's already happening.
These robots.
Yeah, just letting you know what's important to hear.
I enjoy it, man. Like AJ says, these are the good old days.
Send the robots to communist China.
There, you got them.
I assume they're there, pal.
Good. Yeah. Send them in as rogue bots then.
Oh, like started with a horse like Trojan War.
Yahtzee. Have them hit the Great Wall first.
Jeez.
I don't know if our robots are ready for that.
You better get them.
The future's
That
scary.
statement said nothing, by the way.
It said a lot. What are you talking about? So many
do you
things.
mean?
Third party.
Yeah.
They said it was okay.
Yeah,
Who's the arena team? Who's the arena team?
They probably bought Sports
The
Illustrated.
Arena Group, it was very carefully worded that the Arena Group is the publisher of Sports Illustrated, but I don't know if they are the actual owner of SI or if they are just a distribution arm.
Are you wearing gloves?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they're back.
Oh, no. Is that Big J. Okerson?
For speed?
All right. It was hard.
What's he wearing fingerless gloves for? Marv
I think
for
you're-
wet bandits?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sticky finger bandits. I think.
I just said that to him.
It's multi-purpose. These are the copper
Is he
fits.
serious?
I have poor circulation, so it
Hope
does
you're happy.
increase the blood flow to my hands to keep it warm because it's quite chilly back here. And number two, a couple slip-ups yesterday. I want to be on my game. I want to be nice and tight, running a tight ship back here today.
And Nick Handles.
Okay.
Nick Handles.
Appreciate it.
You should see what's on his plate right now. It has become a hilarious assortment of things. He's got the ticker, the graphics that pop up, the graphics that are up, and then also all the audio for everybody's microphone inputs and outputs, same time happening live during the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually 14 people's jobs.
Yeah, you don't do that for
At
4
least.
days. You just kind of get a little relaxed there during Thanksgiving, have a good time. Oh, fuck, I forgot that this is 6 people's jobs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, thanks back there with those gloves.
Don't need a thank you. Just want to be sharp.
That's right. Hey, thank you for serving your
right.
country.
AI can't do that.
You're right. Well,
Unfortunately.
It might be able to
Unfortunately.
handle it.
I think you can, but it ain't gonna wear those gloves.
No.
Boom.
AI ain't ever gonna wear those gloves.
Don't need them.
I hope you're happy too. It's poor circulation. You're over what? You just think everything's fun and games.
Laughing.
I think I have poor circulation, too. I'll probably go to Walgreens and buy a set.
What if we all just walked around with fucking copper figures?
That'd be pretty sweet,
sick.
actually.
Cut
It
off.
feels so good.
So cool, dude. All right, I'm gonna start on Friday down there in Atlanta. I'm gonna be sitting there. I think we're getting some live guests.
Ooh.
Nice.
They're gonna walk up. I'm gonna have a tank top on and this copper.
Put them here.
Come on in. Come on in. Good to see you down here in the South.
We should all wear
Never
those for the
mention
Super
them.
Bowl.
Never mention them, though.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hey, you're talking about Radio Row.
Super Bowl, we should all have those.
I think we're back in there. I think. I'm not 100% sure. I do not know if it's been confirmed. We're starting to plan Super Bowl week. And for
Vegas,
those,
right?
Oh, what's that, pal?
Vegas.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Super Bowl, pretty big week for the old program.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big week. Because basically everybody we talk to throughout the entire year is all out there.
Yep.
And I really love it. I really have enjoyed it. It's good for, we all get to kind of get out of the office and live. We live.
Yeah.
Last year, played pickleball.
So fun.
A lot of pickleball.
Whole time.
That's where it started.
6-7 hours a night of pickleball.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would we have done without that court in the backyard?
I do not know. I do not. I haven't thought about it much because every time I think about it, I go, whoa, that would have been terrible if we didn't. We don't go to events. So here's the thing. So like most people go to like Super Bowl events, that's the big deal. Like, hey,
Parties every night.
Every night, come see it. We don't do any of that.
Nope.
We literally have never really.
It's awesome. Honestly, I love it. It's a great
It's the complete opposite of everybody. And then whenever we go into like Radio Row or we go do any media thing, they were like, were you at Maximum last night? Or like, pickleball. Yeah.
No, we played pickleball for 8 hours.
Can't wait to get back and keep playing.
Yeah, that's right. We got to do 3 hours here. And then we get a chance to get right back on that pickleball court. So we're starting to plan it now. Vegas is interesting, because where everything's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of, I'm not 100% sure how dialed in and focused everything is, but I can't wait to get out there.
F1 ruined the whole place, didn't they? Didn't they tear the whole place up to do the F1 track?
Well, you tell us, Darius, because who won this last weekend in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
Hold on. Should you guess first?
Yeah, I got it. Vanderstappen. That's who it was. Maximum Vanderstappen.
That it?
Who wins every week.
Yep.
Okay.
Put a cap on the most dominant Formula One season ever. So not great for new fans, but I don't know. I for one appreciate dominance.
At what point are you going to tell the truth?
Come on.
That's the truth.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
You like the reality show.
And that's fine.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like Squid Games. I'm watching Squid Games right now.
Yeah. Oh, is that good still?
I like, what's that?
Is that still good?
Yeah, the real one.
Yeah, with the real people.
There's a lot of
That's still
lawsuits
good?
coming from that.
Well, it's,
You know what you signed up
I'll
for.
tell you what, when you're watching it, you think to yourself, I would never sign up for this.
Oh.
And then there's actually numerous conversations you have where you're like, what all did they tell them before they signed up for this? So I could see how the lawsuits could potentially come, which has probably only driven more
viewership
for it all. But like watching it, I'm enjoying watching this thing.
Okay.
I'm enjoying watching this. A couple characters in there.
Okay.
Don't want to be friends with anybody on that show.
Fair.
But watching it, you certainly develop. So you like the reality. We all
That's
do.
cool.
We like stories.
Yeah.
We like learning about the people. We love everything. We like humans. We like good. That was the drive to survive.
Yes.
I actually stopped watching the reality show once I started watching the real shit. Real shit's way better.
D-Butt.
Is it a one lane track, D-Butt?
No. You can go 3-4 wide. But you got a lot of passes. Look, the only motherfucker that wasn't getting passes this year was Max Verstappen. We were talking about G's. Somebody mentioned G's.
So his car's just too fast?
Super G.
Charles Leclerc pulled 7 G's going into a turn.
He didn't.
7.
Yeah, see, that's just not
in a
true.
car?
Yeah. Look it up.
I'm gonna ask
7 G's.
Still lost.
I'm gonna ask the Blue Angels what they're pulling. Okay, and then we'll see.
Right. Obviously, come on now.
What I believe.
Heard of that.
Well, I think that is.
I mean, these guys, shit is close.
I respect the racing is happening. I'm sorry.
Drive
I respect
It's
that
racing.
a lot of fast cars are happening.
It's racing.
And
It's racing. Pinnacle.
They're not racing.
I can't do it.
The Pinnacle.
I try. Maybe I haven't watched the right race.
Yeah, you watched the Super Bowl of F1. That's not the one to
Monaco,
watch.
yeah.
Not
Don't
the one to
watch
watch.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah, makes sense.
This is the worst one, they said. Because the streets are too small and the cars are too big.
Boom.
So they can't make any maneuvering. So it's just time trials. So when you do Cruising to USA, whenever you have that, and it says, do you want to do time trial or do you want to actually race with people? I've never actually done the time trial.
Why would
I've
you?
always done the race.
Right.
F1 is like, give me the time trial as fast as possible. Couldn't wait, I think. Right? Is that what
It's a
F1
part
is?
of it. It's Saturday. Qualifying.
Idiots.
Qualies. We love qualies.
Quali is it's entertaining.
So you're still all in on this?
All in.
All right, well, I'm proud.
I mean, it wasn't competitive this year, and obviously that sucks in any sport. But you got next year. You know, you got and this thing about Red Bull, you got a great fucking driver. You obviously got the fastest car, but the fucking strategy every week, the pit stops, the this, the that, it's always on point.
Lewis Hamilton came in 9th down there. What's he doing? He's messing around. He's
the
not
last race, yeah. Mercedes, they can't wait to get rid of this car, move on. Next year.
Oh, Mercedes had a bad car.
Oh yeah, terrible car this year.
Who makes Red Bull's car?
Red Bull. They got a Honda motor.
It's a Honda.
How the fuck are these people letting Red Bull win? I mean, we got Mercedes, McLaren, and you're going to let a fucking energy drink come in and be the most dominant
Aston
thing?
Martin?
That's an issue.
It's the engineer. Their engineer is...
Who is it?
Adrian Newey.
Who the fuck is that?
He's
And
the
they
guy.
have Hannah, the young lady Hannah is the head of their strategy. She's a dog. They brought on Oracle, this past few years, and Oracle allows them to run like 25% more simulations. There's a lot that goes into it.
Wow.
When are they going to
they
put
get
the
in wrecks?
guns on the cars?
No, let's not turn it into
Death race.
No, let's not do that. Because
Did they ever crash, D-Butt?
Oh, yeah.
Into each other or into wall?
Both. And the crashes obviously are scary. The sport has got much, much safer. But years ago, like, drivers used to die every year.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Why
But
don't you want death race?
It's got much.
What, with guns?
Yeah.
Because did you hear what Vanderstappen's going through here in the back? Oracle's doing 25 more simulations.
So he's not going through anything, is what it sounds like.
You're shooting guns?
Yeah.
What's your problem?
I mean, you can throw on bulletproof glass and everything.
Oh, carbon fiber.
Yeah, let's just make this a little entertaining.
I will get into it next year.
Throw a bunch of banana peels on the track.
Yes.
Boom.
Red shells.
Exactly.
Let's get into every car gets 2 red shells.
Right.
Heat seeking. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe have something that you click a button and oil goes out the back, like
Oil
in James
flicks.
Bond, and then they slip
More
all over.
Italians racing.
Mario Luigi he's talking about. Who's the Mario Luigi that we need to pick? And can we put that standing
Don't
back?
say Verstappen.
Who's somebody that, like, not Lewis Hamilton, because we know Louis, and not Vanderstappen?
Who's Tsunoda?
So is this the position they all started in and finished?
No. Absolutely not.
Serious.
Hulkenberg? Who's Hulkenberg?
We're scrolling way
We
too
got
far
one
down.
American.
Sargent? We got a guy?
Yeah, Logan Sargent.
Got an
the one American we got on the grid. Yep.
Oh,
Florida
yeah.
guy.
I'm sorry. Let's find the American. Let's go back down to the bottom.
Go to the
Jeez.
ninth page.
He's
Jeez.
He's just a young boy.
Yeah.
What's his name? Let's go. Let's go.
Logan Sargent.
Louis.
Oh, look how cool he looks.
Yeah.
So his car's just slower.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Yeah.
He weighs more.
Car's slower.
Let's read about him. One of 3 rookies who made their Formula One debut in 2023, Logan Sargent lined up with the Williams Racing Team, the latest in an acclaimed lineage of drivers to have earned an F1 race seat with the storied British team.
Ew.
Its driver Sargent replaced Nicholas Latifi, and was paired with Alex Albon and Williams revised lineup.
They got rid of Latifi?
They did.
He was the fastest Paisan on 4 wheels.
Absolutely stumped.
Well,
What's the minor leagues, D-Butt? Is there a minor league circuit?
Formula 2. F2.
I bet that must be
so
bad.
miserable.
Oh, shit. Are you
then,
kidding me?
Same cars?
In the Indy car, it's probably the other Farmers League.
Whoa.
You son of a bitch.
I think the cars are. I think F2 cars are a little smaller. But Oscar Piastri was another rookie this year with McLaren.
Pistorius, his brother.
He's out.
He got out.
He's out.
He's out of prison?
Yeah.
What?
Get out of South
I think
America.
December something. 27th, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Self-defense.
I think he put his ankle monitor on.
Good question.
They shoot it into his
I
nub.
think it's a wrist.
They should attach just 2 F1 wheels to his legs and let him race in the next year.
Could you imagine?
He's down there in South Florida too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Jesus.
He'd be moving.
So what is next for old Tink? What do you think? What do you think happens here? You know what I mean? What do we think goes on? Is he going to go on a speaking tour, you think? Like, don't be like me.
Everybody wants to come back.
Who's the lady Tony loves that killed her kid?
Casey Anthony?
Yeah, he should partner up with Casey Anthony, do a podcast.
Don't love her.
I don't know. That was a long time ago we were talking about that. Tony's not married with a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still views
It's come up a couple times.
What will Oscar Pistorius be doing 1 year from now? Hopefully nothing near me.
Probably working with Billy McFarland from the Firefest.
Something's going on there. I've seen him working in angles.
Yeah, they're doing another Firefest.
He's hustling.
They're doing a Firefest?
I'm pretty sure.
Mitt tried to get tickets up.
Yeah, Mitt was trying to get tickets. Actually,
Dead serious.
Yeah.
DM Billy McFarland. He's like, I fucking need in right now. Tell me what I got to do. And I don't know if Billy McFarland ever got back.
Send in your deposit, Mitt.
That actually happened. Mitt, send in that screenshot. Yeah.
Oh, please.
Fire Festival 2 tickets are on sale now if you're interested in lighting money on fires.
Oh, come on.
Whoa. Whoa, John.
Sign me up.
What is this? What company wrote that? Just so we know who. That's Rolling Stone.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
credible.
Okay.
Credible source.
Just so we know who's killing old Billy. I followed him immediately upon him getting out of jail because he was telling companies that he could give them $50 million worth of exposure
Right away.
in 24 hours.
That's right.
Who wouldn't want that? Look what I did with Firefest. Good. Put that back up there. Fire Festival 2 tickets are on sale now. Okay. Can we go?
You see where it started, though?
What's that?
it starts with, this all started during a 7-day stint.
7-month stint.
Excuse me, in solitary confinement.
Everyone's favorite grilled cheese salesman. Oh, boy. That was a bad meal.
Yeah.
That he gave those people.
Oh, yeah.
That was a cool thing to learn about for a while. You know what? This next one, though, Mitt, it's going to be good.
Yep.
Get him, Mitt.
It's going to be good, Mitt. After that, the prices will steadily rise. Here's Mitt to Billy McFarland. Billy, let's go, dude. I need to get in the fire. Let's fucking go, says Billy. First batch of GA start $1,000 and go up as we sell. Live with us. Live is what? Live with us is by request.
What?
Live with us.
Stay with Billy.
I'm all about it, brother. How many general admission? Uno.
Boom.
Roger, what's your number, team? We'll call for next steps. All right, Billy McFarland selling one ticket at a time.
Well, wait, what's below? Because there's an arrow in the
Yeah,
bottom
we
right
need the
corner.
end of this
How did it
conversation,
end? That
man.
continues, that conversation.
Mitt, I'm okay with you not telling me how this ends.
Pay for the VIP section, Mitt. Come on.
No, Mick gave him his banking information. I'm sure.
And his social security number.
Social security, yeah, everything.
Live with us? Is that what it said?
That's what it's pay extra. Yeah, you pay extra. You probably get a bunk with him.
Mitt.
It's probably a bunch of celebs. Him, OBJ. I'm sure Ja Rule is probably going to be there too.
Biebs was part of that whole thing.
He'd probably perform.
It's an odd mix of celebs.
Hey, there was well, that's what Firefest was. Do you not remember what it was?
Yeah.
Did you almost go to Firefest?
Absolutely not. I didn't watch it though. I remember the guy talking about how you had to get that water.
Yep.
Who was it? Green Day?
Boy.
That was
Whoa, boy.
at all
dude.
costs.
That guy's a soldier for the cause.
He'll be there too.
Billy McFarland better try to find him stat anytime he's trying to do anything. Good luck with Firefest too, Bill.
Can't wait to hear about it. Go get him, Mitt.
How about Ja Rule? What a quote. It's not fraud. It's not fraud.
Oh.
It's false advertising.
Yeah, he's right.
Different.
And the way they edited that
Yeah.
to like echo through the room.
Yep.
Just fantastic. Ja Rule was there every step of the way.
He was.
He got conned too, I think is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Big time.
You know how much fun I was looking to have? And you see what I'm eating fucking cheese sandwich. Ja Rule wasn't happy either. You could tell by his reaction to that, AJ.
I mean, I watched both the documentaries. He went and hung out with Bill down in the Bahamas a few times before. I think just from watching the little clips that they have of them together, you can notice something might be up with this guy. This might not be completely legit.
Who are you talking about, Billy McFarland?
Yeah, I'm just saying, once you get there and you're like, okay, this sounds awesome. And he has nothing set up and nothing planned. And this guy just wants to smoke cigars and get boozed up down here when we're a month away from putting on a 5,000 person festival.
Yeah, but you're talking too reasonable.
Come on, Hawk.
We're smoking cigars. We're having a good
He's
time.
trying to pay everybody back. I heard him talk on a podcast somewhere. He's trying to pay everybody back down in the Bahamas and all this stuff, the people that he screwed out of money.
Yeah, it's just $1,000.
He got 1,000 from Mitt.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah.
He got 1,000 from Mitt at least. I don't know what to live with us is. They said $7,999. Is that what I saw on that thing?
I believe so.
That's for the
Mitt,
premiere.
you don't need the $8,000 ticket.
Yeah, come on,
But
man.
maybe you do.
You gonna go
Mitt
all
needs
in?
to replace
I mean, if
his
Mitt
bumper.
goes, I might pay for it. If Mitt will actually commit to going to this, I might pay for it.
Boots
You'll
to the
give
ground.
him the $8,000 one?
Yeah, if it happens and there's a
Wow.
Firefest too, and Mitt documents it, yes, I'll pay for his ticket.
Well, I don't know if he's just going to be able to make content. Well, who knows? He's paying $8,000.
Well, I mean, just a little bit, just selfie vid every once in a while with he and Billy.
Mitt.
But we need him to have the best accommodations, though.
Definitely. Like,
He needs to be living with us, whatever that means.
yeah, he needs to be a part of the crew.
You guys big festival guys? Ever been to a music festival?
Nope.
No.
Not one.
People that I know have gone and had good times. I went to there's like a hippie festival in West Virginia. I went one time. Hippie festival in West Virginia where people were sleeping at. I think it's called the All Good Festival or something. I forget what it was. Didn't make it through the night. I was, I'm out of here. I'm going home.
Yeah.
People were tripping balls though. They're having a good time. I guess there's festivals people really get after.
People
Oh, yeah.
South by Southwest.
Yep.
It's a big one. What's the one in
Bonnaroo.
Bonnaroo, one in Cali. What's the one in Cali? The big
Burning Man. Coachella.
one. Coachella. Yeah.
Stagecoach.
Stagecoach.
Yep.
Yeah. I've been there.
I'd like to go to one of the EDM situations, one of like Tomorrowland or those things.
Oh.
Look like it'd be cool for a night.
Tomorrowland looks nuts.
Yeah, it
The
does feel
DJs.
like you actually go to a different world in those
Yeah.
things.
I watch them on YouTube and I feel like I'm in a different world. Yeah.
Yeah. Those, I appreciate how much just carefree it appears.
Yeah.
As if there's zero worries.
No, none.
We ain't got shit to worry about out here. And they just live out there.
Yep.
So one day we hope to experience that. I hope to experience
Yeah,
that.
Tomorrowland's in like a small town in Belgium. and they like live for it the entire time, or at least word on the street.
You know what? I want to stop by Oktoberfest over there in Germany one time.
That'd be very.
I've heard that is wild.
Mm-hmm.
I heard they put a lot of fake stuff out there.
Yep.
So it's impossible to find the real stuff.
Correct.
Yeah, but no matter what, they're doing it off dongs. They don't give a fuck what it is.
We're talking about cocaine because that's what we've seen videos from the internet.
Yeah.
Over there. At,
They putting fake coke out there?
yeah.
Yeah, so that they
That
can.
the cops have no, but it's not like setting people up with fake coke.
No, it's like, hey, do that so that we can rip a rail off this guy's erect penis, and no one's gonna know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like a fake. You know how Inside Man, the bank robbing movie with Denzel?
Yeah.
You know how they all come out dressed the same?
Correct.
Okay, and it's impossible to figure out which one's the real one.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do with the cocaine and the Oktoberfest. Everybody's wearing the same hoodie. Everybody's coming out the same. All the powder looks the same. And then everybody knows who the real one is except for the cops, so nobody gets busted.
That part was fake, though, right?
No. There are videos out there of that happening.
You're talking about storing cocaine off of dongs?
Yeah, that's Ty said. Let's not talk about that.
Weren't you born over there, Bots?
Yeah, aren't you from Germany?
I
You know all about
Is that
this.
D-Butts?
You never heard of Oktoberfest?
That's how you get the nickname D-Butts.
His name's Darius Butler.
That's the other reason. More than one reason.
I thought Oktoberfest was beer, not snorting coke off of dongs.
I guess it's pretty wild over there.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is just one video we've seen. There's people in Germany right now who are probably like, that is not what Oktoberfest is.
More than one video.
I'm just telling you what the videos that we have seen from Oktoberfest, what is
What
happening.
would you do if you walked in the bathroom and you saw that happen? Would you go take a leak?
Well, I definitely have. Oktoberfest with beer? Yeah, I'm going to piss my pants.
Line starts behind me.
I'm going to have to.
There's a price to pay to get in.
That's crazy what you guys are doing in here, but
Work that thing up, pal. Then we'll let you go to the bathroom.
You didn't have to go to the bathroom either. People were doing it in broad daylight by picnic benches. So
yeah, right in the middle of the whole
What's
thing.
happening?
Yep.
That's the video we saw.
And and the fake coke throws them off, so we can still do lines off of dongs because it might be fake coke. So the cops aren't gonna
Yeah,
stop.
I believe is how they. Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I get it. Yeah. Jeez.
What, you're a German? Hawk,
You
last
get it.
name?
You're right.
You understand?
Correct. I'm
This
gonna
show's so
talk to some of my cousins.
Your first name's Arian.
We should go out there, by the way. We should go. That is not his first name.
Oh.
Just so everybody knows, his name is Aaron. Aaron is
AARON.
Yeah.
With a
double
Y.
A, triple A. Got a reference today. That was awesome. All right, as we wrap this thing up on this glorious Tuesday, I would like to get to Oktoberfest, even though you guys all try to ruin it.
Oh, I'd love
I
to.
still want to go. Big time.
I'll go.
I go tomorrow if you said let's go.
All right, I think we should do it. I think
I'm
it'd be
in.
a good time, especially with the NFL over there. They should schedule one in
the middle of it.
In the middle during October.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Munich would really be appreciative of having to host Oktoberfest and the NFL.
Yeah, a bunch of asswipe Americans coming over and ruining their.
Yeah, that'd be very good. Hey, let us ruin your entire thing you got going over there. Beautiful place.
Oh, yeah.
Germany's very nice. The people were incredibly kind to me. Very nice of them.
Well, they have to be.
Well, it did feel like that's how they felt.
Yep.
Which
Still
we've
nice.
talked about before, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It was too nice almost. I'm like, well, everybody's so incredibly kind to me. Thank you. Ireland, boy, they hated me.
Yeah.
I've never seen a group of people hate somebody more than they hated me over there.
Were they calling you Kafi? No?
No, they were calling me just
Pat?
Just yank. Dumb yank.
Oh, okay.
A lot of dumb yank.
Okay.
Kafi is what Swagoo calls me.
Correct.
Love that one.
That's the first time I've heard that too.
First?
My whole life, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right.
No.
Yeah, you've never said it. Did you ever say it?
Maybe. Check the tapes.
You never said it.
I mean, I know
Never
a couple
said that.
MCs, and we just call them the C after. McAfee.
I like it.
Yeah.
Swaggy swore yesterday too on our show.
He did.
That was
He
awesome.
said, fuck.
He did.
He went there. How about him just demolishing that barbecue, though, right in the middle of the show? I love that.
That was awesome.
No idea, too. Like, that was sweet.
Yeah, he's just having a good time. Can't hear nothing. In those stadiums, too, sometimes the tech doesn't work necessarily. It's great.
They kinda
KC
set
barbecue.
Legit.
Legit.
They're the real deal.
It was always the after game meal out. The Gates, I think Gates barbecue was the one.
I think they were the most consistent. I think Kansas City's barbecue was always the most consistent.
Yeah.
Eat the most places. You know, the South got a lot of places that have barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
This college game day shit, we're getting meat from every town we go to. It's very delightful. Ann Arbor turkey was cooked,
Not great.
No, just when they cooked it, because they bring it in freezing cold out onto a set.
Right.
It's 10:30, so when do they finish, because you say it's supposed to be done at a certain time. I don't think the turkey got its proper representation on the table up there at Ann Arbor because it was cooked perfectly, but it was certainly good chill because it had been
okay.
outside for so long.
Right.
So it was more like a deli meat turkey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Boar's head.
It was good. It was very good. It was very, and in some of those places, it's like they got the timing of it perfect. They got it hot for us, and it's like we're eating these wings or these steaks or chops from like immediately as it would be at the restaurant. And in some places, like they finished 30, 40 minutes ago, been outside for a little bit, sitting there. All the food's great. But I think Kansas City's barbecue throughout my life has been the most consistent every time I go out there.
A1.
They're very good. Why is it?
Oh, yeah.
Why do some places do the barbecue and known for it and some places just aren't?
I don't know.
Is it
Good
just
question.
slaughtered a table quicker because it's in Kansas City?
I don't know. AJ, you know any of that?
Doesn't each place have their own style, like their rub or their sauce? Like some have like wet ribs, some have dry ribs. Everyone has their own style.
What's Pittsburgh then? Sandwiches? We're just a sandwich place?
You've heard of Pittsburgh, your steak? Chopper, my father-in-law, tells him that Pittsburgh is steak, which wants a crispy, burnt outside, but not burnt inside.
Yeah, I love that. We just want to see on the outside good, and on the inside give us the real stuff. You know what I mean? But I think sandwiches, we're known for sandwiches. Is that
Yeah,
right?
sandwiches, pierogies.
Pierogies, yeah.
There it is.
Pierogies are delightful. Those are so good.
They're good in Georgia, too.
Yeah, they were. Kirk Herbstreit had pierogies for the first time. What is going on in Centerville? You guys don't have any pierogies in Ohio?
I never heard of them until I played in the Big 33 game. First time I was made aware.
So good. They're delightful. You guys have them in Iowa?
No, not really. Not a lot of Polish people in Iowa.
Probably why you guys are going to lose to Michigan this weekend.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
What do you think final score is? As we sit right here on Tuesday, just 4 days away from Iowa's potential last Big Ten championship appearance for some time. It's going to take a while to catch up to the boys in Ohio State and Michigan, let alone this.
I don't know.
Okay. No, what do you predict the score to be?
Realistically?
Yeah, let's go. Let's give it a Tuesday. So we got a lot of time to change our mind. You got a lot of time to change your mind.
14-10 Iowa.
Let's go.
Boom.
Let's go. Hawkeyes are Big Ten champs. Hawkeyes are
But for real though, Ty, is Iowa's defense good enough to limit what Michigan does offensively?
I think so, but their offense, can any defense be okay with being on the field for fucking 50 minutes and continually do it over and over and over and over and over again? They're going to have to score at least one or two defensive / special teams touchdowns to really be in it.
Sharon Moore, though, is going to, or I guess Harbaugh's back.
Harbaugh's back.
They're going to hand that ball off potentially.
Yeah, which is...
Because if you don't turn the ball over,
right,
you shouldn't.
They can run the hell out of it.
Yeah,
they can.
And they're very good at running a rock.
They can. But Iowa's run defense is good. They're stout.
All right. 14-10.
I'm interested to watch.
Well, as we sit right now, Iowa 14-10, baby.
Let's go, Hawkeyes! And let's go to everything DB with our man, Darius J. Butler.
Let's get to it. First play. We've seen it now. We saw the overhead view. The Falcons put out another dope shot. Jesse Bates, one of the best free agent signings this past offseason. 3rd and 3. How's this mic? Mic good?
Yeah.
Yep.
3rd and 3. You see Rashid in motion. Now, if you run it back to the beginning, 3rd and 3, Dan Orlovsky, he was on here talking about the Philly Chiefs game. One of the plays he mentioned as the play of the game with the crosser with the I call it the Zampezi route, follow route right behind it. We talk about it all the time. Red area free safeties kind of become that bonus player, not worried about the deep ball. He is keyed in on this route the whole time. He sees the crosser. He knows the follow route is coming behind.
Wow.
And I mean, unbelievable play. Derek Carr obviously should have saw him. 3rd and 3, you're playing the sticks. Once again, not worried about anybody running by you. Jesse Bates not only picks it off, but takes it back to the crib for a 92-yard pick six. But he was all over it from the jump.
Hell yeah.
Had a beat from it. You'll see even better from the back copy.
Derek Carr didn't even know they threw an interception. It takes him like 2 seconds before.
Crosser goes. Once again, this is a route, just like you see the crosser post route all the time. This is another one of those routes where you're going to see every week pretty much. So obviously Jesse Bates been around. And this is what he does week in, week out. He had a forced fumble in this game as well. Big game for the Falcons to take the lead of the NFC South.
Hey, that was a 3-0 game right there.
Yeah.
Okay, 3-0. They were driving down, about to score again. Imagine they score a touchdown there. 10-0. They're a little different vibes. Instead, Jesse Bates picked six the complete opposite direction. Now all of a sudden the Falcons are in the lead.
Yeah.
A much different team whenever they play in the lead than whenever they're behind.
Yep.
Good for them. Good for Jesse Bates making a big-time play for them.
Great for them. Great signing, too. Money well spent on Jesse Bates. Ronnie Harrison, guy who's been on the practice squad for a few weeks now. Obviously, moving on from Shaq Leonard, who was in the building. Heard he got a good ovation. But Ronnie Harrison getting thrown in the lineup against Tampa. Great job. Play action, not biting on the play action. you'll see the offensive lineman, one of the keys on when you're a defensive back or a linebacker is reading these offensive linemen. If you run it back, we used to call it elephants on parade. And if they're going, you don't see them climbing, nobody's climbing to the second level. Good key, especially on 1st and 10, which is a rundown, run formation, under center. Good key for the linebacker, good eyes, gets his depth, kind of peeks back over his shoulder, sees that route coming, gets in the window. Mike Evans, once again, just like the Derek Carr throw, don't know what Baker's looking at here because it wasn't even an accurate throw to Mike Evans. But great job by Ronnie Harrison taking advantage of his opportunity, getting on the field for the Colts in a big-time play in this game.
I believe he said, "I'm him" to the camera.
Yeah.
And whenever we were there, it was sweet.
Yeah.
He a lot of moxie.
Hey,
anytime you hear "I'm him,"
got to get out. Got to get out of this 4-8.
Yeah.
I don't know if it means something special to him or not, but just got up from the practice squad. I'm sure he'll hopefully get up out of that number. But great play.
Baker.
I mean, great play getting him. Yeah, Bake, once again, it wasn't even a good ball to Mike Evans if he was trying to throw it in there. But great job, been aware of the situation, been aware of the route concepts coming behind you. And then once again, finishing the play, getting your hands on the ball.
Huge win for the Colts after letting Darius Shaquille Leonard go. Too.
Yeah.
You come out, your defense lays an egg, gives up 39 or 40 or something. You can't find a place on the field for Darius Leonard, and you have to cut him. It's interesting what's going on with the Colts in the playoffs right now.
Yep.
In the playoffs right now. Speaking of in the playoffs, here's another team that's at the top of it.
Here's another one. It's a big moment in the game. We have down the distance here. So 2nd and 8, fourth quarter. Obviously, the Bills are pretty much in control of this game. You see Steph Diggs on the motion. You see Bradbury up there communicating to a safety, hey, this is what we're playing. We're playing this here. I don't know what their signal is, but it's pretty much a trap coverage. You see, got a little zoom on there too. Yep, boom. Talking to him. A lot of communication going on here. I always talk about verbal and nonverbal communication. Opens up and immediately sees, anticipates what's coming. Once again, as a quarterback, you got to see that corner, especially when you have a split safety look as a quarterback. That lets you know, hey, these corners on the outside, they're kind of unpredictable. When you have that single high safety, on the outside, they got to be deep. They got to take the guys deep because the single high safety tells you that story beforehand. Once you have a split safety look, now the corners have more freedom. James Bradbury obviously took full advantage of that, knew what route concepts was coming. He even checked to something as well. So Bradbury gave his safety something, opened up. He's looking at Diggs the whole time. Bradbury's big time interception too, fourth quarter of a game, 12 minutes, pretty much the beginning of the fourth quarter. And then look where you put your offense. Yep, you put him right in the red area. An offense that was struggling, ugly weather game. It's a big play that kind of led to their comeback victory down there in Philly.
Is that just like the Cincy interception, except instead of the corner going down the sideline with Gabe Davis, he did the opposite?
Exactly. It's the same. And a lot of these picks that we've shown with Josh Allen, it's flat, it's outbreakers, it's flat routes, it's deep seven, where he's off targets or something. That's something that's got to be talked about, from his coordinator, from his quarterback coach, and then obviously with him, And people, you're gonna know. You put Steph Diggs in motion, like the DB is going to be keyed on 14. Everybody, there's a lot of talk.
You got Cook down here. You're wasting. Buffalo's getting what they want. They got the running back down here at 1. You waste Slay, your great corner, on him. He's not the primary.
Yep.
And you get Diggs on your linebacker, but then bam, your corners have great eyes on the quarterback. Man, this is.
And when you're communicating to that safety, you're letting that safety know, Blankenship, hey, you get over the top. You got my back. If he tries to throw this whole shot to Gabe Davis. But you just absolutely can't throw that ball to Josh Allen. On the flip side of that, great heads-up play from James Bradbury.
Yeah, he's garbage, trash. What'd he say? What Debo say?
He said, he's trash.
Trash.
He's trash.
I don't regret nothing.
Stand by it.
Could you imagine being Debo? That'd be so cool.
Be fun.
Just be Debo Samuel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Run the ball.
I don't regret nothing. What are we even asking about?
He's trash.
I'm excited for this matchup.
I know, it's going to be awesome.
I wish they saved the Kelly Greens for this upcoming week.
Yeah, it would have been sweet. Yeah. Maybe they'll bring him to wear it again?
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
Philly got to be kind of pissed off.
I like the animosity. I like the animosity we have brewing. It's like a rivalry, old school situation where people hate each other. It gets us all.
Yes.
Need more of this.
No more jersey swapping.
Yeah, enough with the hugging afterward.
Yeah, you can't have friends.
And don't laugh during the game either.
Nope.
Especially if you're losing.
Serious business.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Probably why they. Oh, never mind.
What?
We're gonna stay positive.
Yes,
Jalen
we are. Yes,
Jalen
we
Johnson down here, one of the bright spots in Chicago. Wanted his money. They should give him his money sooner or later. Dropped the pick 6, dropped one last week as well, but did not drop this one. Cover 2. Plays a short one first. So right now he jumps that lets the pastor not know, hey, China 7, under 7. Throw that 7 route. We
What
got
7?
the flat defender jumping the under route, the Indy route, the China route. A lot of names for this low route right here, but boom, sinks back, sets him up, and makes a great play on the ball. Former Utah Ute making plays.
Hell yeah, go Utes.
Yeah, one of my favorite corners when he was coming out.
Wrong guy. Wrong guy. That's
big time play,
I
Jalen.
pressed the wrong button. Jalen, I apologize.
Nah, big time play.
Is Dobbs dead? Is it?
Yeah, do people just have a book on him now? It's like, oh, this guy stinks. That's why he played for 9 teams.
Yeah.
Whoa, geez.
I'm just curious.
That's what people are saying.
Yeah.
People are also calling him the fat astronaut, like fat ass.
Yeah, but he can run. He's not, though. He's jacked.
Oh,
He is kind of jacked.
I'm just telling you, that's what they were saying.
I don't see that. I mean, it's tough. He has bounced around from the team, and then when you get out there, you're just playing off instincts. You don't really know what's coming. He's maybe making 1 or 2 reads and then taking off. Now he feels more comfortable with the playbook, putting the ball, in harm's way a little more. Maybe it's just a rough game, though. Maybe
a bad game.
We'll see.
People have bad games.
Okay. People have bad games.
And if that's the thing, too, he would be the greatest one-game quarterback in the history. Like, he could go into every single team and win a game with them.
That'd be sweet. Cut every week.
He's the only quarterback that could probably do that.
Yeah. The astronaut.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Didn't end up great, though.
Ron Bland, he's been on here a bunch. Here he is again. Everybody's seen him play by now on Thanksgiving. Made NFL history with his 5th pick 6. And what he's doing, if you pause and run it back real quick, I talked about it earlier, single high. So when you're in single high coverage, you have this middle of the field safety. That lets the quarterback know. You hear Romo talk about it all the time. You're going to have one-on-ones out here. It doesn't matter what coverage you're running. It could be cover 3 like this is. It could be a fire zone. It could be man. But you pretty much got one-on-ones. And him as the off corner anticipated this outbreaking route. Cowboys lead the league actually in man coverage, even though this is cover 3 here. Lead the league in man coverage, and he's still making all these plays on the balls because he has a great understanding of the pass game, the pass concepts, where they're trying to attack him, where they're trying to throw the ball. And not only does he get his hand on the ball, but, be an athlete. When he be an athlete and get into the paint. Big time play, Deron.
Absolutely.
Jim Nantz had an unbelievable call on this as well. If you got a chance, go on the internet and find it for sure.
Here it is.
Hey.
2nd and 10. There it is. This is history. If Bland can take it the distance, this will be the record. Bland for the 5th time has a pick 6. It's never happened in the history of the NFL.
And what a call by you. You got me with goosebumps, Nance. That was unbelievable.
Tony.
Yep.
Let's just give a little respect here. That was a great call.
Yeah.
This is
Unbelievable,
history.
Jim. I got goosebumps.
Hey.
The play's still happening.
Yeah.
It's still the clip.
Yep.
And he's like, wow, what a clip.
I got to get in on this, Jim. This is fucking unbelievable.
Hey,
Shout out
great
Tony.
fucking play. It was great to see Dan Quinn. You love seeing the coach getting juiced about it. Obviously, everybody knew history was there. A lot more season left, too. He can build on that. You see his teammates, how happy they were for him as well.
The sideline.
Just the sideline, the press box, everybody. After the game in the locker room, just a really, really cool moment for him.
Watch all these dudes.
Making NFL history,
Look at
man.
Dak sprinting down the sideline right
What
there.
a return, though. What a return. I remember I was nervous watching it live. I'm like, oh, no, they're going to get him on like the 10.
Yep. How did a good job. He didn't make the tackle, but he made him cut back, and now you got 2 skill guys,
both
Terry
his
Mack.
ACLs.
Yeah. You got Terry and Brian Robinson. They got to get him down on the ground. As a kicker or a quarterback, you got to make him stop his feet and cut back, and then the athletes got to get him on the ground.
Yeah, you got to get him cut back into your team. Cut back into your help or whatever the case. The sideline going bananas is awesome.
Yeah.
Look at these folks. Everybody dialed in. That's good stuff.
Great stuff.
And Dax.
Al Harris, the DB coach, too, right there. Al Harris, I played with.
Legend.
Unbelievable corner, great coach. Al is the man, so I'm really happy for him, too.
That's Al right there, right? I think.
I believe so.
Yep.
Yeah, they're talking about him doing head
Watch
coaching
him run, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
interviews next year. Yeah.
He's been a great
Seen a couple.
DB coach down there for a while now. Another South Florida legend.
Awesome teammate, man. Unbelievable teammate from day one. He was a vet when I got there and from the jump. Like, Al brought people together. Like, he was awesome.
Great coach, it sounds like.
Yeah, shout out
That's what a
Matt.
coach is. He's doing a great job.
Al was gonna get in your face and press you every down. He was up here. Wasn't the biggest dude, but he was gonna get his hands on you every down. Oh, tough play. This is a great play. Getting Bijan involved. High red area, kind of the fringe area. Play you don't see much. I don't know how many times you saw this play as a linebacker, AJ, but you got Bijan Robinson in the offset and the gun, and then runs basically like a slot fade from the backfield. Ritter gets some pressure, makes a great pass with the pressure, sink it back, getting Bijan involved right here. Big time play This is tough. This is tough on this backer. You get
with the traffic, and they're trying to pick you. There's traffic. You got to get wide early.
No shot.
Impossible.
That's a tough spot to be
Artie
in.
Smith in his fucking bag.
All the way back.
Let's go.
Hey, this fourth quarter too. Fourth quarter, 1st and 10. Once again, that high red area. Ritter, good job looking him off, pressure in his face. This is part of, this is part of the game now.
Ritter just dropped back long enough.
A few years ago, he getting hit in his bottom of his jaw, but now.
Oh, you're saying because that guy went to Ohio State, he's not as tough?
Warner? No, Warner's a tough guy. I'm just saying the rules. He think about his,
Sure.
His bill folder.
Yeah, which is people are getting fined at a rapid rate this year.
Fined a lot of money.
More money this year than ever.
Amon-Ra, he just had damn near, I think he tweeted it was 5% of his yearly salary.
One of the fines.
Yeah, one of the fines.
49,000 or something.
Yeah. For a block.
A wide receiver.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Man.
Why? Sick of it.
Come on.
Why do they do dumb stuff, D-West?
I don't know, man. Robbing folks blind. But,
right in front of people's faces.
Yeah, what is this?
We got a charity. What charity? The charity.
The good one.
Billy McFarland, the commissioner.
Hey, I know Dan Orlowski.
Billy McFarland will come on the show.
Miss Boy?
Not a card.
What's that?
Miss Boy?
Yeah,
Miss
well,
guy, right?
DM partner, yeah. He's going to live with him.
Future roommate. Yeah.
There's a chance he's a roommate.
Yeah.
Sorry, D-Butt.
Let's get it. Ayuk down here, obviously making plays. We got Q Diggs down here. He's going to drop it to the hook. Brock Purdy, Dan Orlowski says he got a pea shooter for an arm. This guy is deadly accurate. So these guys are actually not in bad shape. You got your 4 underneath defenders here. You got your 3 deep guys, but he just throws the
What a
seam
ball.
in between
Ball,
4
man.
defenders. I mean, the touch you got to have on this, the accuracy, you got to have the velocity.
Rolling out to your left, setting your feet.
Yep,
Man.
rolling to your left, pressuring your face, 53 bearing down on him.
No
just
wind,
stepping his
though.
throw. No wind, no rain, little hands.
What a
Goodness.
But I mean, just an absolute C. It looks even better from the back copy. And Ayuk has been a dog all year, week in, week out. But just look at his play, look at his execution.
Hold on, let's go back to the beginning here. Look at the timing of the snap. Right before Juszczyk clears the ball.
Scary.
Whew.
Yeah, I mean, that is
At the guard.
that's very close. That's very close, obviously, in there. Timing
Practiced that a
perfect.
few times, I would imagine.
Yep.
Jeez.
Boom.
I mean, okay. All right. Come on, Dan.
So, yeah, you can say what you want to say about the kid. Just absolutely dicing up week in and week out. Pass game is clicking on all cylinders. We know who the running back is and what the run game is doing. Amazing up front. But, I mean, and once again, not a terrible job on defense. One thing I would say when you are that hook defender inserting yourself, I always hate when if you rewind it back a little bit, but DBs, it's like a cardinal sin to me. Like, never move towards the line of scrimmage on the snap. I feel like that always puts you in a bad spot because obviously he's running full speed. You're getting back. It just kind of messes you up a little bit. If you sink back, maybe if you got 4 or 5 more yards, you can get up and get a hand on that.
Yeah.
But it's so difficult to go backwards and jump. Like, you can't elevate it off whenever you're going backwards. It's much better to be set with
It's like trying to catch a fly
Cobra-like
ball.
demeanor.
Bingo.
Absolutely.
Fly ball.
First step,
With
always
what-
back.
Punt return.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, everything DB. That was great.
Boy,
That was
D-Butt.
good, D-Butch.
Brock Purdy.
You talk about the Niners, too. Ayuk, as soon as he scores, is standing up and walking right for Witherspoon to talk shit in his face.
Yeah, they talk shit.
Yeah.
So does Philly, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be great.
Sirianni's going to have some shit to say.
That Brandon Graham video.
Oh, yeah. D-Butt found this video. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Mic'd Up creates a lot of moments that we can judge and see how people really feel behind, the camera. Like whenever we're not watching on Sundays, when we're not hearing the interviews, what are people actually like? And although they just picked and chosen or what they put out, you could still learn through it, either about the person that's mic'd up or the person they're talking about. Listen to Brandon Graham talking to the Buffalo Bills offensive line whenever they are kicking the field goal in overtime. This is a field goal in overtime, and this is what Brandon Graham is saying to the Buffalo Bills while the play is happening.
We about to win this. You must don't know Jalen Hurts like I know Jalen. You must don't know Jalen Hurts like I know him.
In the middle of the play, obviously just full conversation. You must not know Jalen. And then I like the fact that the Eagles posted, they were like, football interrupted this entire thing. And then it's like, but listen to that, run it one more time. The belief in your guy. That is something that you hope to bottle and have forever. And Jalen, I hope he heard this and watched this and had a great sense of pride in Jalen's parents about who he is and how his teammates feel about him. This is for the Bills to take the lead in overtime before the ball's even snapped.
We about to win it. You must don't know Jalen Hurts like I know Jalen. You must don't know Jalen Hurts like I know him.
AJ, how often is that happening at the line of scrimmage? Before the ball snapped? Oh, mid-sentence, ball snapped, and then we continue it afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know if I've been part of many situations like that, but I absolutely love it. Also, I think it might have a little bit of an effect on the other team as well. It's not going to put you in a funk, but you're probably like, man, these guys really believe in this dude, man. This is kind of uphill sledding for us, I guess. Huh?
Imagine Buddy sitting on the bench while Jalen's doing what Jalen's doing. He's like, Brandon Graham was telling me this.
He told me.
During
for
the
real.
snap, he was like, you don't know Jalen. When? Like, as we were doing the field goal. When? Like, actually.
We were face to face.
As the ball, he hit me. Well, no way. Like, that whole reenactment of that situation on the other side, wish I was there for it. Wish I was there for it as well.
And he doesn't even turn around. Like, Jordan Davis turns around to see if the field goal goes through, and Brandon Graham is just talking shit.
Don't care. Field goal is not enough.
You are going to lose. And then Jalen would go on to do this. Just kind of walk right down the field.
Mm-hmm.
How
What
you
a run
doing?
right here, by the way.
Great cutback. Great vision. Good speed. Got good speed.
Yeah, they got a lot of speed.
And then there's a Brandon Graham quote from him being mic'd up on the sideline for that play where he goes, oh, they're giving it to one. And this is a run. Oh, this is a touchdown. Brandon Graham actually says from looking at the Jumbotron, like as the play is developing, he's like, here we go. We just did it. Love Brandon Graham. Love Jalen Hurts. Love Sirianni. Love Philadelphia as a home field advantage. Absolutely love the Niners this week. And it makes no sense.
Hey,
it is Tuesday, though.
That's a great feeling to have, though. It's terrible being on the flip side. We've always fortunate enough to play with great quarterbacks. When you know your offense, your guys going out there, they got to drive to get a win or a field goal. Oh, yeah, we good. We got Tom, Aaron, Payton, we'll be all right. We're good. This ain't enough, buddy. We're good.
But on the other side, you're saying whenever you don't have the guy.
I've run out of some of them tunnels where we got certain guys starting. It's like, well, if we don't score twice, it's going to be a rough.
Who, Hasselbeck?
No. He's played for numerous teams. Please, let's have a little bit of respect.
Did you see the Jalen Hurts, Jason Kelsey reaction to the Elliott field goal?
Yeah. That was awesome.
Awesome.
Just dogs, so locked in. Jalen Hurts having no reaction to Jake Elliott hitting a 59-yarder. I guess that's just what Jalen Hurts is like. And in the interview afterwards, he said, we just had to make it entertaining or something like that, like pissed about what they did. And then Jason Kelsey doing the same exact thing pretty much. Oh, okay. And then just putting his helmet on.
Yeah.
I
love the Eagles. It sucks that I am not a fan of the Eagles.
Well,
that's how it feels right now because it's so entertaining.
Side
to watch
team,
them.
dude.
Well, my mother is from Philly, but I would
There
never.
you go.
I would never. root
That's
for the
more
team.
than enough for some
reason.
people. Yeah.
Great reason. Get another team coming.
No. Nope, I won't do that.
Good
but
man.
I
You're good man.
I will.
You're good man,
I,
Connor.
NFC,
You're good man.
another conference.
I have no qualms with the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. None.
Okay.
This year. What about next year after you guys get that number 2 overall pick?
Well, next year I got bad news because it's going to be the Bill Belichick revenge tour, and I pray to God that it's with New England because whoever gets him, he's going to be fucking pissed.
You thought he was gone a couple days ago. Now you're like, maybe he's not.
I'm from what Lombardi just said, it's hard to think about Bill sitting down with Robert Kraft, laying out a plan. He finally has a top 3 pick because in my mind, and this could be completely wrong, Robert Kraft probably just wants a quarterback. Like, hey, we need a guy that's going to be able to get us there. And so he has a top 3 pick. Finally, we are not picking 15 plus because all this draft conversation with Bill, his lowest draft pick in the last 20 years has been 15. So he finally has a top 3 pick. Let's see what he can do. And if it doesn't work out this year, then okay, go and get somebody, get an offensive mind. The other kind of thing I was thinking about too, though, is that if it is Commanders, like has been talked about, Commanders are going to have like a top 10 pick. So I don't know if because of that, maybe you think about, okay, well, you could have 2 first top 10 picks, but then who wants to come in and coach a team that you're replacing Bill Belichick? Probably nobody.
Yeah, that's tough. That's going to be a tough sell. Yeah. But having $110 million to build a team in your idea is a good way to start it as well.
Marvin Harrison, Caleb Williams, Drake May, you get one of those.
And then what? What did you say in the second round? Jaden Daniels?
Well, we were talking about that earlier. I don't think he's going to be there in the second round.
No shit.
Yeah, but it'd be sweet. You look at the quarterbacks. There are a lot of teams, like the Commanders, it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, but bro, remember everybody. If you have just a hint of potentially being a good NFL quarterback, normally you get hyped out of your mind.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that everybody gets hyped to be the number 1 overall pick. If you're like number 1 or number 2, you're going to get scrutinized.
Yes.
A lot. But if you're like not, there's going to be people that are going to be like, you can be an NFL quarterback. Yeah. And then boom, the hype machine kind of builds them all the way up into the top 20.
Yeah. Bo Nix will be an interesting because I think he's going to be the one who, like, if he wins the Heisman, this guy won the Heisman. You know, look at his stats. Look at it. He'll probably be unbelievable at the combine. And then Penix. Like, there might be 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the top 20 this year.
And it is a super, we need a quarterback league.
Yes.
And the owners that are making these decisions know that. Like Tepper, the main thing he was talking about today was we're going to get C.J. Stroud. Love Bryce Young. Didn't think we were going to be able to get Bryce Young. Bryce Young was going to be number 1. We were supposed to move to number 2 to get C.J. Stroud. That was the last I heard.
That was my
understanding was we were going to number 2 because the Texans were going to trade with the Bears for 1 to 2, and then we were going to trade with the Bears, who are now at 2, for them to come to 9. That was my expectation, and we were going to take C.J. Stroud because Bryce Young was everybody's number 1. I am very thankful we got Bryce Young, is what he said.
Yep.
Like, he did that today a couple different times. And let me once again say, we all unanimously had Bryce Young at number 1. Well, that being said, also thought we were number 2.
We were gonna get C.J. Stroud though.
Yeah, that was
It was weird.
It was because he's sitting there watching, what's going on in Houston.
This guy's fucking good.
That was supposed to be us. That was supposed to be us. They were supposed to be trailing it. I don't know if he's talking to his team. I don't know if he's talking to the fans. I don't know if he's just doing a therapy session at the press conference. But I'll tell you what, I don't know when Tepper's going to win the NFL, but when he does, I'm excited for his press conference.
Oh, man.
I want that guy to talk more. We need David Tepper on a microphone more often.
Yes.
He's just you remember we had a trade for number 2 overall. It's like, nope, we did not know that. Yeah, well, then the Bears and Texas did this whole thing. I'm like, yes, Tepper, we need you on the microphone more, pal. We need you more.
How long has he been the owner?
6 years? 5 years?
Think about, like, whatever his past life was, making his money, running businesses, and then all of a sudden you're the owner of an NFL football team. That's a lot of stuff you've never dealt with. He's dealing with for the first time ever. Like,
Well, he was a minority owner for the Steelers, wasn't he?
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, but he's not talking to the media, and he's not pulling the trigger on everything.
Yeah, he's not the one hiring.
True.
What did Lombardi say? He's got too many people giving him ideas.
Yeah, and put the phone down.
He needs to stop listening to people. It's like, all right, okay, interesting. Because I assume whenever you see a new owner in there, if you're in the Rolodex of people that could get the owner's number, you probably start sending ideas.
Yeah.
Because you want to be the hero that gives the good
Mhm.
advice. Because if you get good advice, you have a job forever.
Get a little steak.
Boom, you're happy you're in there. You're working it. You got like 15 people telling them, well, you need to take Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Frank Reich. We love this guy.
He's good.
Think about Easterby. That's like probably how Easterby got to where he is. They throw in a couple little things. Maybe 1 or 2 of them are right. Fucking Jack Easterby knows what he's talking about.
This guy prayed with us for 45 minutes last night, and then guess what? He told us to drop into a cover 2 in our fucking...
And we picked it off.
We did.
You heard him.
Pick 6.
Nick Cesario had the headphones. He heard it too.
Yeah.
That's going well down there. Remember, that's
Very
how that
well.
started for him? Terrible.
Yeah.
He was on the headphones, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And we had to say, hey,
The fuck?
What was that?
throttling us.
What we talk about?
Is this Easterby?
Easterby.
Could be.
Maybe. We didn't even say China.
Where is he now?
Well, you did a lot.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
Easterby, he's praying.
That's right.
There.
Is he with Joel Osteen? Because Joel Osteen had that place in Houston.
Oh, yeah, and they wouldn't open the doors.
Yeah, wouldn't let in homeless people.
Okay, how can it remain a nice place if we let people we don't want in here? I know. Good question.
Homeless people stink like shit. Keep them out. What do you mean?
All your donations, we're building this place to be nice. Okay, it's not meant to be a fucking...
This ain't a fucking soup kitchen.
What do
Keep
we
'em
think
out.
this is? That's what happened.
Yeah.
Basically what he said, yeah.
You watch Righteous Gemstones, it really gives you a window into that world.
I think I saw 3 episodes. I couldn't take it.
Good acting.
It's great. Yeah.
What's it called?
Righteous Gemstones. It's
Kenny
on
Powers.
Mox.
Yep.
Okay.
Kenny Powers is in it.
Yeah.
I've seen some of it.
You ever
Like
seen
is he like a mega church pastor?
Yes.
Bingo.
Yeah.
It's him, John Goodman, some lady who's funny, and Adam Driver.
Devine.
What's it on?
Fine.
HBO.
Melissa McCarthy?
Excuse me, Mom.
No, I love Mel Mack. She is one of my favorite actresses, but it is a different lady who I can't.
She's good.
quite name her, but yeah, she is very good in the show.
Timothy Oliphant.
Love that. I don't know who that is.
Who the fuck?
Is he you sure?
That's not.
Yeah, he's the other pastor, I think.
That's Walton
Goggins.
Yeah, Walton Goggins Jr.
Oh, Baby Billy.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great show. Sounds
It
like
is
a really good
Pretty
show.
funny.
Yeah, you if you watch 3, I mean that's enough.
How much? I get it.
Yeah,
I understand
exactly.
what's going on.
Yeah.
A little family dynamic as well.
Yeah.
Oh, what's
Big
going to happen?
time.
Those churches are real deal business.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They were running good business for a long time.
long time.
Tax free.
Whoa, AJ, that's not a part of it.
Tell that to God.
It is if you're considered a church. Yeah.
Are the Amish a church?
They get tax.
That's why they're tax exempt?
Yeah, must be.
They work their asses off. There's Amish people watching this right now.
Yeah.
How?
Well, from what I've been told, there's a shed deep in the woods that one of them, either during Rumspringer or another time, sneaks out, finds a white person that is modern or whatever, and says, there's a shed out here. We need Wi-Fi in there, and we need power in there.
Now.
And we need a fridge in there. And then they go back to work for about a week or two, and then they head back to that shed, and guess what? Full man cave in there.
Yep.
Nice.
And they're watching NFL Sunday. They are having a blast.
They get it.
The Amish folks, obviously, I don't think this is all the Amish people.
Right.
But every Amish person I've met, which is everyone that is living a wild lifestyle, I guess, as an Amish person, love ball. They love football.
Football people.
Like, love the NFL, yeah. A lot of jerseys around the Amish community.
It's awesome.
Yeah, pretty
Are
crazy.
they allowed to buy tickets to go to a game?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, pulling a horse and buggy up to a fucking game would be so sick.
They usually. I have seen. They'll take buses. They'll bus in.
I've flown.
Do they?
Oh yeah.
For Rumspringer only.
Last time I went to the zoo,
They'll ride in a car.
there was like 40, like a
won't
bunch of
drive
people from like an Amish community, but 45 to 60 of them they bust in.
So the Mennonites are like junior ball, like junior varsity Amish people.
Yeah.
F2.
Okay, so you see them. They do a lot more of the stuff, but they have the costume still. The Amish folks are the heavy duty.
All in.
They're heavy duty up there. They're having others drive them to the zoo.
As far as I know, but I mean, I wasn't striking up a conversation. It could have been
Dude, you got to.
Mennonites.
Have you? It is awesome. Zito has gotten a chance to experience one of my conversations with Amish people. You see one of these people out in public, you go talk to them. They haven't had a conversation with somebody like you ever.
Yeah.
And then you just start firing off questions. They're going to feel like obligated to be nice to you. And you just learn a lot real quick. That was a bachelor party that was happening over there at Topgolf. Whenever
I was there.
Oh, yeah.
we met that one crew.
Yeah.
They were wild, boozing.
Oh yeah.
What?
They boozing.
Sick.
Oh yeah.
Boozing. Flipping these beers upside down.
Yep.
Kid could have been no more than 17 years old.
Yeah, it looked like, yeah.
Any black Amish people?
Nah, I don't think so.
Got it. There's got to be.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Never seen one.
That's a very white thing to do, though. We don't want power. We don't want electricity. We don't want internet.
Live like it's the 1800s.
We want to go out till the land every day. That's
you
a
don't
very
want to live like it's 1800.
Well,
I'll tell you that.
that's
much.
that's
I think
kind
that
of
might be why.
Yeah.
Good point. Understood.
Maybe that's why.
Could be.
No, but those Amish fucks, they're out there.
Oh yeah.
They're
Go
killing the
hard
land.
working
Killing
sons
the
of
land
bitches.
every single day.
Said they could build you a barn in 2 days.
Yeah, we've gotten some quotes from other players. Hey, Amish folks, if you're listening, we need to get your contact again. We lost your card.
Shit.
So, like, we've tried to get some quotes for a barn from a couple different places. Way too much. They don't know what they're doing. They're trying to be like you guys. We need to do business with the Amish again. Could you imagine we just had fucking 100 Amish out here?
That'd be awesome.
So sick.
Yeah.
Just like
So
Chopper works with them. Chopper has a lot of them on his crew. My father-in-law.
Hey,
They ride a bus. A van will take them. A non-Amish person will pick them up and drive them like 2 hours to the job site, and then they have to leave like at 3 or 4 because they got to get back.
Yeah, and you don't even have to pay them. You just drop them off at like a computer shop, and they fucking minds explode.
All right, let's get out of here.
They get paid.
No, they don't.
They make a lot of money.
Yeah.
The Amish folks?
Not the ones in Massachusetts.
Are there Amish in
I don't know.
I don't think so. That doesn't feel like a thing.
It doesn't feel like a Massachusetts thing.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe maybe they are the broke Amish up there.
Could be.
in Massachusetts.
Maybe.
Because I think all the Amish that like anybody lives around, they just got money. all of it. Think about the Amish pies, the Amish goods, the seats, the rocking chairs, the cabinetry,
the wicker business,
and it's all just money. It's all cash.
I went to an Amish furniture store, most expensive furniture store of all time, but amazing furniture.
Quality is high.
Very good quality.
Quality is high. Jebediah made that morning.
Yep.
The fucking guy just made it in his basement.
Everything's customizable too. That's the craziest part.
Yeah, we can fucking certainly do. There's a GIF of Amish people building a house.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a one-day thing.
Yep.
They're awesome. Thanks for watching, Amish folks.
Love you, Amish.
They don't count for the rating.
No.
Nope.
It's crazy. Anybody talking about that for the demo? We got the Amish people that can't even have power. Watch our show.
How about that?
I'm sure they watch other shows as well. Let's get the fuck out of here. Tomorrow's a big day, boys.
Huge day.
Because tomorrow we'll be reacting to the college football playoff ranking.
Yes.
Big deal as we go into championship weekend. Tomorrow we got some great guests.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got big ones tomorrow.
Top tier. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. Cannot wait to see what the general has.
I think we have Mike Elko on tomorrow.
Holy shit.
I think at 2:30 Eastern time tomorrow.
Let's go.
We have the brand new coach at Texas A&M down
Big
there,
hit.
Mike Elko. Hell yeah, that's a
Go,
big deal.
Elko.
Friend of the program, Mike Elko. He was introduced. They gave his contract out there and everything. And
Yeah.
obviously, the last person that was coach there got fired and got paid $76.8 million.
Not a bad gig.
Now Mike Elko's in there, and he's got to win a football game.
Yeah.
Mike Elko, football guy, who I don't think is worried about any of the pressures that come alongside being at Texas A&M. I think he's excited about it because what he was able to do at Duke, now just be able to implement with a lot more backing.
Yeah.
I guess Texas A&M NIL money is good. You know, if you're paying somebody $77 million to leave, think about what they're paying people to come. That's going to be pretty damn good. All right, that's a big day tomorrow. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Goodbye.